Yo, what's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty. Become a member of the channel to access more content, the link is in the description. 6BH. 47. Conan, the Three-Nun Girl. Orochimaru Flying Dream. 5K. The three Orochimaru swam in the ocean of knowledge for 5 days and 5 nights before they woke up one after another. Interestingly, not only did Tsunade, who shared the knowledge last, wake up first, but Orochimaru, who shared all the knowledge, woke up first. To know, part of the knowledge analyzed by Orochimaru includes everything that Scorpion is absorbing. This can explain the gap in the efficiency of knowledge absorption between the two. After waking up, the three of them all went into retreat in their respective laboratories at the same time, and all kinds of new items flowed out like an assembly line. Scorpion took the lead in manufacturing the phone Lanye wanted, but it was still the oldest fixed-line phone. Give me 3 days, and I will be able to restore the wireless signal technology very quickly. Xie said, you want to rub those electronic components with your hands. Lanye was a little surprised. Forget about electronic components, can you also make a chip motherboard by hand? This is too much. In no mood, Xie glanced at Lanye strangely, and said without knowing why, didn't you give me the technology of the photolithography machine? You need 3 days to build a photolithography machine. Lanye was even more surprised. Co-author, those lithography machines in the previous life were often measured in units of months, but now they are no more than toys. No, there are also base stations, electronic component assembly lines, etc. What I need is an assembly line that can produce automatically, and can at least be supervised by training personnel, rather than a mentally retarded assembly line that I am watching from the side. Xie Pingping said. This time Lanye understood a little more. If you want to say that you can completely restore the fully automatic assembly line, in knowledge, Lanye doesn't believe it. In this era where computer screens still have huge backs, how can you still develop artificial intelligence? It seems, Scorpios are very efficient in absorbing knowledge, and they can use such novel vocabulary as mentally retarded. Lanye didn't care about Scorpion and let him play freely. Fine Tsunade. Unexpectedly, she was also making instruments, and even invited Scorpion's grandmother, Grandma Chio, to make it. After all, Tsunade's puppetry skills can only be dismantled. Although Grandma Chio is not as talented as Xian in 290, she is still the top puppet master in Sunagaku. There are few in the entire ninja world who can compare with it. Your Majesty. Granny Chio bowed quickly. Lanye has an order. Elderly people over 50 can meet officials without kneeling, and people over 60 can meet emperors without kneeling. But compared to Tsunade who didn't even look at it, it's obviously not too preferential treatment. But, seeing Granny Chio, Lanye took a special look at the system. There was no movement. 15. Reincarnation is also the forbidden technique of resurrecting Gaara. Isn't it worthy of your god-level choice? But Lanye couldn't stop asking just because there was no movement in the system. He asked casually, Chio, I remember you were researching a forbidden technique that allows puppets to have life. Tsunade couldn't help but look over after hearing this. She knows about the rat charm Namikaze Minato, but why does Chio's research sound so similar to Lanye's? It's Your Majesty. The forbidden technique is called reincarnation. It is not complete yet and cannot give the puppet mobility. It can only be done at the cost of consuming all its own chakra and vitality. It is possible to resurrect a dead person who is already dead but has no mortal wounds to his body. Quote, it's so useless. Lanye couldn't help but frown. After thinking about it, he still said, you can consider handing in this forbidden technique, and then you can choose an S-level forbidden technique or below in the seal scroll to learn. It's Your Majesty. Thank you for your gift. Chio said hurriedly. Although she didn't know when forbidden technique had levels, it would be nice to have her incomplete reincarnation replaced by forbidden technique. She is still very interested in Lanye's Hokage system. Lanye said, yes, nodded with Tsunade and turned to leave. At this time, Tsunade also popularized the forbidden technique classification with Chio. S-level forbidden techniques are forbidden techniques such as Dark Walk Technique, Conqueror's Hokage, and a Moment Hokage. Powerful but equally difficult to learn. SS-level forbidden technique is a top-notch inheritance known in the ninja world such as Flying Thunder God Technique, Lightning Style Chakra Mode, and Hell Thrust. The SSS level is bug-level forbidden techniques such as Impure World Reincarnation and Living Corpse Reincarnation. There is also an X level above, which records Lanye's demonic eyes and other abilities, but there's only a brief description but no training method. He doesn't understand it himself. Just to let people know later and see how awesome your Hokage Qin Shiwang is. This classification is indeed much more detailed than before. Chio agreed. What's so detailed? It's just that there are too many forbidden techniques so we divided them like this. Otherwise, why didn't my second grandfather and the others divide them before? Tsunade said casually. What you said was a bit Versailles, and Chio said she couldn't accept it. Listen to yourself. Is this human speech? But, that seems to be correct. The sealed book in Lanye's hand now has gathered all the forbidden techniques of the 5 great ninja villages in the past, and also added many such as Hegemony System, Phoenix 6 Styles, Living Corpse Reincarnation, and so on. The ability of the 8 Gate, and there are also some wandering ninjas who come to seek refuge among the people, using their secret skills in exchange for training resources. There are also some excellent ninjas among them. It can be said, now, anyone who can obtain this sealed book and can learn 1/10 of the forbidden technique will basically be at Cage level. But, the sealed book is Lanye's royal study room in the Imperial City Palace. On the left and right are the Secretariat and Anbu. The Imperial City Palace is also surrounded by manpower from various departments. Want to see the sealed book? In addition to being lucky enough to be favored by Lanye, there are only 3 ways to accumulate mission points, make outstanding contributions to the United Nations of Fire, and turn in the forbidden technique. As for those who have learned the forbidden technique, forget it. They are all people who have been to the interrogation department. If they want them to come up with these forbidden techniques that are not allowed to communicate, it is no less than inciting a patriotic element to rebel, and they are also the kind who possess the forbidden techniques and have combat power. Who dares to give it a try? Finally, Shio shook her head, not thinking about these problems, and continued to assist Tsunade in making the instruments she needed. She is old. The idea of power is not strong, but the idea of cell immortality is very strong. Her grandson Xie is now neither a human nor a ghost. Shio wants to work out a way to allow Scorpion to regain his physical body. At present, she already has some ideas, but she still needs to convince Xie. Can it really be persuaded? Orochimaru is not in the research laboratory, but has opened up another piece of land in Konoha City. He was currently commanding a group of Iwagaker's elite Jonin and Lois, building the rocket launch center, in his memory. Although some things have to be done from scratch, Orochimaru still has no hesitation. The only 2 people who can read the sealed book at will are Lanye and Orochimaru. Now, in addition to the ability of Sage of 6 Paths, there is only one so-called Sage power that has not been fully studied in the ninja world. But it was Orochimaru who gained immortality. After digesting the memories Lanye shared with him, he realized that the planet they were on was so small and the starry sky and the universe was so vast. The more people know the truth about the world, the more they realize their own ignorance. Orochimaru is like that now. What immortal? What 6 paths? Where can it be more fun to search for more unknowns in the stars? He has already obtained eternal soul, and only the vast starry sky will give him endless desire to explore. In this regard, of course Lanye is supportive and lets Nara Shikaku fully assist Orochimaru in all research. Although it was originally in his plan, the space program should be presided over by Scorpion, but now it seems that Scorpion is more interested in developing the Industrial Revolution, because if you want to achieve the conditions of data immortality, infrastructure is particularly critical. In areas where there is no backward development of science and technology. Or maybe it's like Konoha City is just in its infancy with computers on a small scale. If you change it to a network that can cover the whole world, it is a super empire of star systems and galaxies. So the experience can be the same. Scorpios are working hard for their future, living conditions. After watching it for a while, Lanye just nodded with confidence and left, leaving the next steps to the 3 scientists to implement. He only needed to control the direction from time to time. Perfect. Lanye originally planned to go on a date with Wooden Golem or Sammy. After all, we are still in the ambiguous period with them. You need to appear in front of them more often to gain a sense of presence, and then you can naturally do something you love. Only, Lanye was about to fly away, but he also found an unexpected person in the air, Conan. In order to capture Rain Shinobi Village as soon as possible, Conan was discharged by Lanye as the team leader, and took Sarutobi Hiruzen and other high-level combat forces of the Sarutobi clan to Rain Shinobi Village to recruit there. Now the ninja world is unified. The Sarutobi clan has also experienced the final test and now returns to Konoha City to start a new life. Conan, however, had no arrangements and lost his direction. From small to large, Conan grew up with Yahiko, and then met Nagato, but in fact she has always followed Yahiko. Yahiko wants peace in the ninja world. Her ideal became peace in the ninja world, and she was responsible for the internal management of the Mienshao organization. Yahiko died for his companions. Although she was sad, she also inherited Yahiko's will and accompanied Nagato to develop the Akatsuki organization, to take care of Nagato to prevent his body from being threatened. But now, the ninja world is unified and the world is at peace. Nagato is alienated because Yahiko is about to be resurrected. Conan wants to help them. Suddenly, Conan just has no goals and doesn't know what to do. This day, she flew up over Konoha City, wanting to see what the prosperous and peaceful Konoha City would look like now. Did not expect, just when he flew into the sky, he ran into Lanye who also spread the wings of the devil. See your majesty. Conan was about to bow her head and kneel down, but Lanye suddenly came to her and pressed her shoulder to prevent her from continuing. From now on, just like Nagato, just bow down when you see me. Lanye said gently, it's your majesty. Conan nodded expressionlessly, just call me Lanye. Yes, Lanye. Seeing Conan nod his head expressionlessly, Lanye became even more interested. This Conan is not it. 3 no girl, 3 nothings. No mouth, no heart, no expression. No words means few words. Even if you speak, you will give the simplest and most concise answers. Whatson means that you cannot understand the feelings in your heart, which does not mean that the 3 no girl has no soul. Expressionless means that there is no expression, no sadness or joy can be seen, no inner psychological emotions can be seen, and a somewhat cold and unaffected appearance by the outside world. The charm of the 3 no girl does not lie in resembling a cold wooden person. But under the cold appearance, he occasionally reveals tenderness, strength and care for others that are not easily noticed. Just like Conan's behavior of silently guarding Nagato, the three-number girls will give people a mysterious and hazy sense of déjà vu. They may seem unsatisfactory, but they are actually kinder than others. What's more valuable is, with an image as spotless as ice crystals and a soul as clear as glass. Think about Conan's title in Rain Shinobi Village, Paper Angel. 05. Based on this analysis, it seems that Conan's charm has increased a lot inexplicably. Looking at Conan's expressionless face and confused eyes, Lanye felt as if something had hit her heart. Decided, today is a day off for Wooden Golem and Sammy. Thinking like this, Lanye smiled and said, Conan, I happen to have nothing to do right now, so you can go for a walk with me. He didn't ask like other women, but just asked Conan to go with him. He can probably guess a thing or two about Conan's current state. She doesn't need to do multiple choice questions now, but needs someone who can lead her. As expected, Conan heard this without any hesitation and nodded directly in agreement. Bisami still needs to be more straightforward. Both can fly. He didn't really go for a walk, but flew over Konoha City and chatted casually while looking at the bustling city below. Of course, it was mainly Lanye who took the lead, and Conan mostly answered questions passively. Don't you have any plans recently? Not yet. Any ideas? Have no idea. Then come to a ninja school, or an orphanage. I think both of these will suit you. Okay. Conan's eyes became brighter. This is the light that finds purpose. The conversation continues. This time, Lanye stopped talking about Conan and had to maintain a sense of proportion. This time he just wanted to talk about his parents. Lanye's home was the entire ninja world, and of course the normal chat was about some interesting things in the ninja world. After unifying the ninja world, standards such as characters and lanes will also be unified. The next step is to integrate the cultures of various countries. Only when the fundamental contradictions between people are resolved can the world be truly peaceful. Senju Hashirama's kind of false peace is an extremely stupid idea. Once he is gone, it will rebound. If he could directly unify like me, there would never have been the 3 subsequent ninja wars, nor would there have been any. There are so many people displaced. In comparison, although Senju Tobarama was more ambitious, its layout was a bit smaller. It pushed the Uchiha clan outwards, and it did not have enough combat power to sustain its ambitions. In the end, it ended up being killed by a sneak attack. Quote, what, you think I'm right too? So what do you think is the most important thing to do now? Lanye asked. This time, Conan did not reply immediately, but was stunned. What should the ninja world do most now? She thought for a long time. In the end, he could only shake his head and look steadily at Lanye, asking what he should do. Have a look, isn't this interaction coming? Lanye smiled easily. It's very simple, that is to increase the happiness index of the people. Happiness index? Yes, happiness index. What's the meaning? Then let me ask you, what do civilians need most in 2.3? Rights, wealth, status. Conan mused again. Finally, he shook his head and said, no, it should be about food, clothing and food for the family. Bingo. That's right, they just want food and clothing for their families. Lanye snapped his fingers. Civilians are so easily satisfied, as long as someone can give them enough food and family reunions. Who they support is who they support. Quote, Conan nodded thoughtfully. If he and Yahiko had not become orphans because of the ninja war, they would now be growing up happily in their own families, with their own parents and even brothers, sisters. Then life must be great, right? Thinking like this, Conan showed a rare smile, as dazzling as the first ray of sunlight shining on the ice and snow. Lanye's words continued, I will start from the 4 aspects of clothing, food, housing, and transportation. I must make my people clothed warmly and artistically, well-fed and delicious, live well and comfortably, travel quickly and conveniently, and open up most parts of the world. Provide knowledge for the people to learn, implement 9-year compulsory education so that the new generation of children can succeed in learning, and build a more powerful United Nations of Fire in the future. Can't help but, Conan imagined the future described by Lanye, and for a moment he felt a little envious. Is it possible to live such an ideal life? People in the future will be too happy, right? Why didn't they have a wise emperor like Lanye when they were young? For a time, Conan's originally calm gaze turned towards Lanye with a hint of admiration involuntarily. It is really great to have such a wise emperor. Lanye smiled kindly, smiling secretly in his heart. Take it easily. As long as you proceed step by step, Conan will not be able to escape. Oh, right, he will go find Orochimaru later and ask him to postpone the time of resurrecting Yahiko. It's best to wait until Conan has children before resurrecting him. As a compensation, just introduce him to a good girl when the time comes. Hey, who said Conan doesn't want it? 48. Uchiha's regret. Itachi finally becomes the Hokage. 12K. Add more updates, please subscribe automatically. Early morning, Lanye looked up from the Mabuyi pillow, yawned and took out the hand that Yuhihong was pillowing, and looked around for Tsunade. Not here. It seems that he went to the research room early again. More than 2 months have passed since Lanye shared his knowledge with Tsunade. During this time, in addition to Lanye every morning, he would take a look at Narashikaku's yesterday's summary and deal with any issues he was unsure about. Then I handed over some measures from my previous life that I had temporarily thought of yesterday to Nara Shikaku for implementation. Remaining time, just walking around, shopping with women, chatting with women, and private visits with women. 15. That's right, it's just to accompany a woman. But don't think it's easy. To know, Lanye's current woman, a little bit more than 100 million. The three girls, Wooden Golem, Sammy and Conan, are the key companions. Shizune Lanye originally wanted to go on a date, and the girl next door is pretty good. But unfortunately, if Tsunade wants to go home, then Shizune will have to watch over him at the laboratory. So, Lanye can only wait and work hard for Shizune to free Tsunade. After all, the size of Tsunade is irreplaceable. And Conan's three daughters. Basically, it has reached the point where I can do something I love to do at any time. Just missed the opportunity, although I can just find an excuse. But it's not like Lanye doesn't have women, so why should he be so casual? There must be a sense of ceremony. In addition to the three women by Wooden Golem, Lanye also has to accompany the ripe peach Terumi Mei, the young Yuhi Kurenai, the bold cow Tsunade, the obedient girl Anko, the straight female warrior Yakura, and the intellectual secretary Mabuyi. Occasionally, we also need to take a look at the research progress of Scorpion, Tsunade, and Orochimaru, and control their respective directions so as not to go astray. After all, there are too many choices. Sometimes they may do useless research. At this time, Lanye needs to use his vision and experience in his previous life to correct him. Overall it was very busy. Finally, coincidentally, on this day, all the women were busy with their own affairs, and Lanye was rarely available. And, I just went to Orochimaru's place yesterday, so there's no point in going there again. Suddenly there is nothing to do. Lanye thought about it in confusion, and he really came up with something. He also holds the position of Hokage. I became a Hokage before, just to change my name and control Konoha legitimately, otherwise others would come to me. Now, the other four ninja villages all obeyed Lanye's words, and Konoha regarded him as a god. Even the Hokage rock in the past was bulldozed and only the statues remained. There seems to be no need to occupy the Hokage position. As for the choice of Hokage, it is said that Konoha owes 19 Itachi a Hokage. Today I will fulfill the wishes of the Itachi fans in my previous life. Thinking like this, Lanye, who has always been diligent, only left the imperial study room and returned again. Nara Shikaku didn't notice it at all as he was immersed in it. He thought it was the person who sent the documents. Put it aside for now, I'll take a look later. Nara said without raising his head. Nagato, Itachi, you go and sort them. Okay. Nagato and Itachi, who were also immersed in correcting documents, looked up and were stunned when they saw Lanye standing there. Then, Itachi tugged on Nara Shikaku's sleeve, and the latter discovered Lanye's existence. Meet the teacher. Lanye, you're here. Ah. This subordinate is guilty. I didn't know that His Majesty was coming, so I asked Your Majesty. Okay, I know I rarely come. Lanye waved his hand and interrupted. I just came to tell you something. Your Majesty, please give me your orders. Assemble all the ministers, Jonin, and Shunin, and meet at the meeting square. Orochimaru and the others will not be disturbed. Conference Square. The square that Lanye once sentenced to Sarutobi Hiruzen's conference hall was renovated and built at the main entrance of the Imperial Palace. The original intention was to hold similar large-scale conferences, and it was a large square that could accommodate more than 200,000 people. It's going to be held there. Is there something big to announce? Thinking of this, Nara said cautiously, yes, everyone must arrive within half an hour. After saying that, Nara Shikaku just used his shaver to move towards the phone. What, do you want people to notify you one by one? What age are you in, and are you still so old-fashioned? Call the secretarial department next door and ask them to notify the bosses of each department one by one, and then notify them step by step to save time and effort. Why bother? Then, amidst a series of phone ringtones, a large number of figures were followed by performing various body techniques, body teleportation, forbearance teleportation, shaving, moonwalk, light and heavy rock technique and so on. 5 flowered people from 8 gate flocked towards the conference square. As for the solemn etiquette and so on, Lanye looked at Itachi who was waiting respectfully and asked, I am going to let you take over the position of Hokage, so be prepared. Itachi looked up at Lanye in surprise, then realized that this was rude and lowered his head again. Thank you teacher, I will work hard. Then it depends on your performance. Lanye said nonchalantly. But it's an emergency, and the Hokage god's robes haven't been custom made. You can go get a set of my god's robes and change them, so you can make do with it first. Isn't this good, teacher? Itachi hesitated. It's not that I think it's perfunctory. But Lanye's royal robe is only for emperors. It's like the dragon robe, in the previous life. I haven't heard of any general who took office and changed his official uniform from a dragon robe. Lanye waved his hand nonchalantly, signaling Itachi to stop talking nonsense. Itachi, who knew Lanye's character, could only accept the order and retreat. Thank you teacher for the gift. Itachi went to work on the Hokage god robe. Lanye looked at Nagato, the only one still standing, and couldn't help but smile. Recently, he and Conan have been making rapid progress, and he has been bumped into by Nagato several times. But, Nagato didn't say anything. After all, this was Shout Blue Nan Ye's choice. How are you doing lately? Are you still used to it? Lanye asked casually. Not bad. Nagato nodded calmly and said, although I am a little busy, I am very satisfied watching the United Fire Nation getting better little by little under my hands. Use your hands to make your dreams come true. Lanye looked a little weird. This line is not quite right. Fortunately, Nagato didn't understand Lanye's joke, so he nodded in agreement and muttered this sentence. It seems like he really likes it. Lanye's expression is even weirder. Quickly, Nara Shikaku returned and said respectfully, Your Majesty, the notification has been completed and we will meet at the conference square within 20 minutes. Yeah, Lanye thought for a while and said, open the city gate and let some civilians come to witness it. Yes, although he didn't understand what he was witnessing, Nara faithfully followed the instructions. Conference Square, more than 10,000 ninjas have gathered here, and other ninjas are coming one after another. Basic. As long as they are ninjas in Konoha City, they have been recalled by text messages. Yes, short message. 2 months have passed. Scorpion has already built signal towers and other facilities, and has already produced basic mobile phones. It has skipped the era of Big Brother, and came to Nokia. That is to say, the industrial foundation is too poor. Otherwise, Scorpio wants to use the smartphone, or even the holographic phone, directly. But the conditions don't support it. At this time, the patriarchs of a group of families are meeting. This battle is too big and they want to exchange information. Everyone looked at Fugaku in unison. Chief Fugaku, you must know what's going on, right? For such a big battle, most of those still in Konoha City have been recalled, right? Might Guy has arrived with all 7,000 Phoenix troops. Is he going to fight someone again? But, isn't the ninja world unified? Which small country has lost its mind again? Isn't it possible? Even a small country, no matter how powerful it is, can use such a large battle formation. Will there be 3 great immortal lands? Don't mention it. If it's a fairyland, whether it's Shigulan, Ruchi Cave, or Mount Myoboku, it's all hard bones to chew on. But didn't the 3 great immortals make a contract with Sanin? Then what do you mean? How could I know? Then why are you blind? Everyone was discussing, but their eyes were blank with Fugaku. As His Majesty's top horse boy, you should know some information, right? Pity. Fugaku just smiled helplessly. I don't know either. I was originally giving an internal safety lecture, and then I received a notice from the Secretariat to summon all members of the Security Department to gather at the conference square. Said. Fugaku glanced at the distinct formation of the Security Department on the side. The uniforms of the Security Department and their tall and straight postures set off the momentum that only the Law Enforcement Department can have. Next to it is the United Fire Supreme Court Division. After the leader Hyuga Hiyashi confirmed that the team was in order, he and Hyuga Hizashi also walked towards Fugaku and the others. I heard Hyuga Hizashi ask, Fugaku boy, what information do you have? Tell me quickly. Go away. I already told you that was my childhood nickname. Do you believe I can fire a Susanoo on you? Fugaku said with a dark face. Oh, so you and Makoto know each other. Ahem. Fugaku hurriedly laughed and said, in our relationship, what's wrong with calling us by nicknames? It's a trivial matter. Hyuga Hizashi laughed loudly. He could hold Fugaku for the rest of his life. What can Fugaku do? It's all the fault of being young and ignorant. Everyone can also see, the two of them had a good relationship and joked around, and they didn't interrupt rashly. Then, Fugaku shook his head again and said, I really don't know what's going on, and you don't have any information. My brother and I were working on a new case, so we rushed over after receiving a call from the Secretarial Department. Hyuga Hizashi replied, correct. Hyuga Hiyashi nodded and confirmed. I was also checking the food safety of the seafood market. Recently, some people reported that the seafood was not fresh, so I came here after receiving a text message. Wei Deng Rishin followed. I was presiding over the opening ceremony of a new Yakiniku branch. I received a text message and came over without even putting up the sign. Akamaiki Tingza said, our family's ninja dog shop has newly opened. I went over to see how the juniors are doing. It's quite impressive. The colored ones also came right after receiving the text messages. Inuzuka Jindao. The other people were much the same, they were all busy and were called by text messages. This time, everyone smelled an unusual smell. Such an urgent large-scale call. Fugaku and Hyuga Hizashi looked at each other, nodded solemnly, and then looked in the direction where the heads of the clans of Cloud Shinobi Village gathered not far away. That's right, when we first conquered the Kingdom of Thunder, it seemed like this was the battle, right? Except for Kurigakure who arrived after Onoden Raiden waited, the other Konoha family clan leaders also reacted. Then he became even more confused. The ninja world is unified, where are the enemies? And, as time went by, more than 100,000 people poured into the conference square, which made the atmosphere even worse. Could it be? What really happened? At this time, Lanye's figure appeared on the podium. Immediately, there were nearly 200,000 people in New Oda Square, and within 10 seconds there was silence. This shows Lanye's current prestige. Looking at the pile of heads below, Lanye was very satisfied. Just less than half an hour. He was able to summon so many people immediately on a whim, and the square of 200,000 people could be completely silent. There is no better proof of the respect of the people for him than this. Can't help but, the original intention of simply announcing Itachi as Hokage's successor has undergone some changes. But what can I say? It doesn't matter if you don't have a speech draft. You can use the formula. look back at the past, evaluate the present, and look forward to the future. After pondering for a moment, Lanye's words were propagated by the microphone and directly echoed in the sky above half of Konoha City. There were also instruments nearby that simultaneously relayed the signal in real time to all countries in the United Fire Nation. Earth. This moment, all channels have been changed to this live broadcast, and only Lanye, the Emperor of the United Fire Kingdom, can be seen on the screen. In the screen, Lanye is reminiscing about the past. Just 8 months ago, I once told Konoha that the first thing that strengthens a country is the people's heart, and the first thing that strengthens the heart is the strength of the youth. If a young man has ideals, his country will have hope. A young man's wisdom will bring wisdom to the country, a young man's wealth will make his country rich. Strong young people will make the country strong, young people who are independent will make the country independent. Today I can be very proud to say that I did it. With the three-pronged approach of 9-year compulsory education, introduction to the 8 inner gates and the popularization of Fire Nation daily, I have tried my best to let all capable people show their ambitions. I once said that the country of water cannot accommodate all the people, the bloodline boundaries that are feared, and the families that cannot be left behind, but my land can accommodate them. Today you have ninjas and civilians from various countries, and they can put aside their hatred and live together. I did the same. I once said that I want my land to be free from darkness and injustice, and to become the paradise of the ninja world. I haven't fully accomplished this yet. After all, the ninja world is unified, and there are still many rats with ulterior motives secretly causing trouble. But these are just remnants in the gutter, and they will be eradicated soon. To this day, I feel clear about everything I have done. I am worthy of the promises I made and I am worthy of the people who trust me. In the future, I will continue to work hard to make my people clothed warmly and artistically, well-fed and delicious, live well and comfortably, and travel quickly and conveniently, so as to build a more powerful United Nations of destruction. The voice fell. The conference square resounded with thundering applause, followed by a uniform voice, "Long live your majesty, long live, long live." Lanye nodded with relief on the surface, but he was having doubts in his heart. What's going on with Nara Shikaku? They say they have changed their slogan, why is it not useless? Boom, boom, boom. We are really lucky to be born in the era of His Majesty. The god of the ninja world. Your Majesty is much greater than Senju Hashirama. Your Majesty is so handsome, I really want to give him a child. His Majesty is so imposing, I really want to be 0101 with him. This is youth. Your Majesty is indeed my lifelong goal. Why are they still shouting Wan Long Live? Didn't they change it to hundreds of billions of years ago? There seems to be something strange mixed in among the vast number of voices. But Lanye didn't pay too much attention, they just wanted to think about it anyway. After waiting for several minutes, seeing that the scene is still boiling and not stopping, there is a trend of getting more and more intense. Lanye couldn't help but raise his hand and press it. All of a sudden, the sound wave that could disperse the clouds in the sky just now disappeared like a mirage. The scene returned to silence again. The people below were nothing, just looking at the blue leaves with enthusiasm and admiration. But Itachi, Izumi, Uchiha, Nara, and the live broadcast cameras standing not far from Lanye all had a panoramic view of all these changes. Know 10 times. Know how to express their shock. Is this the emperor who can unify? This is one emperor through the ages. Lanye's words continued. I have called you here today because I have an important decision to announce. He waved to Itachi, who quickly calmed down and walked quickly towards Lanye. Nara Shikaku followed closely behind, using a tray to hold the Hokage god's robe that was temporarily modified from the emperor's god's robe, with a hint of envy in his eyes. It turns out that His Majesty's imperial robe can be remade into official uniform. Your Majesty is too fond of this eldest disciple, right? Uchiha Ori made no secret of his envy. If he could, how much would he want to replace Itachi with him? But no matter in terms of talent or ability, he is obviously inferior to Itachi. As for Izumi, feel sorry, she only has Lanye as her master in her eyes. She is currently hugging the part that has become small in size, during this period, looking at Lanye infatuatedly, and her love cannot be concealed. But there are countless young girls down there who are no different. But Lanye wasn't paying attention to that at the moment. He rubbed Itachi's head and smiled. That day, Sarutobi Hiruzen's incompetence ruined my ninja village, and I had to remove him from the position of Hokage temporarily. Today, the ninja world is already unified, so it makes no sense for me to occupy this Hokage position. Hyuga Hizashi and others who were discussing what happened just below couldn't help but look at Fugaku. This is the Uchiha clan going to have a Hokage? And he is the eldest son of the clan leader Fugaku. Fugaku was trembling with excitement as well, and opened Mangekyo involuntarily. Looking steadily at the podium, Lanye picked up the Hokage robe from the tray and put it on Itachi himself. Today, I order my great disciple Uchiha Itachi to become the new 5th Hokage. From then on, he will be in charge of all ninja affairs in the ninja world. Kazekage, Raikage, Mizukage, and Tsuchikage are all Hokages. Subordinate, follow Hokage's orders. Quote, it's actually true. Fugaku couldn't help but burst into tears. Uchiha actually gave birth to a Hokage. On the podium, Itachi also had tears in his eyes, tugging on the sleeves of Hokage's imperial robe for a long time, not knowing how to speak. He originally thought he was just succeeding the Hokage. Did not expect, the teacher actually handed over all the ninja affairs of the United Fire Nation to him. Are the other 4 shadows just his subordinates? I'm afraid the workload will be much more in the future. Ahem. Lanye didn't know what was going on in Itachi's mind and patted him on the shoulder. The rest is up to you. After saying that, Lanye turned around and left without taking a trace of Cloud with him. Itachi was left standing in front of the microphone, brewing for a long time before speaking. As one of the 2 founders of Konoha Village, I, the Uchiha clan, can obtain the position of Hokage today because of the teacher's respect for us. The teacher trusts me, Uchiha Itachi, then I will not disappoint the teacher's expectations. From now on, Sensei's will also be Itachi's will. Itachi will become the teacher's strongest shield because he stops everyone who tries to disturb him. This knife, let's take action on those remnants of the old country. Within 2 months, I, the 5th Hokage Uchiha Itachi, will wipe out all of you. Looking at Itachi's speech, Lanye nodded happily. Although the child is only 13 years old, he already knows how to take the initiative to share the teacher's worries, and he also knows how to draw cakes for himself. Not bad, pretty good. Regret 1. The Uchiha clan has a Hokage, Konoha owes Itachi a Hokage, complete. 49. Succeeded by Wooden Golem, Kakashi is Raikage. 1 update, maybe it was yesterday's Hokage succession ceremony that reminded the other girls of Lanye's existence. This morning, Wooden Golem, Sammy, and Conan all called or texted him one after another, wanting to ask him out for a walk. So what choice can Lanye make? Of course it's a choice. First, arrange good things for Yuri Hong and others to do one by one. Don't leave them out in the cold. Fortunately, as the head of a country, these harem beauties are also very sensible. Knowing that Lanye is going to seduce a new young lady, they are not worried but happy. After Lanye leaves, Yuri Hong and others gathered together to discuss this matter. Finally, a new sister is coming. Yuri Hong said with a sigh of relief. Tsunade's sister and Terumi's sister are both workaholics, and there are only 4 of us left. We haven't slept a full night in the past few nights. Lanye is too fierce, isn't he? The 4 of us can't even stop him. Look at how energetic he is every morning. Doesn't it mean that there are no damaged fields, only exhausted cows? Hongdu is straightforward as ever. Which little sister do you think Lanye will go to today? Mabui asked. Looking for Conan, right? Yi Kang said uncertainly. He was still talking about finishing the 3 no-girl guide last night. Does this term refer to Conan? I think it should be the Wooden Golem. Kurenai Yuhi shook her head and said, Lanye said that he hasn't played with a cat for several days. The Wooden Golem is the Jinchuriki of the second-tailed Matabi. Matabi looks like a cat, right? Then Lanye is in love with a woman and not a tailed beast. What does it have to do with Matabi? Hongdu retorted. It's Sammy. Lanye doesn't love all these 10 categories. Hongdu held up his bear and looked at Yi Kang, a little puzzled. They are both female ninjas and Jonin. Sunagaku's resources are not as rich as those of Konoha Village. How can hers be so big? Don't look at it, this is talent. Yi Kang said fiercely. If you ask me, Wooden Golem, Samui, and Conan are not the 3 of them, they should go to Shizune. Huh, Sammy looked strangely. Shizune. When did you get a woman? Tsunade told me, Yi Kang explained. Shizune admires Lanye very much. Some time ago, Lanye was going to have a date with Shizune, but for Tsunade to go home, Shizune must be watching in the laboratory, so I just gave up for now. Then we can make an appointment now. Yuhi Hong asked. Tsunade has been working on a new project recently, which is related to the optimization of cell cloning. He invited Orochimaru, who was very good at it, to help. For this reason, he also bothered Scorpion to help Orochimaru keep an eye on the construction of the space center, and gave Shizune a few days of vacation. Yi Kang said, that's it. That's pretty good. Hongdu said with a smile. I guess there's no way we can handle Lanye without 10 sisters together. I think it will take at least 15. Haven't you noticed that he has always been restrained? Yi Kang shook his head. 15. Impossible. Mabui's eyes widened. I heard from my best friend who was married before that the one in her family only lasted 3 minutes. There's something wrong with that. How can it compare to ours? Yuri Hong said dissatisfied. But, the one in her family is also an official Jonin. Mabui said in confusion. You are still too young. Your combat prowess in that area has nothing to do with your level. Yi Kang said with the attitude of a veteran. Azabu nodded suddenly. Then he suddenly said. But at the beginning, I wonder who wanted to occupy Lanye alone. Yi Kang. Don't mention this, we are still good sisters. Ha ha ha, I will never forget what happened when Sister Yakura made a bet with Sister Tsunade. She said, do not talk. No, don't scratch me, duck, you can't catch it there. Then put your hands down too. I'm fighting back. Hey, you two, don't get in the car with me. This is my skirt. That's so funny, me. Don't come over here. Inside the Imperial City Palace, the top of the huge statue of Lanye in the original Hokage rock. Here according to Lanye's meaning, a panoramic viewing platform has been set up, which can overlook half of Konoha City. It has also set up a glass viewing room using the latest, single-sided glass, developed by Scorpion, so that you can see the outside but cannot see the outside. Inside, there is a special coating that can block most sensory ninjutsu. Of course, the Hyuga clan's Byakugan can't help it. At this time, Lanye and Wooden Golem were sitting next to each other in the glass viewing room, chatting about yesterday's events. I didn't expect that you would choose Uchiha Itachi to become Hokage in the end. We also speculated that it might be Uchiha Ori. After all, Itachi is only about 12 years old, but Uchiha Ori is 24 years old, which is just right. Why do you think it was Uchiha Ori? Lanye asked strangely. He is the youngest disciple I have accepted. How did it happen that this good thing happened to him? Because he has cultivated into the lightning-style chakra mode, which is very difficult for our Raikage generations to cultivate. Wooden Golem sighed. He and Kakashi are too talented in this area. They have been working with Master I during this time. Please tell me, I have achieved some success. Master I has already accepted Kakashi as a disciple and is preparing to train him as the next Raikage. Cultivate Kakashi to be the 5th Raikage. Lanye was stunned. The 4th Raikage still has this consciousness. To recruit people from Konoha and make them into movies. Isn't this a bit of a fantasy? Wooden Golem looked at Lanye strangely and said in confusion. Didn't you make an announcement before, saying that everyone is equal, living in harmony, helping each other and loving each other? Mr. I also came to ask me if it was true. What are you implying? Then what did you say? I don't know. Our relationship wasn't so good at that time, so I couldn't guess what you were thinking. So I himself misunderstood. Probably. Lanye shook his head in confusion. The phrase, everyone is equal, lives in harmony, helps each other and is friendly, was just a slogan Lanye thought of in his previous life after the reform and opening up. The streets and alleys were filled with such slogans. Similar ones include, neighbors have right and left, and harmony is the best. Distant relatives are not as good as close neighbors, mutual help is fundamental. Show civilization, promote virtue, create fashion, and create harmony. Families need harmony, communities need mutual help, and society needs harmony. Lanye gave Nara a large piece of paper full of shikaku and asked him to post it all over the country, and for fun, he also put his own name on it. The original intention is to restore the quality of the reform atmosphere of the previous life. It's just a bad idea for him to do when he has nothing to do. Unexpectedly, 4th Raikage obviously saw this and misunderstood something. But that's fine. Kakashi, who used to be the 6th Hokage, is now basically impossible to be the Hokage. It is a good thing to have the 5th Raikage to fill in. Compared to these, unknowingly, Lanye and Wooden Golem were already sitting side by side, and Lanye put his hands around Wooden Golem's waist, leaning forward a little closer to her. Wooden Golem, who had a premonition of what was about to happen, just froze in place, looking straight at Lanye with trembling eyelashes, his mind blank. Nuo de Jiao, want to kiss, should I avoid it? Oh 3, why is it so slow? In my wild thoughts, Lanye finally kissed Wooden Golem on the lips, which made her feel numb as if she was electrocuted, and her wide eyes could not help but close. Turn out to be, are these the lips of the opposite SX? $3 The following 1008.6 billion words are omitted due to review. It was reviewed and the number of words was sufficient, so the dividing lines below are watered down. Call, if you succeed in petting the cat, who will be next? 50. Enter the harem by Wooden Golem. Guy's ancestral ability. 2 updates. After the official mutual exploration, Wooden Golem also moved from the Tailed Beast residence to the Imperial Palace. Original. By Wooden Golem still thinks that she stole other people's men, and may be collectively boycotted or cold violated by Lanye's harem. But she was wrong, very wrong. Tsunade rarely went to the laboratory early, but accepted Wooden Golem to move in as the master of the harem. That's so enthusiastic. Even Yuhi Hong and other girls were present, smiling very intimately. This made Wooden Golem a little confused. She, by Wooden Golem, just did some flirting with your majesty yesterday. Not only do you not resent her, but you also welcome her so much. Something's wrong. This is definitely not right. There is definitely some conspiracy waiting for her. Matabi, are you checking if there is any dangerous smell nearby? Wooden Golem called to her tailed beast. But Matabi, who used to be very cooperative, was unhappy today. No, I asked you to strengthen the seal yesterday, and my chakra on the other end was offline. Matabi said unhappily. It wasn't me who did it yesterday, it was Lanye. Matabi suddenly said. Let me just say, that level of power has never been sensed before, and it looks very dangerous, comparable to the old man from 6 Paths. Now is not the time to talk about this. Please sense the surroundings for me. Wooden Golem urged. Okay, for Lanye's sake, I'll forgive you this time. Matabi arrogantly found a place to go down the stairs. At this time, he released his tailed beast sense, but he didn't sense any dangerous aura. Isn't it possible? By Wooden Golem had some doubts about life. Then why are Tsunade-sama and the others so nice to me? I don't understand the feelings of you humans. I'll go back if it's okay. Recently, Kurama took us to play a game of mahjong, which was very interesting. Okay, I'll call you if the situation arises. By Wooden Golem was withdrawn from the sealed space and secretly alert. Absolutely no relaxation. Finally, Tsunade also noticed Wooden Golem's vigilance. This was not because of her slow reaction, but because Lanye's women would get along with everyone first before being accepted by him. This is the first time that someone like Wooden Golem was brought back until the relationship was established. Tsunade immediately said, Don't worry, our harem has such a good atmosphere and we have no plans to do anything to you. Well, of course I believe you, Tsunade-sama. Wooden Golem nodded. Listen to this title, Tsunade-sama, you. Does this look like belief? Tsunade doesn't take any detours either. He said directly and boldly. Don't think too much, we are really in harmony. As for the reason, let me tell you a story. Tsunade looked at Yi Kang, whose face turned a little dark. It seems that this matter cannot be overcome. Are you afraid that whenever a new person comes in the future, you will have to take her out and give her a shake? But Yi Kang still has no reason to object. The only thing you can do is BJDA, look away from Tsunade. As long as I don't look at you, you're not talking about me. Tsunade and the others immediately burst into laughter. Yi Kang's dark history really cannot be escaped. In Unexplained by Wooden Golem, Azabui explained thoughtfully. When Sister Yekora first came here, she won a bet with Sister Tsunade, so she left the Daimyo mansion with Sister Terumi and Sister Yuhi, who were related to Lanye at the time, leaving Sister Yekora alone at night. I want to occupy Lanye, and I still have half a month. By Wooden Golem looked at Yi Kang in surprise. I didn't expect that this person is also a ruthless person, and can actually make Princess Tsunade, current Mizukage, and the first woman to follow Lanye, give in. I admire you, but why tell her this story? Is it because Yi Kang paid a heavy price later and told her to kill the chicken to scare the monkey, so that she can behave herself in the future? That's for sure. Just when Wooden Golem was determined, Mabui continued. But Sister Yi Kang just begged Sister Tsunade and the others to come back because they were unable to support themselves for one night. I know you may not know what it means to be unable to support them alone. Let me tell you this, yesterday Lanye and after you confirmed the relationship, I, Sister Tsunade, Sister Yuhi, Sister Anko, and Sister Yakura came back in the evening, but they still couldn't make Lanye feel tired. Do you know what this means? Represents what? Representing Yi Kang alone at that time, he faced the combat power that the six of us endured yesterday, and maybe even more. Mabui concluded. By Wooden Golem was stunned for a while. Hiss. Is Lanye so scary? Yesterday she thought it was very good and the guests enjoyed themselves. But now it seems, isn't Lanye always giving in to her? For a long time, By Wooden Golem finally woke up. No wonder Tsunade and the others are so enthusiastic about them. Co-author. She is not here to steal men, but to share the firepower. Ah, this. By Wooden Golem's long legs couldn't help but feel a little soft. Is there such a good thing? In the military camp outside Konoha City, Lanye was inspecting the Phoenix Force, and then he saw an extremely shocking scene. All green tights. It's so weird, although the ancestral training clothes of the Might family are indeed pretty good as they are light and breathable. But the appearance is, this green tights training uniform was first passed down from Might Guy to his son Might Guy. Later, in a small theater in the Hokage, Might Guy became the Hokage and ordered everyone in the village to wear green tights. That picture. Without further ado, here's the picture in the upper right corner. It's very eye-catching. Even the good-looking Hinata, Tiantian and others have become a bit. It still tastes great when worn by girls. The topic has gone too far. Now Might Guy has become the chief instructor of the Phoenix Force. He has obviously continued the peeing behavior of the small theater and made everyone in the Phoenix Force wear his green tights. At a glance, it was as green as a vegetable field. A group of people were sweating like rain and training frantically. The scene immediately became more mosaic. But is it really because of the tight clothes? Many people in the gym in the previous life wore such clothes, but they were not as eye-catching as they are now. Ding. It is detected that the host is faced with a choice. The God-level selection system has started. Please make the following choices, King. Choice 1. Single choice to change the style to free the Phoenix troops from the torture of the Soul Strike buff. Reward. Art Master, ×1. Choice 2. Single choice to change the color to free the Phoenix troops from the torture of the Soul Strike buff. Reward. Painting Master, ×1. Choice 3. Single choice to change the suit, so that the Phoenix troops can escape the torture of the Soul Strike buff. Reward. Introduction to Design, ×1. Hiss. It is rare that there are only single selection options. If you want to simply change the style or color, you need a Master level ability to save it. If you want to change the suit, you only need the entry-level design. Ah, this. They can actually apply the Soul Strike buff to the Phoenix Force. It seems that Might Guy's ancestral tights are really scary. System. What does this Soul Strike buff do? Ding. Soul Strike buff. +20 physical skills, +20 willpower, +10 recovery, +10 physical strength, -10 intelligence, -10 logic, -10 ninjutsu, 10 illusion skills. Hiss. Is it so scary? But, although the 4 abilities of intelligence, logic, ninjutsu, and illusion are reduced. But it also strengthened the 4 abilities of physical skills, willpower, recovery, and physical strength. He is completely specialized in physical arts, which will definitely be a bonus for training 8 inner gates. As expected of a born Guy Emperor, the family inheritance is well targeted. No wonder Guy and Xiao Li seem to be carved from the same mold. The source has been found. But if it can be lowered, why must it be lowered? With the bonus of this ancestral buff, then the single choice replacement set of option 3 will definitely not work. The single choice to change style, option 1 is also a bit awkward. Or choose single choice change color of 2. System. I choose 2. Who wants the yellow tights? 51. Bruce Lee practice uniform. Ghostwriting for the Aburame clan. 3 updates. System. I choose to. The selection is successful and the reward, Painting Master, has been distributed. Painting Master, become a master in the field of painting, and your sensitivity to lines and colors is far beyond ordinary people. This time's ability is just a trivial matter, it is more about improving his artistic taste. So the time consumption is negligible. Open your eyes. Might Guy's dazzling white fang made Lanye squint his eyes. Your Majesty, you are here. Might Guy shouted with a loud voice. Today is another day full of youth. Your Majesty, do you want to run 10 laps around Konoha Castle with us to warm up? Konoha Castle is now the largest city in the ninja world. A circle around it is approximately equal to, previously in Konoha Village, more than 500 laps. Is this still a warm-up? Although Arima Talisman has unlimited physical strength, Lanye is still a little nervous. Is this so ferocious? But looking at the people in the Phoenix Force, they all looked like they were, rejoicing, or even, enjoying it. No need to ask, it is 100% the masterpiece of, Soul Strike buff. Oh no, you can run away on your own. Lanye changed the subject and said, but I have a problem. Your green tights are too easy to be confused with the trees. If you lose your strength during training, you may not be discovered in the woods. This reason can be said to be far-fetched, but Might Guy nodded with deep understanding. Yes, I have fainted from exhaustion many times outside the village. When I woke up, I was still in the same place. No one found me at all, Might Guy said with emotion. Right, so this green is still not eye-catching enough. For the safety of Phoenix's subordinates, the color should be changed. Lanye answered, change the color. Might Guy was stunned for a moment, then suddenly changed his color and said, Your Majesty. This training uniform was passed down from my father. It is the inheritance of youth. It must not be modified in the slightest. Oh, I didn't say you should be changed. Lanye said calmly. I was talking about the Phoenix Force. This. Although Might Guy is a little sad, he can't let others wear the same training uniform that carries his father's youth. But I was relieved when I heard that I didn't need to change it. Okay, Your Majesty, how do you want to modify it? What color do you want it to be? Might Guy asked. The color. Master Lanye's sense of smell was activated, and he used his training clothes to continuously change multiple colors in his brain. Blood red, the color representing the last gate of the 8 inner gates is the youth that burns life and blooms. Blue, 8 inner gates is a physical skill that Rear Admiral has the ability to soar into the sky, but it can barely match it. Other businesses. There's nothing left to use. Wait, a figure suddenly flashed through Lanye's mind, making Lanye tremble. Inspiration also poured in, and he completed the coloring of the new practice uniforms. That's right, that's it, very good. Lanye punched the air in excitement, but uncontrollably fired an air cannon, shattering the building in front of him. Brush, brush, continuous figures used, shao, to dodge in unison, and some from the sky came using moonwalk. Just now it looked like there was no one around. In just a few seconds, hundreds of people gathered around, and each one was covered with green chakra. The 8 inner gates above the 4th gate had already been opened. The people around me are always paying attention to this place. As soon as they hear such a big noise, they rush over with all their strength. Lanye waved his hand nonchalantly. It's okay, just relax your muscles and bones, step back. Yes, where did these people come from? They dispersed and returned the same way, in an orderly manner without any trouble. The quality is good, Lanye praised Might Guy. Haha, thank you for the compliment, Your Majesty. Might Guy said in appreciation. I told you before, just call me Lanye. That's not possible, Tsunade-sama, they are your women, I am not, so we still have to respect them. Might Guy waved his hand. Tisk, let's get straight to the point. Lanye shook his head. Let Might Guy find the tailor who makes the training clothes. With such a large number of training clothes, Might Guy cannot make them all by himself. After finding the person, QG, plus, %, Lanye also adjusted the color, which is a very common yellow. Although the tailor was confused as to why he wanted to use such an ordinary color, his hands and feet were extremely agile in making the training clothes Lanye wanted, a pure yellow tights. But obviously it's not that simple. No, we need to add 2 black stripes, just on both sides. Increase the width of the black stripes. Bigger. Right, that is it. When the new training uniform was put on Might Guy, who was being used as a model, Lanye found another pair of nunchucks. That's right, that's the flavor. Lanye looked at Might Guy, who looked exactly like someone in his impression, and nodded with some satisfaction. But then he added, you learn a few moves and mantras from me. It's a habit to touch your nose with your thumb before punching. Yes, that's it. It's very similar to the starting position of gentle fist. That's right, one foot should be patted, one shoulder should be raised, the fist should be staggered and facing forward, and the eyes should be looking forward. The last thing is the essence, learn from me. Hit, with the final, hit, all the essence is in place. That's right, in his previous life, he was, the pioneer of Kung Fu movies, the most capable Asian, and, the winner of the Lifetime Achievement Award at the Hong Kong Film Awards, Lee Shao, Dragon. Oh my god, looking at Might Guy's posture that was 90% Bruce Lee, Lanye had already thought about what it would be like to be part of the Phoenix Force and put on this set of training uniforms. I also have a Bruce Lee army. Please give me flowers. Tisk, why didn't you think of this operation before? Cool, isn't it? I just don't know. System, is the current Soul Strike buff still there? Ding. Soul Strike buff. +20 willpower, +15 physical skills, +15 physical strength, +10 recovery, -1 intelligence, -1 logic, -1 ninjutsu, -1 illusion winking face. Lanye looked for the previous system prompts. Ding. Soul Strike buff. +20 physical skills, +20 willpower, +10 recovery, +10 physical strength, -10 intelligence, -10 logic, -10 ninjutsu, 10 illusion skills. The physical skills of the frontal buff are reduced by 5 points, but the physical strength is increased by an additional 5 points. There is no overall weakening. However, the 4 attributes of intelligence, logic, ninjutsu, and illusion have all changed from -10 to -1. In terms of attribute relativity, this is equivalent to an increase of 4 times 9 equals 36 attribute points. This wave is a big enhancement. Lanye nodded with satisfaction. This is the true form of the training uniform. He immediately said, Emperor Guy, from now on the entire army will use this set of training uniforms, as well as the habits and mantras I just taught you. You must also teach them every word, you know. Yes, Your Majesty. Might Guy first agreed, and then said doubtfully, Your Majesty, please redeem your ignorance. Do these have any effect? Why don't you just dress yourself? Go run a few laps and you will know. Then come to the Imperial City Hall and report to me. Lanye said mysteriously. Yes, Your Majesty. For youth. Fight. Might Guy ran out before he could finish his words, and several ups and downs disappeared at the limit of the viewing angle, without a trace. Lanye would like to take a look. Can Might Guy notice the difference between the two training suits? Turn around to leave, but he saw the tailor who had not left yet. Oh, you're still here. Then go back and make 3 sets for each member of the Phoenix Force according to the standards just now. You should know the size, right? I don't know, but I know where to ask. Your Majesty, please rest assured. The villain's craftsmanship is famous throughout Konoha City, and he is absolutely comfortable and close-fitting. The tailor said, patting the bear's mouth. Lanye nodded with satisfaction, unfolded his demon wings and flew away. After watching Lanye leave, the tailor left happily, still wearing something vintage. Haha, Your Majesty personally came to my shop to order training clothes. This is an affirmation of my skills. Pull up a banner when you get back. What do you need to pay for your name? You even agreed that His Majesty would wear it. But His Majesty didn't wear it either. This kind of false marketing won't work. The training uniform that His Majesty ordered for Might Guy, Chief Instructor. It's neither right nor wrong. Let's go to the Aburame clan and ask their editor to come up with a title. Although their presence is very low, the way they created this title is really good. Bruce Lee's version of Practice Clothes, achieved success. 52. Flirting by Wooden Golem. Dinner meeting Kagaya. 1 update. The day passes quickly and night comes. Lanye is flirting with Wooden Golem, and it's the time to confirm their relationship that I missed the most recently. But Might Guy flew in on the moonwalk in a hurry. He was one of the few exceptions who could enter the Imperial Palace without notification and could fly in the air. But, when approaching the palace, Might Guy still respectfully lowered his height to the ground and let the guard outside the door announce his arrival. After a few minutes, Lanye was the one holding the long legs, and it was Wooden Golem who appeared. Without waiting to speak, Might Guy just yelled, Your Majesty, you are really amazing. This new training uniform is much better than my father's. It can actually increase my willpower, physical strength, and recovery slightly. How did you do it? 660. It's just a joke. Lanye smiled and said, but since the new practice uniform is so good, why do you still change it back to the original one? That's right, now Might Guy is wearing the original green training uniform, not the new, Bruce Lee style. My practice clothes were made by my father. It is a continuation of youth. It is the blood of youth. It is youth that can never be replaced. Might Guy said with tears in his eyes. Lanye glanced at Wooden Golem, who was speechless, and patted the back of her hand to signal her to get used to it. Might Guy is like this. I am always passionate, and in tears. Perhaps it is because of such simplicity that I can persist in practicing 8 inner gates until the final success. Simply, the God level option is just to replace him with the Phoenix Force, freeing him from the restrictions of the Soul Strike buff. Now that the training suit has been greatly strengthened, this God level choice can be considered completed. It's not a big problem whether Might Guy should be replaced or not. Since you insist, then do whatever you want. Lanye said tolerantly. Thank you, Your Majesty, for understanding my youth. Woo. Ahem. Don't cry. I have already placed an order to make new training uniforms for the Phoenix Force. After that, all the Phoenix Force will be replaced with new ones. I also need to teach you what I taught you. Do you understand? How dare you do anything to His Majesty? It's not that bad, just go and do your work. It's Your Majesty. Might Guy stepped on the moonwalk and headed straight out of the city, still roaring with passion. For Your Majesty, I will take them to train all night tonight. There's no room for slacking off in youth. Lanye looked at Wooden Golem, who looked a little strange, and shrugged helplessly. You just get used to it, that's what Might Guy is. It's very good. I also tried 8 inner gates, but I couldn't get started at all. He is a genius in individual skills, praised by Wooden Golem. His talent in physical skills is indeed very good, but it's a pity that he has no bloodline, and in the end he is just a supporting role. Lanyei shook his head. Bloodline. What bloodline? Oh, it's the blood of the Six Paths, or the blood of the Otsutsuki clan. This ninja world originally evolved from the family conflicts of the Otsutsuki clan. Lanyei pointed out. By Wooden Golem couldn't help but become even more curious. He knew about the Otsutsuki clan, Lanyei had mentioned it several times. But the rebellion in the ninja world was the evolution of the family conflicts of the Otsutsuki clan. This was the first time she heard about it and she was very interested. See interested by Wooden Golem. Lanyei said simply. Let's go back and have dinner. I'll spread it out to you at the dinner table. Okay. Wooden Golem nodded. Although after being with Lanyei, her cold temperament has changed somewhat, and she talks a lot more than before. But in normal times, I still cherish words like gold. Lanyei looked at the doorman and said. Go and summon Tsunade, Izumi, Shizune, Sumui and Konan, as well as Orochimaru, Nagato, Scorpion, Itachi and Uchiha, and tell them that I will treat them to a dinner. We have something to discuss. Yes. The guard immediately left and went straight to the secretariat. There was someone guarding it 24 hours a day, and it was Lanyei's central link in managing the United Fire Nation. But, these people are scattered all over Konoha City, and the farthest Orochimaru is outside Konoha City. It takes less than half an hour to get there. Lanyei definitely can't wait like this. Yes, Toolman, Namikaze Minato is here. As the Royal Tool Man, he had to interrupt the parent-child interaction with Naruto, use the Flying Thunder God technique to shuttle through Konoha City, and transport Tsunade and others to the Imperial Palace. Stay and have something to eat together. Lanyei asked. The current Namikaze Minato is not the rat spell tool man before, so Lanyei's attitude will be much better. No, Your Majesty, Naruto is still waiting at your subordinate's house, so. Namikaze Minato apologized. It's okay, it's time to spend more time with him, go ahead. Thank you for your understanding, Your Majesty. Wait for Namikaze Minato to walk away. Lanyei was in a good mood facing a large table of people. It has been almost a year since I came to the ninja world. Now he has also corrected the tragedy of most people and made up for many regrets. The unified ninja world is now thriving, and I feel a great sense of accomplishment. After inviting everyone to take a few bites to cushion their stomachs, Lanyei is the whole person who has entered today. I just talked with Wooden Golem about the Otsutsuki clan, and I just happened to call you together to tell you about it. I didn't tell you before because it wasn't time yet. Now that the ninja world has been unified and stabilized, there's no need to hide these things. Everyone couldn't help but stop their chopsticks and look at Lanyei. Only Anko and little Hinata were still eating haze. At most, they sensed that something was not right in the atmosphere and quietly lowered the sound of chewing. Lanyei doesn't care either. His eyes fell on Orochimaru, or rather the Rinnegan in his eyes. This Rinnegan can be traced back to the Otsutsuki clan. They are a race from an alien planet. Their family members are born with great strength. They don't need to practice like ordinary people. They only need to swallow the chakra fruit to become stronger. Their combat power is probably at the Sage of Six Paths level as you understand it. It should be about the same as mine now. 0.53. Nagato's sexy operation. Black Zetsu Jinchuriki. 2 updates. The following is not a word count. It is a preparation for accepting Kagaya. The main purpose of life of the Otsutsuki family is to plant sacred trees on alien planets and devour all living beings to harvest chakra fruits, including living beings from many planets floating in this universe, evolving into incomparable and unique beings until the moment they become gods. Quote, the people of the Otsutsuki clan first planted 10 tails on the earth of the alien planet. After growing into a sacred tree, the roots of the sacred tree will spread to all parts of the planet, and then continue to absorb the chakra of all living things on the planet. Thousands of years ago, Otsutsuki Kagaya came to the ninja world for this purpose. In the middle, Kagaya used Yin-Yang Dun to give birth to 2 children. The eldest son was Otsutsuki Hagoromo, the founder of the ninja world, Sage of Six Paths, and the second son was Otsutsuki Hamura. Later, because of his disappointment in mankind, he decided to destroy mankind. After eating the fruit of the sacred tree, he used infinite Tsukuyomi to quell the war, and then created his own world. Quote, but, 19. Actually, there is another layer of meaning in it. For the chakra fruit of the sacred tree to fully mature, Otsutsuki Kagaya must voluntarily be swallowed by 10 tails. Unwilling to resist the arrival of other Otsutsuki clan members, Otsutsuki Kagaya activated infinite Tsukuyomi to create White Zetsu, but was killed by 2 of her own. The sun stopped him and was eventually sealed by Hagoromo and Hamura, but Kagaya used his will and escape to create Black Zetsu before he was sealed, and planned to use Black Zetsu to resurrect himself. After that, Black Zetsu, as a filial son of the ninja world, lurked for thousands of years and planned. Finally, Uchiha Madara deceived him into thinking that launching the infinite Tsukuyomi would bring peace to the ninja world. You already know the rest of the story, so I won't go into details. Just ask Black Zetsu. Nagato nodded thoughtfully, but he didn't pull out Black Zetsu to confirm. Lanyei couldn't help but take a look. Doesn't Nagato always carry Nagato with him? Sensing Lanyei's gaze, Nagato explained. Black Zetsu has been a little restless since giving Rinnegan to Orochimaru, so I came up with the idea of sealing him just to be on the safe side. Everyone nodded in agreement. Black Zetsu's combat power is not very good, but its ability to trick people into making trouble is extremely good, and its latent skill is at the top level, so it's hard to get it back even if it escapes. It's all over once the seal falls off. Lanye doesn't care. After all, Black Zetsu is just a troublemaker. Nowadays, the situation in the ninja world is no longer as turbulent as before. Even if Black Zetsu is thrown out, it will not make any waves. I thought the matter would end here, but it didn't. It's still developing in a weird direction. Just listen to Nagato continue. When I was preparing to seal Black Zetsu, I discovered that although I am a member of the Uzumaki clan, I have not even awakened the adamantine sealing chains. So I am going to find Jiraiya and let him use the seal of the tailed beast. 8 sign seal seals Black Zetsu. I didn't want to meet Kakashi. Lanye couldn't help but look sideways. Did Nagato throw Black Zetsu directly into the Kamui dimension? It's done once and for all. As long as Kakashi doesn't let him leave, Black Zetsu stay inside is much more guaranteed than the sealed space. After all, one can escape from the sealed space, but so far Lanye has not heard of anyone who can escape from the Kamui space. What Nagato did next was even more exciting than he thought. Just listen to Nagato say. Kakashi was recently accepted as a disciple by 4th Hokage. His cultivation in lightning-style chakra mode has been improving. His physical skills and physique have made great progress, but his chakra amount is a problem, especially when he still has it is necessary to maintain 2 Mangekyo on a daily basis to continuously activate the minimum consumption of 3 Magatama, so I came to ask Jiraiya if there is any way. Lanye glanced at Uchiha, who also studied with Kakashi and quickly nodded to confirm what Nagato said. The amount of Kakashi's chakra is too small, which is comparable to the level of an ordinary Jonin, but the lightning-style chakra mode is about opening and closing, and the chakra consumption Kakashi can't hold it. Uchiha Ali explained. Everyone nodded in understanding and continued to look at Nagato. What does the amount of Kakashi's chakra have to do with Black Zetsu? Then, Nagato just said an operation that shocked everyone. As we all know, chakra is a one-to-one synthesis of cellular energy and spiritual energy. Kakashi, who has built his body with lightning-style chakra mode, does not lack cellular energy, he only lacks spiritual energy. I was thinking at that time, 180 Black Zetsu was created by pure yin escape, and it is the same ability as the yin power controlled by Lanye. It needs to be sealed anyway, so why not seal it into Kakashi's body, so that Kakashi can still extract it? The yin power of Black Zetsu nourishes and strengthens the soul, so the problem of chakra amount will be solved. Although the Black Zetsu Jinchuriki does not have as much chakra as the tailed beast Jinchuriki, it is enough for Kakashi. And Kakashi possesses Kamui Mangekyo, who is also Kage level himself. As Black Zetsu Jinchuriki, he can monitor Black Zetsu at all times and achieve multiple goals with one stone. Lanye, Tsunade, collect, everyone, even Orochimaru, who often does strange research, looked at Nagato with surprised eyes. Black Zetsu Jinchuriki, thank you for your understanding. Nagato was a little confused when he saw it, and frowned. What, is there something wrong with what I do? Black Zetsu Jinchuriki, no need. Show off or not. 54. Strategy for Otsutsuki Kagaya, Kakashi Black Zetsu status quo. 3 updates. Nagato. What, is there something wrong with me doing this? Everyone looked at each other in silence. Mainly because there were a lot of flaws and they didn't know what to say for a while. Still Lanye smiled and said, Nagato, what you do is very cool. With the beginning of Lanye, everyone also expressed their thoughts one after another. Tsunade. Why haven't I thought that powerful creatures like Black Zetsu can also seal some people? Yuhi Hong. This operation is really powerful. I didn't even think about it. Hayakura. Nagato, how did you come up with the idea? By Wooden Golem. Black Zetsu Jinchuriki, will he really cooperate with Kakashi? I have a tailed beast. If Jinchuriki encounters a tailed beast that refuses to deal with it, he will be no more than an ordinary ninja. Orochimaru. You are wrong. The tailed beasts are far stronger than Jinchuriki, so whether they cooperate or not depends on their will. But Black Zetsu's combat power is elite Chunin at most, and Kakashi Kage level is completely capable forced extraction. Scorpion. Tisk, Uchiha Ali said. Wow, Nagato, you are too angry for this operation, right? Ha ha ha, let this Black Zetsu plot against us Uchiha clan. Is it sealed? Ha 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 ha, Itachi. Ha ha, not bad. Conan. Unexpectedly, Black Zetsu, who was once his right-hand man, has been plotting against the tailed beasts for thousands of years, trying to gather all the tailed beasts to make 10 tails, but in the end he became the material sealed in Jinchuriki. Hongdu. The thief's position is Little Hinata. Chewing sound. Listening to this, Nagato will feel at ease. That's fine. After discussing the issue of Black Zetsu Jinchuriki for a while, Lanye became a little curious. He simply sent a text message to call Kakashi to ask him about the user experience of Black Zetsu Jinchuriki in person. Quickly, Kakashi directly used Mangekyo Kamui to hurry up and came to the outside of the palace and walked through the door. Surprisingly, Kakashi no longer blindfolded his eyes with his forehead protector, but used a pair of 3 Magatama to openly look at everyone. See your majesty, see Hokage, join me, my lords. Kakashi bowed. Hey, don't be so polite. Lanye waved his hand and said, I told you an emperor guy, just call me Lanye in the card hall. It is already a great favor to exempt your subordinates from kneeling down. I dare not exceed it any more. Kakashi said stubbornly. Like Might Guy, it's no wonder the two became close friends. Lanye doesn't force it either. Asked. I heard that Nagato made you a Black Zetsu Jinchuriki, how is the situation now? Back to your majesty, the situation is very good. Kakashi touched his right eye and said, Black Zetsu didn't resist at all, and he took the initiative to use the power of yin to help me temper my soul. During this time, my chakra is still there. It has grown rapidly and now has 10 times the number in the past. Is there no resistance? Lanye said thoughtfully. Didn't he put forward any conditions? Your majesty has a keen eye, indeed. Kakashi hesitated for a moment, then said, Your majesty, Black Zetsu wants to speak to you personally, do you think? Oh, can a tailed beast, oh no, turn into Black Zetsu? Lanye said with great interest, then let him talk about it. It's your majesty. Next moment, the black ink-like armament haki overflowed from Kakashi's body, completely swallowing him up and turning him into a pure black man. It was Black Zetsu who had temporarily gained the use of a physical body. After Black Zetsu appeared, his eyes were fixed on Lanye, and he bowed politely before speaking hoarsely. Your majesty, I have complied with our agreement and even handed over 60,000 white Zetsu troops. I wonder when you can release my mother. But it turns out it was for this, too. The most filial son in the ninja world does not deserve his reputation for nothing. Everyone looked at Lanye, waiting for his answer. Judging from Lanye's description just now, this Otsutsuki Kagaya does not seem to be an unforgivable crime, but rather a new era woman who fought back against the so-called fate of the Otsutsuki clan. Only, she is not very friendly to the ordinary people on this planet, and wants to use infinite Tsukuyomi to transform them into an army of white Zetsu. Whether to release, it still depends on Lanye's choice. At this time, Lanye, who had already made up his mind, did not immediately answer Black Zetsu's words. As expected, the God-level selection system is here to join in the fun again. Ding! It is detected that the host is faced with a choice. The God-level selection system has started. Please make the following choices. Option 1. Release Otsutsuki Kagaya from the Seal of 6 Paths Planetary Devastation. Reward: 4-star 7 Dragon Ball, times 1. Choice 2. Seal Otsutsuki Kagaya, continue to maintain the Seal of 6 Paths Planetary Devastation. Reward: 5-star 7 Dragon Ball, times 1. Choice 3. Strategy for Otsutsuki Kagaya, strategy for Otsutsuki Kagaya to become his own woman. Reward: 7-star Namek Dragon Ball, times 1. From a personal choice point of view, Lanye definitely wants to release Otsutsuki Kagaya. Otherwise, who would be his guide to lead them to attack the Otsutsuki clan? But, it certainly won't be now. He is currently at the level of 6 paths in Otsutsuki Kagaya. It is still irrational to go up against the Otsutsuki clan who have been in business for who knows how many years. But he didn't think of it. This God-level selection system actually includes the God-level selection of Strategy Otsutsuki, which Lanye never expected. Is it possible to do this again? Well, doesn't it seem possible? 55. Sage of 6 Paths appears. What are the uses of Yuelao Red Rope? 4 more. Otsutsuki himself seems to be silly and sweet. Sora has powerful abilities, but he doesn't know how to use them. Not only was he sealed away by 2 16-year-old kids, but he was also broken by Naruto's SX seduction technique. That's outrageous. Looks very easy to deceive. It's not possible either. Then he still has something good to do at the bottom of the box. Yuelao Red Rope, the red string used by Yuelao to designate marriage. After binding, the two people will fall in love no matter what, regardless of status, personality, preferences, or gender. This is a very distant reward. At first, Lanye almost wanted to use it for Tsunade, but in the end he took it down and saved such a crucial item. If it weren't for Wooden Golem and Sammy being captured together, Yuelao would only have 1 red rope. Otherwise, Lanye might have used it a long time ago, right? Now, looks like I can give Otsutsuki Kagaya a shot. But it may not necessarily be used. After all, Otsutsuki Kagaya is so silly and sweet, so maybe he can be easily deceived. That's it. System. I choose 1, choose 3. Successful selection. The rewards, 4-star 7 Dragon Ball, and 7-star Namek Dragon Ball, have been distributed. 4 stars 7 Dragon Ball, get the chance to make a wish. But if you don't speak Japanese, then you won't be able to talk to Shenron. 7-star Namek Dragon Ball, get 3 chances to make a wish. But if you don't know Namekian, then you won't be able to talk to the dragon. The reward is about to be received. Lanye looked at Black Zetsu and said, of course I keep my word. I promise to lift your mother's seal. What will happen? Wait, Otsutsuki Kagaya 083 he is Black Zetsu's mother. If he conquers Otsutsuki Kagaya, wouldn't he become Black Zetsu's father? Ah this, is it considered happy to be a father? Besides, were Hagoromo and Hamura born from the union with humans in the anime, or were they born with the blessing of humans in the manga? No, bridge. Lanye immediately changed the topic and asked. I'm a little curious, Sage of 6 Paths Otsutsuki Hagoromo, was it the result of the union between Otsutsuki Kagaya and a human, or was it the result of using yin-yang escape or something like you? Black Zetsu, who was already grinning like a white fang, couldn't recover immediately after hearing Lanye's sharp turn of the question. Weren't you just talking about releasing his mother? Why did the topic suddenly jump to the way his brother was born? But soon, Black Zetsu still reacted and said, when my mother was born, I used the power of escape and part of her flesh and blood. As for my 2 brothers, Otsutsuki Hamura and Otsutsuki Hagoromo, that was before I was born. I don't have the relevant inheritance memory and I don't know clearly. It looks like this. Lanye shook his head regretfully. This matter was a bit difficult to handle. You can't release Otsutsuki Kegai at that time. Before you tie her with the red rope of Yu Lao, you should ask her if she is a virgin, right? No matter how stupid I am, I will never answer such an outrageous question. You can ask again after tying it up. What if it's true? Having a headache. Suddenly, an illusory figure slowly emerged in the hall. He had 2 horns on his head and was wearing a white coat. He had 6 black Magatama-shaped patterns on his chest, a red swirl-shaped logo on his back, and 3 rows of Magatama on the bottom, 3 hooks per row. Don't ask how Lanye saw his back, observation Haki will find out. Kakashi, Itachi and others immediately stood up on alert, activated Mangekyo to guard in front of Lanye, and formed a human wall between the visitor and Lanye. Back off, Lanye said. You can't defeat him, he is your ancestor, Sage of 6 Paths Otsutsuki Hamura. Tsunade and others couldn't help but exclaimed, is this old man Sage of 6 Paths? Only Orochimaru and Scorpion looked at Sage of 6 Paths with interest. Since he is still alive, have you mastered some means of eternal life? The wall of people dispersed. Lanye sat firm as a mountain and looked at the floating Sage of 6 Paths. It seemed that looking up made him a little uncomfortable. He also used the ability of the chicken talisman to hover in the air. The gilded demon armor emerged, and then spread out the gilded wings of 1 demon and 1 god. In terms of momentum, it can also compete with the Sage of 6 Paths. Sage of 6 Paths looked at Lanye in silence. The invisible wrestling in another dimension has already begun. Orochimaru and other cage-level experts felt chest tightness and dizziness. They retreated several meters away from the 2 of them before it eased slightly. However, they still felt as uncomfortable as being suppressed by a mountain. As for Black Zetsu, as early as the moment when Sage of 6 Paths appeared, he slipped directly back into the sealed space, and Kakashi himself took over the physical body. Kacha, kacha, kacha. The tables, chairs, benches, floors and walls were inexplicably cracked, spreading rapidly and then collapsing, and a good table of food was ruined. Seeing that the palace is also crumbling, Lanye frowned in displeasure, the god's eyes glared, the powerful person's identification technique. At the same time, although he did not speak, his melodious voice was reciting scriptures and reciting words of compassion in the air. What is filial piety? What is love? Do you know the greatness of maternal love? See if you can live with it. Sage of 6 Paths obviously did not expect that after a good competition, Lanye would be angry because of the loss of some external things. Being struck by the golden light of the strong person's identification technique, when the abdomen visibly swelled to the size of 6 months, it paused for a few seconds and then subsided. Puff. But the process of farting cannot be avoided. What's interesting is that the gas released turns out to be the power of yin and yang. Lanye raised his eyebrows. With a wave of his hand, use the chicken talisman to create a levitating light and grab the ball of yin-yang escape power, and then throw it to Kakashi, the weakest person present. There are definitely benefits, but I don't know if he will feel sick. Anyway, there is a mask blocking it, so I can't see it. Look at Sage of 6 Paths again. He was forced to expel some of the power of escape from yin and yang, and the solidity became unauditably lighter. Although it was very subtle, it could not be hidden from most people present. Except for Yakura and other Jonin. Others are either cage level or Mangekyo. Can you still not notice this difference? The descendants are terrible. Sage of 6 Paths finally spoke, sighing. I never thought that when I had the opportunity to break through the space, the extraterrestrial visitors brought by accident would one day be able to unify the ninja world and limit it with law and wealth. The ninja world has achieved the peace it has today, it's really a terrible future. Lanye and everyone keenly noticed the key, extraterrestrial visitors accidentally brought by the space break. The guest refers to Lanye. Isn't Lanye from the ninja world? Can't help but. Tsunade and others looked at Lanye, who was also like a god. Recalling the past, they found that Lanye's abilities were basically different from ordinary people, completely different from the current system of the ninja world, but somewhat similar. Just when everyone was thinking. But it was little Hinata who said, no matter whether the teacher is from the ninja world or someone from outside the sky, the teacher has brought peace to the ninja world. He is the emperor of our ninja world. It's you Sage of 6 Paths, since you why have you always lived and watched the ninja world fall into war? Didn't you create Kugo? What's the difference between you doing this and someone who gave birth to a child but abandoned it? Never imagined. Little Hinata, a girl who usually looks docile, actually dares to angrily criticize Sage of 6 Paths and compare her to unscrupulous parents who abandon their offspring. Oh 5. Well said. Tsunade followed up. We don't care who Lanye is or what his intentions are. Now the ninja world is at peace because of him. Your so-called Sage of 6 Paths suddenly appears and wants to do something. What? Sage of 6 Paths, he. Where were you when my family was destroyed? Nagato stared at Sage of 6 Paths and moved towards Orochimaru. Hiss, your form is a soul, right? Is the soul in another form immortal? Orochimaru said with interest, while also leaning towards Nagato. Rinnegan has only just taken over. If you really want to fight Sage of 6 Paths, it would be best to leave it to Nagato, who has been using it for decades. I also believe in Lanye, he is much more reliable than a bad old man like you. Yi Kang also stepped forward. I believe in Lanye too. I also believe in your majesty. You are such a bad old man, what do you want to do? Just for a moment, everyone is still on Lanye's side, and they haven't wavered in the slightest just because Sage of Six Paths has been around for a long time, or because he is the founder of the ninja world. Lanye nodded happily. I don't treat you well in vain. As for what Sage of Six Paths calls accidental gains, feel sorry, the system made it clear that his coming to this world has nothing to do with Sage of Six Paths. Yes, he looked at Sage of Six Paths and said with a smile, then I don't know why Sage of Six Paths came. You have to tell me carefully, otherwise, the price of my table of food is very expensive. 56. Can Kagaya be conquered? Sage of Six Paths surrender. One update. Lanye smiled brightly and said, then I don't know why Sage of Six Paths came here. You have to tell me carefully, otherwise, the price of my table of food will be very expensive. I just heard that you were curious about how I was born, so I came here to explain it to you. Sage of Six Paths said. Oh, nothing else. Lanye didn't believe it. Besides, I will talk to you about some small things, just trivial things. Sage of Six Paths glanced at Kakashi, or Black Zetsu in the sealed space. Then tell me first, how were you born? Lanye jumped back to the previous topic. This jumping thought made Sage of Six Paths pause. Then he said, my brother Otsutsuki Hagoromo and I are essentially not much different from Otsutsuki Black Zetsu. We were also made by my mother using yin-yang escape and flesh and blood. The difference is that we both inherited the power of yin-yang, rather than simply the power of yin release or yang release is also inherited from Sharingan and Byakugan respectively, but they eventually advanced to Rinnegan and Tenseigan respectively. Lanye nodded in understanding. As long as it's not really with someone else, then it's not a big problem. As for age, using the same logic as Tsunade, is there much difference between 100 million years in the future and 100 million and a few thousand years in the future? Not to mention, Otsutsuki Kagaya still spends most of his time in the Seal of Six Paths planetary devastation, and his thinking is even simpler. Not a big problem. However, other people's ideas and concerns are obviously very different. For example, researchers such as Orochimaru. It turns out that Byakugan can advance as well as Sharingan, and is he still a Tenseigan at the same level as Rinnegan? Such as Itachi, Izumi, Uchiha Ori. It turns out that Sharingan can evolve into Rinnegan. Then aren't they descendants of the Sage of Six Paths? Can't help but, Uchiha Ori asked. So, how did you advance to Rinnegan? Everyone looked sideways at Uchiha, and Lanye also glanced at him. Now is the time when you can ask. But, Lanye didn't pay too much attention to this, he was still thinking about how to conquer Otsutsuki Kagaya. However, Itachi, as a disciple and Hokage, kicked Uchiha directly on the back of his knee, causing him to kneel to the ground with a thud. I'm sorry, teacher, I didn't lead my junior brother well. Itachi said respectfully to Lanye. It's no big deal. Lanye waved his hand and said, as for Rinnegan, the power of yin has basically reached ultimate. It requires enough power of yang to activate. The Rinnegan of Uchiha Madara was caused by tearing off a piece of Senju Hashirama's flesh. After swallowing it, use the power of yang in it to assist the Geto statue to open the Rinnegan, but... Lanye glanced at Sage of Six Paths and shook his head. But the direct lineage of the Otsutsuki clan doesn't need to be so troublesome. I remember that you killed your younger brother with your own hands, so you directly upgraded from the main Magatama level to Rinnegan. You also had an extra eye opened on your forehead. You actually know that. Sage of Six Paths was surprised. This is something that even little Tomomaru doesn't know. Where did you know it? Then it has nothing to do with you. Lanye changed the subject. Now, it's time to talk about your real purpose. What do you want to do? Sage of Six Paths see this. He also skipped the irrelevant details and looked at Kakashi again, or Black Zetsu in his sealed space. I am here for my third brother. Sage of Six Paths paused and said again, I am also here for you. My mother's seal cannot be broken. Please give me flowers. Oh, are you teaching me how to do something? Lanye raised an eyebrow. The threat is strong, do you dare to nod and give it a try? I can't beat you to death in a minute. Lanye couldn't be sure before, but now that he met face to face, he discovered that Sage of Six Paths is just a form of soul existence. At best, the combat power is at the peak of Super Cage level and half-step level. Compared with Lanye, whose combat power is already comparable to or even surpasses that of Six Paths, Sage of Six Paths now has more experience just because it is a veteran. At best, he could escape, but defeating Lanye was a fantasy. It is also because of this. Even though Lanye is very rude, Sage of Six Paths still looks like a gentle and kind-hearted person. Black Zetsu has been causing trouble to the ninja world in order to get rid of my mother. It is also to find out him, so I have been monitoring the ninja world and did not show up. Unexpectedly, my third brother is extremely cautious and has not shown up for thousands of years. When you do anything big, you push others to carry it out and start wars one after another. When Sage of Six Paths mentioned this, he sighed with compassion. But no one paid him any attention. If you really care about the order of the ninja world, why would you use this bait to catch Black Zetsu? Don't say anything. The existence of Black Zetsu will threaten Otsutsuki Kagaya's seal. To unlock the seal of Six Paths planetary devastation, there's no way around Rinnegan. As long as Sage of Six Paths can control this problem, what can Black Zetsu do? After all, it just ignores the existence of the lower class humans. Although it does not regard them as ants, it is at most an unfavored stepson. Lanye even said, "Give me a reason not to release Otsutsuki Kagaya. Remember, you only have one chance to die." 57. The Isolated Sage of Six Paths. Summon the souls of the strong men of all ages. 2 updates. Lanye said domineeringly, "You only have one chance to persuade." Hokage. Even when facing Sage of Six Paths, he could still say such shameless words, as if he was condescending and regal. Can you believe that Sage of Six Paths is not angry yet? Anyway, Tsunade and others were a little surprised. Is their emperor already so powerful? Immediately I felt proud from the bottom of my heart. Have a look, this is their emperor, husband. Even the Sage of Six Paths must be treated seriously. What is Hokage? This is called Hokage. Faced with Lanye's attitude towards Sage of Six Paths, Gyubo responded calmly, as if he had never heard. 537, again. Thousands of years of solitary life have long since developed his ability to not be affected by external objects. Otherwise, how could he stand by and watch the chaos in the ninja world, just to fish out Black Zetsu? Yes, Sage of Six Paths said to himself. My mother attempted to release Infinite Tsukuyomi, and transform everyone in the ninja world into White Zetsu in order to cope with her being hunted by the Otsutsuki family. This is what we should be fighting against together. But she wants to gather all her strength on one person, which is not advisable. Lanye understood. Sage of Six Paths actually does not object to Otsutsuki Kagaya's gathering of armies, but rather to throwing all power and hope on individuals. Strength should be dispersed as seeds and allowed to take root, sprout and grow. Have to say, Lanye also agrees with this concept. That's it. Sage of Six Paths' approach makes Lanye a little bit unable to agree. Compared to Sage of Six Paths who sealed Otsutsuki Kagaya twice in a row, his younger brother Otsutsuki Hamura thought that Otsutsuki Kagaya was a weak woman and wanted to accompany her on the moon. Make a judgment. But, this actually has something to do with the era and background of Sage of Six Paths. Before Sage of Six Paths, the strongest being in the world is his mother, Otsutsuki Kagaya, who has become feared by the world because she controls the powerful power chakra alone. After all, you still don't know how to propaganda, otherwise shouldn't you be respected as a god? Ninjutsu of Sage of Six Paths. Not just spreading chakra, but also spreading ideas. He called on everyone to use chakra as a connecting force, because there was a real case in front of him like his mother. Power must not be concentrated in the hands of one person. Essentially, his idea is to make dictatorship disappear. Don't let your personal power be too strong, making it impossible for everyone to resist. So the idea of Sage of Six Paths is not, why not eat meat, but to gain experience. Not only did he teach the world this way, he also taught his 2 sons this way. But, their 2 sons were born with opposite constitutions. The elder brother, Indra, is born strong and therefore relies on strength. The younger brother Ashura has no obvious talent. He only became strong through the help of his companions and his own efforts. So Hagoromo passed on the ninja sect to Ashura, because Ashura realized the true meaning of ninja sect, helping each other. Result, the failed eldest son Indra was instigated by Black Zetsu and followed his grandmother's old path, trusting and relying too much on Wanliang. Then, when the conflict gets out of hand, it becomes a story of fratricide. This doesn't. After fighting for thousands of years, the chakra must be reincarnated and continue fighting until death. Interestingly, ninjutsu is a product of Indra's invention of chakra as a weapon. But because of the reincarnation fight between the 2 of them, this led to the decline of the ninjutsu that promoted collaboration, and the ninjutsu used for disputes promoted. The Sage of Six Paths all became the inventors of ninjutsu. The setting of ninjutsu was added later, so the Six Paths old man would be angry when he heard Naruto say that he was the creator of ninjutsu. It's just fun. Clear your mind. Lanye looked at Sage of Six Paths and smiled. If I must release Otsutsuki Kagaya, what will you do? Do you want to seal me too? Sage of Six Paths was silent. Everyone else was on careful alert, and except for Orochimaru and Nagato, everyone else was cage level. They spread out this Jonin and quietly surrounded Sage of Six Paths without giving him a single blow to clear the area. Chance. This attitude says a lot. Six Paths had already discovered in the momentum contest just now that he could not be Lanye's opponent. Now the high-end combat power in the ninja world is on Lanye's side, and their 2 sons' chakra reincarnation ninja school has not yet graduated. Woolen cloth. What can he do? Although he can summon the souls of strong men from the pure land of the underworld, such as Senju Hashirama, Uchiha Madara, etc., he cannot forcibly control their will to fight for himself. This does not conform to his ninja sect philosophy. By the time, whether he is summoned to help Sage of Six Paths or Lanye is a big question mark. Phew. The peace in the ninja world that Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara longed for was realized by Lanye. So, in order to continue to maintain peace in the ninja world, the 2 of them will most likely choose. Yes, although Sage of Six Paths has a great reputation now, it is at a comprehensive disadvantage against Lanye. Does he dare to say harsh words? In this regard, Sage of Six Paths means 58. Weapon parts Rinnegan. The corpse of Sage of Six Paths. 3 updates. Sage of Six Paths means people under the eaves have to bow their heads. Sage of Six Paths could only calmly ask, I don't know, why are you insisting on releasing my mother? Her combat power is higher than that of Six Paths. Even with your current combat power, I'm afraid there is no need. Are you sure of winning? I can't beat him, I have to try to activate the mouth escape. Lanye is very curious. What about this, ancestor of Uzumaki Naruto? He replied. Since I have unified the ninja world, the next step is to develop outside the earth. The nearest one should be the Otsutsuki clan. I need someone to lead the way. Besides, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Since Otsutsuki Kagaya having betrayed the Otsutsuki clan, she now has a common goal with me. This provides a basis for cooperation. All that remains is how to convince her. Persuasion. If we can convince, why would my brother and I seal our mother? Sage of Six Paths sighed. My mother is too stubborn and firmly believes that ordinary people cannot be the opponents of the Otsutsuki clan. She must concentrate all her power on herself to have a chance, but, mother, her fighting consciousness is so poor, even my brother and I, who are half a level worse than her, conceal it. If all the power is concentrated on her, it will be difficult for her to afford the future of the entire ninja world. Okay. His son, a citizen, accused his mother of being a rookie, but she was a rookie and loved to play, so she was banned. Lanye is okay, at least he has a rough idea of Otsutsuki Kagaya's situation. But Orochimaru and others were a little surprised. Co-author, the man who truly created the source of prosperity for the ninja world is just a rookie. Ah, this. Just like someone said to you, the Emperor of the United Kingdom of Fire is actually mentally retarded. Who do you think can survive for more than 3 minutes by shouting on the street? But now, Sage of Six Paths himself accuses his mother Otsutsuki Kagaya. It seems that there is no point in deceiving them. But, since her combat power is very poor, then I will subdue her first, and then she will naturally listen to others. Lanye said easily. She didn't listen to you before because you were not strong enough. It's like now I am stronger than you, so you will persuade me earnestly, but if I were not strong enough, you would persuade me first even if you were based on the concept of ninja, but your attitude will definitely not be so good, and once the negotiation breaks down, you will still persuade me. Is it going to be the same as your mother's and you have to bear it in the end? ... What if you can't beat her? Sage of Six Paths frowned and said. Although my mother doesn't have a strong sense of fighting, she is still enough to deal with me in her heyday under the crushing force of the blood succession snare. Brother, your current state is probably just a little better than me in full glory, so it's impossible to defeat her. Quote, Teacher, we are still there. Itachi said solemnly. I am Eternal Mangekyo. Even if I cannot fight against your so-called ancestor of the ninja world, I can still serve as a shield. Yes, we will fight side by side with the teacher. Izumi nodded resolutely. I can pause time. This ability should be of some help, right? Uchiha Ali said confidently. Hiss, the ancestor of the ninja world. A very interesting research subject. Orochimaru stuck out his tongue excitedly. Lanye glanced over. Orochimaru's expression froze. He had been building the aviation center during this period and had forgotten that Lanye had this taboo. Suck back tongue. Orochimaru silently took out the Rinnegan and handed it to Nagato next to him. At the same time, he also took out 2-3 Magatama soaked in nutrient solution from the sealing ring, reinstalled them on himself, and connected the healing ninjutsu to the veins. Nagato, no, Lanye and Sage of Six Paths are still negotiating, and you're going to dig your eyes out. You are using this to avoid Lanye's accountability, but Laozi also wants to gouge his eyeballs. But after thinking about it, Nagato also dug out his ordinary eyeball, replaced 833 with Rinnegan and prepared to use medical ninjutsu. Shizune consciously teleported to assist, and took over Orochimaru's follow-up work with dual purpose. If she really takes action later, Jonin won't be able to help her. Let's save some chakra for Nagato and Orochimaru. Orochimaru is like this, what else can Lanye say? He turned back to look at Sage of Six Paths, and then suddenly a year popped up. Sage of Six Paths is dead, where is his body? Can his Rinnegan be used? Thinking like this, Lanye immediately asked. Your soul has been monitoring the ninja world for thousands of years, but what about your physical body? Senju Hashirama is just the reincarnation of Ashura's chakra, and his body can remain incorruptible for many years after death. You should be able to do the same, right? My body, Sage of Six Paths is a bit strange. But after looking at Nagato and Orochimaru, I realized it. Co-author, do you really think of Rinnegan as a weapon part that can be disassembled and transplanted at will? 59. Six Paths Rinnegan Eye Technique. Dig the grave of Sage of Six Paths. 4 more. Do you really think of Rinnegan as a weapon part that can be transplanted at will? Sage of Six Paths was speechless and silent. At the same time, I'm also thinking about Lanye's solution, joining forces with his mother. If it were Lanye, maybe it's really possible, although I don't know why. But when Lanye came to the ninja world, Sage of Six Paths paid attention to him. At that time, he was really just an ordinary mortal, and he didn't even react to chakra. It is precisely because of this that Sage of Six Paths did not take action rashly, but chose to wait and see what happened, fearing that it was some kind of temptation from Black Zetsu who wanted to expose his whereabouts. Never imagined, Lanye actually grew to the Six Paths level in less than a year, and directly unified the ninja world with force. Not even giving Sage of Six Paths time to react, he directly uncovered all Black Zetsu, which made Sage of Six Paths become suspicious again and wanted to see what Lanye was going to do in the dark. Until today, hearing that Lanye was going to release Otsutsuki Kagaya, he couldn't help but show up. If you don't show up again, the ninja world is really about to be turned into a mess by this outsider. By the time, if he can just walk away and leave a mess, why should he clean it up? But through the conversation just now, Sage of Six Paths discovered that this Lanye didn't seem to be making trouble, but wanted to use the ninja world as a starting point to expand his power outside the universe. Can't help but, Sage of Six Paths thought of a possibility. He asked cautiously, "Are you, like my mother, a member of a certain ethnic group? What is your song? Conquer more territories, or are there other conspiracies?" Lanye was speechless. What exactly is Sage of Six Paths thinking about? TB, if I really had any conspiracy, would I tell you if you asked me that? Lan complained. Sage of Six Paths is silent again. Apparently he also realized that he asked a stupid question. Fortunately, Lanye didn't bother with this issue either, or maybe he was more concerned with other issues. Tell me, where is your residence? Do you still remember the coordinates after thousands of years? Your Rinnegan should be more powerful, right? What is the Rinnegan's pupil spell? Really, you were just talking about my eyes. Seeing the resistance of Sage of Six Paths, Lanye also explained, isn't it because your mother is too strong? If you can have 2 more Rinnegans, you will have a better chance. Oh 5. There is even a chance that he will be tied with the red rope of Yuelao and become your father in Sage of Six Paths. Ha ha ha. Of course Sage of Six Paths couldn't hear the second half of Lanye's sentence. After hearing his explanation, his expression softened slightly. No matter how powerful the Rinnegan is, it has its limits. I have given my power to the ninja sect, and I have no power to maintain my body. It has been decayed for thousands of years. As for my Rinnegan eye technique, it is its Six Paths planetary devastation. Ah, it's rotten. This is a bit of a pity. Lanye shook his head regretfully and failed in his attempt to pursue Mi Dao Immortal's body. I am also thinking about eyeball transplantation. Cells can cultivate a more powerful white Zetsu army. Flesh and blood can be used to study the bloodline core of the Otsutsuki clan, and it actually rotted. What a waste. Seemingly seeing what Lanye's expression meant, Sage of Six Paths was a little overwhelmed. What does it mean? My own body was buried and corrupted thousands of years ago and I still need your consent. Ahem, don't get me wrong, I'm just a little pity, 2 Rinnegan are missing, huh? Lanye suddenly looked at Sage of Six Paths and smiled. You have mastered the complete power of yin and yang, you should be able to grant it, let others use it. Itachi, come here, this is the only eternal Mangekyo we have here, please open the Rinnegan. Lanye waved Itachi over, then opened the eternal Mangekyo, and just looked at Sage of Six Paths calmly. He looked like, the teacher asked me to come, but actually I don't really care. Sage of Six Paths, pipe quote. But I didn't say I would transmit the power of yin escape to you. But Lanye didn't care about Sage of Six Paths thoughts at all, and still called Kakashi, asking him to pick up Might Guy and prepare to give him the power of yang. The power of yang escape plus 8 inner gates equals Emperor Guy always opens the door of death. Even Otsutsuki Kagaya will bleed internally if he kicks Night Guy repeatedly, right? Seeing that Kakashi is really driving Kamui to go find Might Guy, Sage of Six Paths, oh, I can't help it. It seems that we can't continue talking today, Sage of Six Paths said helplessly. You'd better think about it carefully. The risk of releasing my mother is really high, but if that day comes, I will also come to help. After saying that, without giving Lanye a chance to speak, he ran away and disappeared. Lanye's observation Haki catches no trace at all. Li Jiaohao, so, although the Sage of Six Paths is not very powerful now, after all, the ninja world is a territory that has been managed for thousands of years, and there are still some who are good at it. Tisk, why did you just run away? Lanye shrugged at everyone and said, this Sage of Six Paths is too stingy and won't give you any yin and yang power. Everyone, according to the logic that Sage of Six Paths just farted in, popped out a little yin and yang power and the figure became a little lighter. This yin and yang power is the foundation for Sage of Six Paths to maintain the immortality of the soul. To advance the eternal Mangekyo to Rinnegan, the amount of yin power it takes is probably a superstar. Looking at the speed at which Sage of Six Paths is running, I'm afraid it will take half a life, right? In this regard, everyone just wants to say, gee, what a miserable Sage of Six Paths. 60. Tsunade's secret technique of Toyokuma. Lanye can do it too. 5th update additional update for The Confused Kitten, 1/5. What a miserable Sage of Six Paths. Everyone looked at each other, was this their founder of the ninja world? 54. That's it. Lanye also floated down, put away the demon armor, looked at the food on the floor, and resisted the idea of using the horse charm to repair it. It has been on the ground for so long and there is no way to save it. Boom. Is Sage of Six Paths running away now? My husband is really awesome. Lanye is so awesome. He can actually challenge Sage of Six Paths. Is this the Sage of Six Paths? The ceiling of the ninja world. Lanye is so awesome. Just as awesome as he is in that aspect. Wow, so fierce. My man is so fierce. Hiss. Clamp. Clamp. Teacher is the strongest. The teacher is so handsome. I really want to be his woman. The secret technique of Toyokuma taught by Mr. Tsunade is effective too slowly. How awesome. The strongest person in the ninja world is my sensei. He can't even defeat the Sage of Six Paths. As the key to soul immortality the power of yin and yang. Then my living corpse reincarnation is just a trick after all. It seems that the research on soul immortality must continue. If the corpse of Sage of Six Paths is still there, if you make it into a puppet, it will definitely be the best work, right? Even the physical body of Sage of Six Paths cannot be immortal. Then my research. No, telomerase must be the key. Lanye is right. -487. A lot of voices came in, allowing Lanye to accurately grasp the thoughts of several people. Then, he glanced at Izumi, and from the corner of his eye he noticed a certain area, which was indeed much larger than before. Does Tsunade still have this secret technique? No wonder it was flat when I was young, but suddenly it skyrocketed like a balloon. Let her teach it to other wives to give it a try later. Thinking like this, Lanye also issued an ejection order. I believe you are not in the mood to eat anymore, so let's stop here today and everyone goes back. It's your majesty. Is teacher. Everyone used the body flicker technique, shaved and left one after another. What they heard tonight made them gain something, and it was time to calm down and organize themselves. When only the wives are left, Lanye put his arm around Tsunade's shoulders and asked, do you have a secret technique that can make bears fertile? BJDE. It's just a beginning. Everyone else's eyes lit up and they looked at Tsunade expectantly. As a ninja in the past, I didn't pay much attention to this aspect. But which one of them still needs to perform tasks now? Now more. Instead, do what you want to do, and spend time dressing yourself up or studying new things. If I could learn Tsunade's secret technique, can they also get more attention? Pity. Tsunade spread his hands and said, this secret technique is only useful during the growth period. The youngest Anko here is already 20, so it's useless. Like this. What a pity. Hearing the sighs of the women. But Lanye looked solemn and said, no, actually, I have another way, which can have the same effect. When the girls looked at it curiously, Lanye made a turn the tap gesture. All the girls understand instantly. As the eldest sister, Tsunade even said boldly, it just so happens that everyone is here today, so. Lanye's sad face is less than or equal to turning the table and laughing. Tsukuyomi Reincarnation Presidential Suite, Armament Hockey Gill Strengthen, Rabbit Charm Piledriver, Horse Talisman, Continue, Tiger Talisman, no need for today, 8 Inner Gates Formation Second Gate Open. In the messy palace, Kakashi took Might Guy into the empty palace, feeling a little confused. Didn't he ask him to bring someone here? Why are other people's missing? Has the fight begun? But you guys, all of whom are at least cage level, can't fight without making any noise, right? Hey, Kakashi, you don't want to have a youthful all-night duel with me and lie to me in His Majesty's name, do you? Might Guy said suspiciously. ... Idiot, I'm like, no matter what, let's fight. You, hit, stop, hit, I am angry, hit. Very good, let's go and fight outside the city. The lightning style armor is on. Ha ha ha, 8 Inner Gates 6th Scenery Gate open. This night, 2 battlefields, fighting all night long. Vertical Sun, Lanye's family did not show up, and Nara Shikaku was not surprised at all. He sighed towards Nagato. I knew this day would come. From now on, we will have to chase His Majesty to check out the condensed world events. Nagato smiled, probably guessing something. I'm afraid it's not that Lanye was lazy and didn't come, but maybe he didn't get up, or even stopped at all, right? Nara Shikaku didn't get too entangled, obviously he had anticipated this day. Fortunately, there is nothing important today, so there is no need to trouble your majesty. Been busy for a while. Nara Shikaku suddenly asked. Nagato, didn't you give the Rinnegan to Orochimaru-sama before? Why now? This. Nagato's eyes sharpened. Because, I just discovered that when I want to think about peace, I am far from being able to rest. What's the meaning? You'll find out later. What the hell? Or you can ask Lanye, I can't tell. Confidential. I hope you understand. It's not that I didn't tell you, but that I didn't have Lanye's authorization. If this information spreads, it may cause panic. I understand, just go to work, the workload will increase greatly again. Well, what do you think of my previous proposal? Should the film directors and governors of each province be screened first? Then, the films of each province are fine, but the governors will be. Then let's change it, it's just a bunch of corpses and the dregs of the old era. But after all, His Majesty promised them, isn't this? You already have a solution, right? ... I can't hide it from you. It's different if I switch back to Rinnegan. Quote, then do it. Don't you apply to your majesty first. You yourself know that His Majesty will not agree to this matter if we do it. Haha, Nagato, we should have known each other earlier. It's not too late. Yes, it's not too late. It's not too late either. Ha ha ha. 61. The Madness of Women. Might Guy's work. One update. Several days have passed since the day Sage of Six Paths appeared. Although he didn't bring any real benefits to Lanye, such as telling him where to build his tomb. But it also brings many, hidden benefits. For example, my subordinates are more loyal. The Sage of Six Paths has been beaten away. Is there anyone in the ninja world who is more awesome than their emperor? Lanye is relatively indifferent to this, since he has never seen anyone dare to betray him before. He treats his subordinates well, has strong physical strength, and will not lose his mind and mess with his own people. This is a clean stream in the ninja world. Why would his subordinates have other intentions if they are crazy? Not to mention, but as soon as Lanye came up, he opened up the precedent of redeeming mission points for ninjutsu, allowing all civilian ninjas to see the hope of climbing up. The foundation was laid in one fell swoop. For example, my subordinates are more motivated to work. You are working for such an awesome person. If you don't work hard, I will kick you out in a minute. This makes Lanye very useful. I haven't been to the Imperial study room that I used to go to every day for several days in a row, and Nara Shikaku also chased him with documents for correction. Nara Shikaku has grown into a conscious, male secret, and understands that the ball no longer asks for help in everything. Certainly. In fact, Itachi and Lanye reported that Nara Shikaku was starting to clean up the people who occupied the latrines in various provinces, including those who took the lead in laziness, such as Tsunami Hinakawa. After all, the province is no longer their own territory, so why are they still managing it so carefully? No matter how happy you are, you can be happy. In this regard, Lanye agreed, but due to his previous commitment, he was not able to take action directly. It's good now. Nara Shikaku helped him deal with the troubles very considerately. We will see the reaction of the people when the time comes. If there is any excessive behavior, we will introduce a temporary worker, or handle with care and let go, as a symbolic punishment to the secretarial department. This matter has been revealed. Besides, the cages of each village were also organized into queues and were officially placed under Itachi's management. They were highly mobile troops independent from the ordinary army, and the B levels in each village use genin techniques, and the mission point exchange model is also circulated and open to each other, striving to allow all ninjas to have ways and channels to become stronger. Do tasks to exchange ninjutsu to become stronger. Become a member of the Phoenix Force by practicing 8 inner gates. Basic medical training, hosted by Tsunade to be a support staff. The basic seal training, carried out by the SEAL Research Department, gives most people who have no access to the sealing technique an opportunity to try and learn the sealing technique. There are also some such as Inuzuka Family Ninja Dog, Secret Technique of Sound, Forging of Ninja Tools such as sealing rings, and so on. It can be said, under Lanye's 4 keynotes of low-end knowledge sharing cultivates and strengthens grassroots ninjas, mid-end knowledge enriches and increases the backbone, high-end knowledge encourages talented people, and forbidden technique knowledge opens up research and redevelopment. The overall combat power of the entire ninja world is increasing at a rocket-like speed. For example, women are even crazier. This is probably because of the sense of crisis caused by excessive distance, so that they will use more means to retain Lanye. That trick, it really makes Lanye linger, so that the children of Samye have been neglected in the past few days. Even the horse charms and sheep charms are still a bit full of ambition but not enough power. Rate, ##. After all, he held the bottom line with 6 paths level combat power. Today, Lanye arrived at the Phoenix Force barracks, outside the city early, and Might Guy wanted to show off the results of his hard work over the past few days. Only saw rows of Phoenix Force members wearing yellow training uniforms looked at Lanye standing on the high platform with piercing eyes, their enthusiasm undisguised. This is their emperor. It is also these reborn parents who were originally considered trash and cannon fodder. There is no shortage of former low-level people in the Phoenix Force. 0. A loser whose family was ruined in the chaos of a small country. A wanderer unable to make a living in the once chaotic ninja world. In the ninja village, where fighting power was respected in the past, Genin could not see his future. Soldiers who may be used as cannon fodder in war zones at any time when relations between countries are tense. And they, because of Lanye's Phoenix Force and Might Guy's 8 Inner Gates introduction, not only did he directly obtain a house in the most prosperous capital of the ninja world, Konoha Castle, but he also had access to the bright future of Cage level, and was a status that is highly respected by the people and an identity that makes family members and relatives proud. All of these, it all exists because of Lanye. Yes, it is no exaggeration to say that the Phoenix Force are all Lanye's die-hard fans, and fanatic believers. Even if Lanye orders them to hang themselves now, they will not hesitate at all. This is also the fundamental reason why Lanye is so interested in the Phoenix Force. When they put on this, Bruce Lee's same style training uniform, they will feel even more friendly. Keep up the good work. Today I guarantee 5 and fight for 6. 62. Might Guy's brain teaser, Raikage's strongest spear. 2 updates. Boys, Might Guy yelled, let your majesty see what we have accomplished these days. Starting position. Ha, ha, ha. The nearly 10,000 members of the Phoenix Force wiped their noses and assumed Bruce Lee's fighting stance, as neatly as if they were carved from the same template. It almost made Lanye mistakenly think that it couldn't be the shadow clone used by Bruce Lee, right? Then, hit, hit. The leading array of the Phoenix Force used moonwalk to raise the altitude, and then the collective launched a leaf great whirlwind from 073 in the air, and at the same time used tempest kick to kick out a large number of air blades. Just like a group of genin using wind-style grade breakthrough. Strong winds swept up a small hurricane, smashing the targeted Earth-style castle wall into pieces, and the broken stones were shot out like machine guns. As you can imagine, if there is anyone behind this wall, even if they avoid the first wave of fire, they will still be shot into pieces. That's outrageous. Can tempest kick still be used in this way? Although Lanye has already taught the extended application of the Phoenix 6 styles, such as finger pistol, iron body charge, etc. It was something Lanye never expected, that physical skills could be superimposed like ninjutsu without interfering with each other but instead amplifying each other. And, still using such classic slogans and actions. Just when Lanye was surprised. But Might Guy admired. Your Majesty, you are really too strong. You can actually design such excellent training uniforms. It's as if they are enlightened, especially learning the Phoenix 6 styles is even easier. It only takes a few days. Most of them have improved. This must be matched with the Phoenix 6th form, right? It's really too strong. It's hard for Might Guy to think of so many reasonable reasons. As for enlightenment, of course, they have to figure it out. After all, not to mention the increased attribute points, they have been cut off by 36 points, and the attribute reduction of 4 points is almost nothing. Quickly comprehend the 6 Phoenix styles. There is a high probability that chakra is not required for the 6th form of the Phoenix. Generally, as long as the physique is up to standard and the understanding is good, it can be mastered with a little practice. Obviously, this group of people who have progressed means that their physique has reached a certain level, but their understanding has been suppressed before. Of course Lanye wouldn't explain this to Might Guy. Nod. He opened his mouth to encourage. Tenacity is a major factor in success. As long as you knock on the door long enough and loud enough, you will eventually break open the door to success. Pain is the crutch of life. It makes the strong stronger and the weak weaker. As long as you still have dreams, don't be afraid of pain. I believe you will eventually be able to stand at the top. For the United Nation of Fire, for your family, for your glory, and for your dreams, work hard. Believe that you are the strongest. The voice fell. Lanye's answer was the classic, hit, which made Lanye feel a little weird. Might Guy seems to regard this as Phoenix Force culture. But, it's okay to shout like this when fighting, but it's also used when answering the leaders, Big Pie. There is always a sense of deja vu that they are very unconvinced and want to rush forward to challenge me. Let the Phoenix Force continue to train. Lanye asked Might Guy to call Uchiha Oliji. This guy was punished by Itachi for asking about Sage of Six Paths rashly and was thrown here for half a year to polish. The training of the Phoenix Force is notoriously hell-like for the past 6 months, and Uchiha Ali is probably a little arrogant. After Might Guy went, in addition to bringing Uchiha Ali, he also brought another person, a boy with purple hair. Lanye glanced at Might Guy. What do you mean? Teacher, I insist on bringing Xuanwu. Uchiha Ali said first. Xuanwu is a genius discovered by the disciple in the Phoenix Force. His physical talent is so powerful, and he works extremely hard. The disciple has I have a hunch that if he can learn the Hell Thrust from 4th Raikage, he will definitely succeed. Hell Thrust, according to the number of fingers, when thrusting, from the weakest, 5 guan hand, to the strongest, 1 guan hand. The chakra is concentrated on the fingers, and the most powerful penetrating power of the thunder attribute chakra penetrates the target. In the former, 4th Ninja War, Impure World Reincarnation's 3rd Raikage once used this, Hell Thrust Shiban Gunsho, to defeat the defensive ninjutsu, Earth-style Manri Earthui Wall, set by the Ninja United Army and the defensive ninjutsu set by Blood Succession Limit Ninja Dodai 5.7 technique, Lava-style sticking to the wall. And this is still the 4 comprehensive hands. As the number of fingers decreases, when this technique is strengthened to the point where only a single finger is left as the Ippon hand, it will also be called the strongest spear. Same. It is also extremely difficult for him to master nintaijutsu, even the 4th Raikage could not master it. Kakashi and Uchiha also tried to study under Ai's instructions, but both failed. Today, Uchiha Ori actually brought a boy and said he could practice Hell Thrust. Lanye became interested. If this thing comes to pass, he will have another powerful general. 63. Oli's investment. The physical genius Xuanwu. 3 updates. How do you know he will be able to successfully practice Hell Thrust? Lanye asked. Because when Xuanwu practiced the 6 styles of the Phoenix Finger Pistol, his talent surpassed everyone else. He developed new extended moves on his own without the guidance of Chief Instructor Might. I think he has talent in this area. Quote, like this. It sounds reasonable, but it seems far-fetched. But, give it a try, you won't lose money anyway. Lanye looked at Xuanwu carefully. The purple hair and the name seemed inexplicably familiar. Xuanwu, which ninja village are you from? Lanye asked. Back to your majesty, I am from Sunagaku, Xuanwu said with no confidence. He thought that because he was not a Konoha native, he might be rejected by Lanye. But Lanye nodded thoughtfully, remembering who this person was. In anime, like Xiao Li, Xuanwu is a genius who only knows taijutsu and cannot use ninjutsu and illusion. It is also the secret of self-created physical skills, 7 Heavens Calling technique, using one's own breathing to complete a brief 19-point enhancement of strength, which is powerful enough to rival the 8 inner gates. Focus on it, comparable to 8 inner gates. There is also the taijutsu, silent palm technique, which can spread the chakra like Fukuro's feathers and eliminate the shock of punching. You can also use acupoints to seal Xiao Li's chakra, preventing Xiao Li from opening the first gate of the 8 inner gates. He is an out-and-out genius. Reb, you shouldn't be able to use ninjutsu, right? Lanye asked. Although Hell Thrust is a ninjutsu that requires less, enin, you must at least know the thunder attribute chakra nature transformation. Can you do it? It's possible, teacher. It's possible, Uchiha Ali shouted. I have also considered your concerns, teacher, so I tried it with chakra paper the day before yesterday. Purple only has the thunder attribute chakra. I taught Purple the thunder attribute on the spot chakra nature transformation. It turned out that he got started today. That's why I can't wait to introduce it to you, teacher. Oh, is he such a genius? So why in the anime is he a waste who can't use ninjutsu or illusions? A change of thought, Lanye found that he had fallen into a misunderstanding. Sunagaku in the anime was just a ninja village that mainly focused on puppetry. Wind style was the mainstream, followed by earth style, and lightning style and water style were both nonsense. I'm afraid there are only a few people who know the thunder attribute chakra nature transformation, and how many will come to teach Ziluo, who seems to be a waste in ninjutsu, for free. After thinking about it, Lanye smiled proudly. This is his original intention of opening up middle and low-end knowledge, so that civilians can have access to more fields. What if he is a genius who has been buried? Lanye patted Uchiha on the shoulder and praised him in the latter's expectant eyes. Yes, I also know how to find talents for teachers, so the training in the Phoenix Force can be reduced by half. Woohoo, teacher is a billion years old. Uchiha cheered. That's right, he worked so hard to promote Ziluo, not because of cherishing talents, although he also had this idea in part. But it's more about investment, and getting the teacher's attention so you can reduce the punishment. This Phoenix Force is really no place for people to stay. If his physical body could withstand this training, he wouldn't have been unable to successfully practice the 8 inner gates in the first place. He uses the lightning style chakra mode for his body training, which allows the lightning attribute chakra to activate the cells and strengthen them on their own. This is not. Based on his understanding of Lanye, he succeeded as expected. Seeing Uchiha Ali's proud look, Lanye smiled and didn't do anything like knocking. This young disciple is older than him, because he has always been a marginalized person in Uchiha, and he knows how to assess the situation very well. He is the most intelligent person among all his disciples. No one should suffer losses. Looking at the reserved Ziluo again, Lanye thought for a moment and decided on his arrangement. From now on, you will practice in the Phoenix Force as normal. When I comes to Konoha City for meetings every week, you will take a vacation to ask him to practice the Hell Thrust training. I will give you half a year. Is that enough? Ah, really? Can I really learn it? Ziluo said in shock. Why not? But I'm from Sunagaku, snapped. Uchiha Ali was so angry that he slapped Ziluo and staggered. Then he cursed angrily. The province of Wind is now my teacher's territory, aren't you my teacher's subjects? Moreover, my teacher is the emperor of a country, and I am here to lie to you when I have time. Do you want to be lazy? Hurry up and agree to practice. Ziluo was a little confused by this slap. After he and Lanye promised that it would not affect the training, he left like a puppet on a string. But, Lanye stopped him and said, Ziluo, since Uchiha Ali believes that you are a genius, you don't have to follow the 8 inner gates to practice. After all, the 8 inner gates are just techniques invented by geniuses. If you have the opportunity, you can think of your own technique. Facing Lanye's instructions, Ziluo was even more confused. What is this? He only reached the 3rd gate after 8 inner gates, but Lanye told him that he could create a physical technique of his own. Ah, this. Are expectations too high? Snapped. Uchiha Ali slapped her again, which made Ziluo quickly respond. She covered her head and continued training with some aggrieveness. I'm a little stupid. Haha, don't mind, teacher. Uchiha said with an apologetic smile. It can be seen that he still cares about Ziluo. No matter what the purpose is, at least for Ziluo, this is a valuable opportunity for class jump. In the future, when Ziluo becomes stronger, he must recite Uchiha Ori for this good. Is this a plan for your future? Lanye said with a faint smile but not a smile. Ali, here, teacher, I haven't taught you for a long time. It's better to choose a day than to hit the sun. Today is the day. Uchiha Oli's smiling face immediately froze. The last time Lanye taught the 3 disciples on a whim, the results are still vivid in his mind. Ah, this. Can he refuse? Have a meal and continue in the afternoon. 63. Samhi's initiative. Euler. 4 more. What can Uchiha do? Reject. He still wants to live a few more years. I had to ask cautiously. Teacher, I don't know, what lesson are you going to teach me this time? Correct some of your wrong habits. Lanye said seriously. When you use Mangekyo time stop and fight against others, some bad habits may harm you in the future. Huh, that's great. Uchiha Ali breathed a sigh of relief, then noticed something was wrong and hurriedly explained. It's not teacher. I mean, that's great. I've also noticed something is wrong there recently, but I just can't tell. Come on, luckily I have a teacher today. You are so sharp that you can see that the teacher is indeed a 6 paths level ninja god. After a little flattery, Lanye is too lazy to care about Uchiha's gaffe. In contrast, he is more interested in transforming Uchiha. So, when talking about the ability to stop time, who do you think of first? That's right, Jotaro Kujo in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It's iconic. It's the smash Boruto chant when turning on, time pause, and the hot-blooded mantra of Ola 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 when beating the opponent. Lanye is going to transform Uchiha Ali into this. Just like the Bruce Lee suit of the Phoenix Force, there is also a Jotaro Kujo suit. As for the so-called wrong habits, of course that's just an excuse. What's the motive for doing this? It's just that he is too idle and wants to satisfy his bad taste. Uchiha didn't know what he was about to face, and he was still waiting expectantly for Lanye to point out his mistake. In no mood, but Lanye just raised his fist to signal him. After Uchiha realized that he wanted to fist bump to share memories, he hurriedly raised his fist to touch it. Next moment, Uchiha saw a figure with a weird painting style, and shouted, "Smash Naruto!" That moment, a punch similar to his Mangekyo time stop opens the space-time field, suspending time within the range. Then, a tall figure swept out from behind the figure and rushed in front of the enemy enveloped in the space-time realm. He swung his fists as big as clay pots with the force of Hot Wheels, and at the same time voiced himself passionately. "Yula ola 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 ola. Uchiha Ori gives. Why does this thing look like a fool? Teacher, he is already 24 years old. You are already past the age of 2nd grade. J.A. Facing Lanye's loving gaze, does Uchiha dare to say, no? No, he didn't dare. So, Uchiha could only stabilize his mind, think about the details of this memory, and then performed his first imitation. Thousands of flowers hit Naruto. The rotation of the Mangekyo windmill activates the Mangekyo time stop in the right eye, spreading the space-time domain to cover the surrounding area. To Lanye's surprise, the space-time domain given by Uchiha Ali actually expanded a lot, including him who was 6 meters away. Of course, he has the body of a demon and is immune to time. He doesn't even have to bear the blocking feeling of moving in the space-time field, and he nods in agreement with ease. Not bad, good looking. Uchiha has known for a long time that his teacher is immune to his time and space domain, so he is not surprised. Follow. The lightning-style chakra mode is turned on, and while the lightning is flying, he uses shaving to rush towards Lanye, punching at Lanye at the maximum speed, not forgetting to match the breathing that makes him a little ashamed. Yula ola 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 ola. Lanye easily blocked Uchiha's fists with one hand and nodded with satisfaction. I quickly understood the essence. When shouting, Euler, hit, means to punch, pull, means to withdraw the punch, and the words should be pronounced clearly without any ambiguity, and you should not bite your tongue. Very classy. Seeing Lanye's satisfied attitude, Uchiha was also secretly happy. At any rate, I lost face but gained the teacher's satisfaction. Otherwise, if the teacher is still dissatisfied, then doesn't he really make no money at all? This is not. After stopping the space-time realm, Lanye not only replenished his pupil power, but also directly cancelled the remaining 3 months of his punishment. From now on, you can train with Z Luo. When I comes to report to Konoha City, you can take him with you to ask for advice. Lanye said, okay teacher. Thank you teacher, Uchiha said in surprise. Even though he seems to want to stay in the Phoenix Force, you must know that the Phoenix Force is a secret force, and ordinary people need approval from the Secretariat. Even Itachi, who was a Hokage, couldn't come rashly if nothing happened. This is a privilege given to Uchiha and he can pass freely. And, Lanye just asked Uchiha to train with Z Luo, but did not say that they must train in the same event. He can definitely practice the lightning-style chakra mode, and by the way, he can also teach the chakra nature transformation of the purple thunder attribute to increase Z Luo's favorability. In this way, if Z Luo really learns Hell Thrust, in the future, Uchiha, who is the excavation plus recommendation plus guidance plus partner, will definitely be one of the people Z Luo respects the most. What's this? This is the foundation of his future. What confident child has never peeked at the Hokage? Not to mention, today's Hokage is already the shadow of all ninja villages, and its power and status are much greater than before. Uchiha doesn't think he belongs to Itachi. He just didn't have enough resources since he was a child, so he came to prominence later. Watching Lanye fly away, Uchiha Ori secretly said, I am a late bloomer, I will definitely become the 6th Hokage. I will. After Lanye left the Phoenix Force, he went straight to find Sammy. Recently, I have been exploited so much by Yi Kang and other women that I have no time to play with Sammy. As for Shizune, Tsunade also goes home earlier these days, and of course the extra work falls on Shizune's shoulders. Lanye was thinking, how about bringing in Yakushi Kabuto from Orochimaru and occasionally replacing Shizune? Otherwise, he wouldn't even have a chance to make a move. Anyway, Yakushi Kabuto is not very good at the aviation center that Orochimaru is currently working on, so his medical talent is a bit wasted there. It's better to use Shizune to replace Shizune. Hey, Lanye, are you listening to me? Sammy said dissatisfied. Ah, what? Lanye came back to his senses and smiled. Sorry, I was just thinking about the aviation center. What did you say? HMPH. Sammy clasped his hands and said, I said, when can you take me to go with Wooden Golem? Wooden Golem told me a lot about Sister Tsunade and the others, and we can play mahjong in the evening. Really? It sounds very interesting. I want to play too. Play mahjong. By Wooden Golem are you free to play mahjong these days? This compares him to mahjong. As for Sam wanting to reunite with Wooden Golem, Lanye glanced at the big bear being held up because of the hug, and couldn't help but smile evilly. Sammy, aren't you the best at shoulders? A little bit. Sammy pouted and said, really, why do girls good students have to go to so much trouble? And I am especially in trouble. Then let me press it again for you. Okay, let's find another place. Where are you going? I haven't taken you to the top of my statue yet. Let's go and see the night view of Konoha Castle together. Okay, after a few minutes. Oh, aren't you squeezing your shoulders? Tsukuyomi Reincarnation, Rabbit Charm, Armament Hockey, Horse Charm, Tiger Charm, 8 Inner Gates Formation, second gate open. Today's 4th update, plans have changed. The author is from a small county town. I originally planned to take the train to XM in the morning and then board the plane, but there happened to be no train at 7 AM on the 28th. I'm crying, there are both numbers 27 and 29. No way, we can only stay near XM airport tomorrow, and then board the plane early the next morning. Now it's time to pack your bags and gifts. Finally, vote for free, automatically subscribe and click some duck. I wish all you old friends a happy and super double duck. 64. Sammy joins the harem, request to play mahjong together. 1 update, the next day, Lanye took Sammy directly back to the Imperial Palace and appeared at the breakfast table the next day. This woman of Versailles, I finally know what every mountain is as high as another mountain means. Looking at the size of Tsunade and Yi Kang, Sammy secretly compared them, and suddenly understood why Lanye fell in love with her. Boom, do all men like bigger ones? It turns out that what I thought was a burden in the past turned out to be an advantage in being chosen by Lanye. Fortunately, my sister persuaded me to have the abortion but didn't agree, otherwise. What a risk, what a risk. Cut off. Lanye felt that it was necessary to ask afterward which best friend had such a damaging idea. She must look good, but there are other things to do now. Ahem, Lanye said. Everyone knows Sammy, and she will be a member of our family in the future. Tsunade, you can take the 677 family out for fun later and cultivate relationships. But my research is at a critical juncture, and Shizune can't handle it alone. Tsunade frowned at first, and then looked at Samui. I'm sorry, Sister Samui, I welcome you, but this research institute is too busy. I understand Tsunade-sama, Sammy said quickly. Your busyness is obvious to all. High-quality seeds can feed countless people in the ninja world. You are busy with your business, don't worry about mine. It can be said that it is easy to talk. But Lanye still said, okay, don't I know you? Every day is a critical moment. I will go find Orochimaru to help you cover the day later. If you don't have anything important to do today, just go out and play together. Just play and relax, that's it. Tsunade hesitated for a moment. Okay, let Orochimaru take a look at my progress, maybe there will be new gains. It just so happens that I haven't had much to do lately. Ever since Lanye didn't need my guard, she's been getting moldy at home. Hongdu stuck out her tongue. I need to go to the orphanage to explain, and then come back. Conan said, just in time, please inform Yakushi Kabuto to find me at Orochimaru's place outside the city. Lanye said, okay, 21, but I can't do it. If I don't go now, Nara Shikaku and the others will be so busy. Yuhi Hong couldn't bear it. Mabuyi nodded in agreement and looked at Sammy apologetically. But Lanye doesn't care, he said casually. Let Nara Lugiu expand the secretarial department. As a woman like me, you must know how to enjoy life. Of course, if you really want to do this, I won't stop you. Yuhi Hong was silent for a moment. He nodded and said, I understand, I will stay to welcome Sister Sammy. Obviously, Yuhi Hong herself has no hobbies in dealing with official matters. They are all Mabuyi. She hesitates to speak, but she still likes to deal with the affairs of a country. As a former companion of Mabuyi, Sammy certainly knew some of Mabuyi's character. He immediately said, Mabuyi, you don't have to worry too much, just go and get busy if you have something to do. We have enough time to play mahjong. Playing mahjong. Mabuyi looked at Sammy and then Lanye strangely. Is this what you taught her? Lanye shrugged and looked at Wooden Golem, who had always been cold and silent. By Wooden Golem. By Wooden Golem. She keeps asking me what I do in the harem BJDD, but what I do most recently is playing mahjong. Everyone knows. Hongdu even put her arm around Sammy's shoulders and leaned against the soft cushion she brought with her, winking. Don't worry, I will definitely take you to play mahjong tonight. Really? That's great. Sam smiled like the little white rabbit. Oh no, the big white rabbit. Lanye felt a little ready to move, but he still restrained his impulse and left with Mabuyi and Conan after dinner, leaving the space to the girls. Judging from the way Sam is praying, I hope she can accept it calmly after knowing that playing mahjong is actually playing mahjong. But, based on Lanye's understanding of Tsunade and the others, I'm afraid he will actually play mahjong with Sammy until night. Hey, one way or another, she doesn't lose anything anyway. After Lanye leaves, just as Lanye expected, Tsunade and others looked at Sammy, who was full of expectation with half-smiling smiles, while Wooden Golem also looked away calmly. After a few days of getting along, she was also led astray by these little sisters and knew how to trick people. Sammy still had no idea at this time. They excitedly dragged Tsunade, Yi Kang, Yu Wooden Golem, and Yuhi Hong to play a dozen mahjong to satisfy their cravings. Mahjong was invented by Lanye, and later became a high-end card game among the people. Gained the love of countless people. Ever since Sammy came to Konoha City to play, he has never forgotten it. It's good now. From now on, I can play mahjong with my sisters every day. Tsunade and the others looked at each other and smiled, saying nothing. I just don't know why. Tsunade always felt that the other women's smiles had other flavors to them. Illusion. Shortly after, Tsunade finally woke up and what was that laughing about? What a fool. Happy 4th. Wow, Sister Tsunade, did you intentionally light the gun on wooden golem? Unexpectedly, I thought she just listened to Santiao. Big 3 yuan, I'm crazy too, ha ha ha, give me money, give me money. Tsunade sister, this time. Unexpected, it won't happen next time. Ha 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 ha, thank you Tsunade for your 30,000. I finally got mad. 13, I caught 64 times alone, give me money, give me money. Tsunade sister, accident, come again, that's the smile of a fat sheep. Yesterday's was given a 404, so it will probably take a while before it is released. 65, falling out with Orochimaru, perfect the immortal curse seal. 2 updates, Orochimaru's Space Center, after more than 3 months of construction, already looks impressive. But in fact, this space center is just a fashionable product. Not to mention rockets and manned spacecraft, it is just high-end artillery shells. Boom, a roar interrupted Lanye's speculation. He flew close to the source of the explosion and unexpectedly saw Orochimaru carrying a rocket launcher. 50 meters away, there was an exploded black mass. A piece of the target was missing and shattered into pieces on the ground. Is this a rocket launcher? Lanye asked in surprise. Well, Scorpion's previous research progress was a bit slow, so I took over. Orochimaru said calmly. After several improvements, it has the power of the sea-level fire-style Great Fireball technique, but the size is too bulky. You can consider giving it to the entire army as equipped, but ninjas still need to be considered. Awesome, this is all researched by you. Lanye gave a thumbs up. In fact, you can consider combining it with sealing techniques and directly seal some ninjutsu on the kunai ninja tool. Just activate it with chakra. Being able to use it is like a sealing ring. I've been researching it, but I didn't have enough energy, so it's been on hold for a while. Orochimaru shook his head. His main focus is still on aerospace and aviation. So improve the rocket launcher. It was also to give his subordinates time to learn. After all, he alone could not build an aerospace rocket, let alone a manned spacecraft. And the problem faced by Scorpion is the same. As a representative of high precision, aerospace requires a high degree of support from the industry. In addition, Orochimaru is not a clever puppet master, so his reliance on equipment is even stronger. This is also the fundamental reason for his slow progress. Why didn't you tell me before? Lanye frowned and said, the subordinates you don't know how to recruit are all Jonin Chunin, right? Do you want Cage level to come? Orochimaru raised his eyebrows, very interested. Did you fall into some misunderstanding? Lanye said helplessly. It's just scientific research, why do you have to be a ninja? There are also smart geniuses among ordinary people, they just don't have the talent to become ninjas, but if they just study science and do research, why not? After Orochimaru heard this, he lowered his head and thought for a moment. Kai nodded and said, I didn't expect that after receiving so much knowledge, I was blinded. Is this why you ordered that all children of school age must go to school? The basic knowledge we have compiled is also for let's prepare for upgrading and studying later. Bingo, that's the right answer. Lanye looked towards the sky. Sky's path. If you want to fly to the stars beyond the sky, you can't do it alone. You must combine the collective wisdom of a few geniuses. Only in this way can it be realized faster and more efficiently. Quote, Orochimaru nodded in agreement, thinking about how to expand his scientific research team. Once the ninja restrictions were lifted, many positions that were originally lacking in talent became replaceable positions. After a few minutes, Orochimaru was stunned for a moment when he saw that Lanye was still there. I thought you should have left a long time ago. Aren't you going to go on a date with that little sister today? Orochi asked curiously. Lanye stopped talking and glared at Orochimaru sideways. How am I so good to you that you dare to talk to me like this? In no mood, Orochimaru was not afraid of this 6 paths level strongman at all, and just looked back calmly. It is in this atmosphere. Yakushi Kabuto, who received the notification from Conan, rushed over and stumbled into this strange aura. He was frozen at the door for a while. What happened? Did he come at the wrong time? Why does Orochimaru-sama look so at odds with his majesty? But if I retreat now, will it attract the attention of the 2 adults? What should I do? Wait online. Urgent. Just when Yakushi Kabuto was at a loss, Lanye yawned and turned to look at him. Why so slow? I'm guilty. I just took Kimimaro and the others to do some shopping. I was late when I got home. I came immediately after receiving the notice. Forget it's a small matter. Lanye waved his hand. From now on, you can go to Tsunade's laboratory to help. This place is all industrial, and it would be a waste for Orochimaru to keep you. It's your majesty, said Yakushi Kabuto, who was half kneeling on the ground, glanced at Orochimaru carefully, wondering what he was thinking. In no mood, but Orochimaru frowned and said, you can do whatever Lanye arranges for you to do. You are not my disciple or anything. Do you want to see what I do? 0. Aren't you worried that something was wrong with you just now? His Majesty transferred me to warn you. Seeing Yakushi Kabuto's worries, Orochimaru had no intention of explaining. Something's wrong with the atmosphere. It was obvious that they were each thinking about their own things just now, they just happened to be looking at each other. Conflict. It doesn't exist. As long as Orochimaru's talent is still there, Lanye won't be able to fall out with him as long as he doesn't engage in some small tricks such as betrayal. Oh, by the way, Lanye looked at Orochimaru and said, today you have to go to Tsunade Laboratory to cover for a day. Use your perspective to help her see how her research is progressing and whether there are any flaws. That's okay. Recruiting people and training them will take a long time, Orochimaru said helplessly. Now, he finally experienced Lanye's hungry for talent. There was such a shortage of talent. He now has a lot of money, knowledge, vision, and everything else, but he only lacks the talents who can help him realize it. It's very annoying. Forget it, let me take advantage of this time to perfect the immortal curse seal. The soul fragments are only in the Hyuga clan, so there are still some hidden dangers. 66. The current development status of the ninja world. The remnants of the old country are poisoned. 3 updates. Time flies, time flies. Specifically, Lanye unified the ninja world and it took you the second half of the year. With the efforts of Lan, Nara, Yi, Shikaku, there are no longer large-scale wars involving more than 1,000 people in the ninja world, and group fights involving more than 100 people are considered major events. As the leaders of the security department, the Uchiha clan, he also dispersed most of the lower-level disciples in the clan to various capitals and towns in the ninja world to establish security departments to maintain and implement Lanye's will. Master Uchiha is one of them. He had been baptized by Lanye's Tsukuyomi era, and advanced from the first Magatama to the second Magatama, but he stopped for the first time, and at the age of 25, he was still an orphan with no father, no mother and no lover. 3s. For Uchiha of the Love clan, his potential has basically been exhausted at this point. According to the rules of the Uchiha clan in the past, people like him who have exhausted their potential have long been marginalized like Uchiha and sent to do tasks for the family. What? Staying in the family business? What did ordinary tribesmen do to you? Furthermore, the resources your family has invested in you have not been rewarded. You must perform tasks to repay the family. Then, probably he would spend his whole life doing nothing, and finally fall into a certain mission or another ninja battle. But Master Uchiha encountered the best era, the era led by Lanye. Now, the ninja world is unifying, and the ninja world is in desperate need of manpower. Master Uchiha, as a lead Shunin, is mediocre in Konoha City, but he is entrusted with the important task and is sent to the 10 small islands of Wave Country to establish a new order. Previously, there is a businessman named Kato here. On the surface, he is the president of a shipping company. In fact, he secretly uses gangs and ninjas to smuggle drugs and contraband. He also wants to invade other companies and countries. He is a villain who does all kinds of evil. His first task was to arrest him and then escort him back to Konoha City for trial by the FA Academy. This allowed him to gain the love of all the civilians in the Kingdom of Waves, and also collected a large amount of wealth, which were all Kato's illegal gains over the years. This wealth, Master Uchiha gave half of it back to the common people of Wave Country, allowing them to use it to improve their lives. The remaining half was used to build the security department and assist in setting up branches of the local government departments, while also building bridges, laying train tracks, pulling electrical wires and telephone lines, etc. This all requires placing an order at the mission department in Konoha City and asking professionals to come and assist. The situation in the country of Waves is getting better day by day. At first, there were words of admiration for Master Uchiha, but they were immediately stopped by Master Uchiha. My rights are granted by His Majesty the Emperor of the United Kingdom of Fire. You can recognize my achievements, but the most respectful person can only be His Majesty. This is what a little man marginalized by his family said to the people with righteous words. And things like this are happening in every corner of the ninja world. Eliminate evil, build infrastructure, and move towards prosperity. Everything is developing in an orderly manner, and one day after enough rest and recuperation, one can soar into the sky and head out beyond the stars. But it takes time to wait. This day, Master Uchiha went to the market to buy some goods, and happened to catch up with the discount, and the rice was only 19.8 taels per caddy. The high-yielding rice recommended by His Majesty. Fragrant, large and high-yielding rice. Today's special offer is 50% off. Kakuzu-sama's subsidy from the National Treasury is 50% off. 50% off for everyone. The high-yielding rice recommended by His Majesty. Listening to the words coming from the loudspeaker, Master Uchiha frowned slightly. Does the National Treasury belong to Kakuzu? He immediately went to the person in charge with dissatisfaction, removed transformation technique and revealed his true colors, and was immediately warmly received by the latter. Oops, Master, you are here. Do you want to buy rice? I will give you a 10% discount. 50% off. Kakuzu-sama will pay, and I will pay 40% off. Wait a minute, what is Kakuzu-sama doing? Master Uchiha said displeased. The National Treasury is His Majesty's treasury, and it is His Majesty's will to subsidize food for the common people. How come you are a thief with Kakuzu's money? The treasury belongs to Kakuzu. Ah, my fault, the store owner said with sweat on his forehead. Damn it. I only saw that the announcement was signed by Mr. Kakuzu from the National Treasury, and I still thought about how the stingy Mr. Kakuzu could subsidize it like this. Quote, stingy. What stinginess? Master Uchiha shouted again. Kakuzu-sama is only stingy in places that should not be wasted. Which one did he deduct from Orochimaru-sama's research institute, the laying of train tracks in the ninja world, and the nationalization of the power grid? Quote, yes, I am too one-sided. The store owner said tremblingly. Today all the rice is 100% off. I will make this trip in vain to teach you a lesson, master, don't be angry. Don't be angry. Well, this attitude is pretty much the same. Master Uchiha put away his protective posture and said kindly, it's not necessary to sell at a loss of 10% off, let's sell it at 40% off. This price can probably earn you a car and horse fee. Quote, yes, thank you for your understanding. Master Uchiha was satisfied and used the transformation technique again and left. It's not that he's showing off his 5.4 transformation skills, but that his status in the country of waves is quite exaggerated, second only to Your Majesty. If this happened in person, it would probably be a fan meeting. Entering the market, Master Uchiha saw a ragged old man standing in front of a certain stall for a long time. He carefully touched the goods and then left. Uchiha-sama's instinctive vigilance. When something goes wrong, there must be a monster. Although everyone is happy about the unification of the ninja world, there are still some remnants of the old country who are unwilling to do so and are wreaking havoc everywhere like stinking rats in the underground sewers. The new Hokage Itachi is vigorously rectifying these remnants. As the Hokage of his own family, Master Uchiha is of course very concerned about it. This old man, could it be that you are voting for D? 67, not used to good times. A prosperous age as you wish. 4 more, could this old man be voting for D? Master Uchiha followed calmly. I saw the old man came to the place selling vegetables again, touched the vegetables and left. Master Uchiha immediately stepped forward to check, but he didn't notice anything wrong. Is it a very advanced poison? To be careful, Master Uchiha bought all these vegetables with his own money and then quickly followed the man. I saw the old man coming to the fruit area again, and saw him wandering there, but this time he didn't touch it again. Have I been discovered? Master Uchiha was secretly alert. At last, the old man returned to the rice stall and picked up the 2.5 kilograms of rice, but his eyes were wandering around the vegetable and fruit stall where he had stayed before. I saw him searching his pocket. Just when Master Uchiha couldn't restrain himself anymore and pressed the sealing ring to explode. The old man took his hand out of his pocket and firmly held a piece of paper and pen with 10 tails and 2 5 tails, mixed with some toilet paper. Master Uchiha 19 paused. Not a weapon. Then, the old man's eyes wandered again to the vegetable stall and the fruit stall. Master Uchiha guessed, is this old man planning how to spend the 20 taels? As expected, the old man finally sighed and forced himself not to look at the vegetables and fruits, but used the 20 taels to buy 2 yuan and 50 fen of yinkai. It turns out that he is just simply poor. Master Uchiha shook his head with a smile, but he had been a ninja for too long, and he suddenly had a peaceful life, and he was a little too vigilant. Immediately, he stepped forward directly and handed the extra vegetables he had just bought to the old man, and then asked the fruit stall to bring him the fruit that the old man had been looking at just now. Hey, you can't do it, you can't do it. Your Majesty said you won't be rewarded for your merits, so you can take these back. The old man declined in a panic. No, of course you have to help me with some help. Master Uchiha left the transformation technique and said sincerely, I obviously gave away a lot of wealth before, why are you still so entangled in the cost of 20 taels? Logically speaking, you are not should you get at least 20,000 taels. Is there someone who dares to rob your property? Speaking of the back, there was a sharp look in Master Uchiha's eyes. Is there anyone who dares to cause trouble? ... It's the master. The old man's turbid eyes lit up. Master, don't get me wrong, no one has done anything to the old man, it's just. I'm afraid of being poor for the rest of my life, and I'm afraid that if I spend too much, I won't get it in the future if something happens again, at least I have some savings to get through it. That's the reason. 2. This is a common problem among many people, just as they mistakenly think that the elderly are remnants of the old country. This is a sequelae of the wars in the past. He had no solution. Sighed. If you didn't try to persuade the old man more, it would be useless to persuade him. He couldn't change his state in a short time. We can only report it and let the higher-ups make the decision. I was about to step up my efficiency to complete the purchase and then go back to write the report. Master Uchiha suddenly realized something was wrong. I didn't know when the surrounding area was full of enthusiastic people, and they were still carrying vegetables, fruits, eggs, flour and other items. Oops, he forgot that he had dispelled the transformation technique, and it would be troublesome to escape now. Don't come here. Our discipline does not allow us to collect civilian items. Master Uchiha tried to explain. But can the enthusiastic public listen? They swarmed up and left the goods on hand, and their skillful movements showed that this was not the first time they had done this. Oh, Master, you are so polite. Sir, if you don't tell me, how can anyone know? We are just grateful to the Master for bringing us a good life. Killing Kato is the greatest gift. Nonsense. And I forgot that words like gift are reserved for His Majesty only. Oops, I forgot again. Be smart with your hands and feet, and don't remember your face for the Master anymore. That's right, if you are remembered, you will have to give me money, so you have to cover your face. Master Uchiha, as soon as he opened Sharingan and wanted to use copy to record faces, he saw a group of civilians putting their coats over their heads, leaving the goods and running away. In less than half a minute, except for the pile of items that was half as tall as him, there was no one around. Master Uchiha reluctantly took out his PHS phone and prepared to call the bureau and send some people to move back to the cafeteria together. Otherwise he wouldn't be able to eat one. But, he would not just take it for nothing, but raised his voice to the surrounding people. This money will come from the finances of the security department. When the primary school is built, it will be donated to the primary school for learning and construction. As soon as this statement came out, the civilians who were still hiding far away appeared from nowhere. Oh, master, you are too polite. It really doesn't have to be like this. Sir, please rest assured that no one will report you. That's it. Who dares to report it? I, the tiger, will be the first one to refuse. Go, tiger, why are you so crazy? Your Majesty wants us to coexist peacefully and develop harmoniously. That's right, it's illegal to hit someone now. Oh, since the master refuses to accept it, how about we send it directly to the security department next time? What a great idea. The security department has more that can be used. According to the master's character, I will definitely donate it after discounting the price. Everyone should try their best to give away some homegrown and made handicrafts. This way, the price is not high, which also shows that. Yes, my big watermelon is ripe too. Guy 263 went to my house to move the watermelon to quench the thirst of the comrades in the security department. Count me in and let's go. One piece. Go. Listening to the conversations of the surrounding people, Master Uchiha did not stop him, but smiled happily. Once upon a time, he was just a security guard in Konoha Village who everyone yelled at, and they were reluctant to entertain him even when they went out to have a meal. Have you ever been so supported? Your Majesty, is this the prosperous age after your unification? The same god of the ninja world, Senju Hashirama, hehe. As for Uchiha Madara, hey, I wonder what this old man would think if he knew the current situation. If Senju Hashirama had been replaced by His Majesty, he would probably. He won't betray Konoha, right? I quickly coded 4 chapters. Now I have to catch the train. I will wait until I get to the hotel in the evening to code. It will be difficult to have time tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. I wish the author a successful confession and I will update it when I come back. If it fails, 15. You won't fail. Come on, vote for free, automatically subscribe and click some duck. I wish all you old friends a happy and super double duck. 68. I may be gone, a lot of the author says be careful before entering. Finally, Shizune has some free time, and Lanye is taking her from the most basic, drinking milk tea. This ninja world is full of talented people. He just said it casually, but he didn't expect that someone would actually tinker with it. Don't say, it tastes pretty good. Lanye smiled and looked at Shizune, who thought he might be disliked by Lanye because he just bought a cup, and then handed over the milk tea she had just drank, and the straw she had just bitten was in front of her mouth. Ah, give me a drink, Shizune asked in surprise. Why, do you dislike the straw I drank from? Lanye raised an eyebrow. No, Shizune quickly opened her mouth and bit into habit, but Lanye retreated and refused to let her drink. Shizune immediately became anxious, stretched her neck and continued to bite towards the straw. Lanye's hand didn't buy another car. Shizune bit the straw as he wished, but forgot to suck the milk tea. Because, Lanye's lips happened to fall on her forehead. And, except for his hands, Lanye didn't move at all during the whole process. In other words, from a third-person perspective, it was Shizune who stretched his neck to kiss Lanye. Brush. Shizune's face turned red, steam was rising from his head like a boiling kettle, and he couldn't recover for a long time. Lanye saw this. He was about to do something further, but someone appeared and ruined the atmosphere. Brush. Namikaze Minato appears using the Flying Thunder God technique. This is of course not because Lanye has the Flying Thunder God technique, he has no guts to do it, but Lanye's sealing ring has the Flying Thunder God technique. But no matter what, the appearance of Namikaze Minato awakened Shizune from her embarrassment. Her current interaction with Lanye was full of ambiguity. Then, Shizune is like a starting locomotive, spraying steam and flying into the distance, and the speed is actually a little bit shaved. As Tsunade's top disciple, Shizune still has a foundation in taijutsu. Lanye watched Shizune escape with some regret and did not pursue him. First, Shizune is afraid that her mentality will explode now, and it is not appropriate to continue teasing her. The second is that the appearance of Namikaze Minato also indicates that Nara Shikaku is afraid that something will happen that even he cannot solve, and Lanye must be alerted to ask him for instructions. There was no movement for several days. If you suddenly come to him, I'm afraid it's a big problem. My subordinate is guilty, he hurriedly confessed. It's just that Secretary General Nara urged me too hard, and my subordinates sensed that you were not in the Imperial City, so. Forget it, it's no big deal, it'll happen sooner or later. Lanye waved his hand and said, let's go and see what's troubling Lu Ju. Thank you for your kindness, Your Majesty. After giving thanks, Kong used the Flying Thunder God technique and flew away with Lanye. This kind of method of transporting people or objects through the air is very expensive and very easy for the opponent to break away. It has almost no use in ordinary times, but it will not appear offensive in Lanye's case. Brush. Lanye and Namikaze Minato came to the Imperial Study Room. Nagato, Mabui, Nara Shikaku and other Imperial secretaries were all changing and discussing something. When they saw Lanye coming, everyone had different reactions. Nagato just bowed slightly to show respect, which was a privilege granted to him by Lanye. Mabui also breathed a sigh of relief and looked at Lanye with a smile, as if as soon as he appeared, all the problems would be solved. On the contrary, Nara Shikaku, who had always been diligent, was still half kneeling and bowing his head rigidly, saying, "See your majesty." "Get up," Lanye said. Nara Shikaku stood up now. As for the other secretaries and assistants that Nara Shikaku poached from various ninja villages in various countries, they all consciously and respectfully stepped aside and looked down at the ground, acting as backdrops. "What's the matter? There's something you, Lugiu, can't do," Lanye teased. "In this regard," Lanye said as usual, "Your Majesty, there have been reports from various places recently. Although the ninja world is now unified and peaceful, the sequelae are still serious. Many civilians do not want to consume at all, and only want to hoard wealth to cope with. To meet unexpected needs, this poses a great obstacle to the development of business. You said that currency must be circulated to be currency, otherwise it will be waste paper. Isn't this just? I dare not live the good life after the war." The Dragon Kingdom in Lanye's world was also the same in the early days of the founding of the country. The common people could order their belts but did not dare to spend money. The main reason was that they were afraid that the good things in front of them were only lofts in the sky. Simply put, they were used to hard times, but now they suddenly became better, so they were a little afraid to live through them. After all, it is difficult to go from extravagance to frugality. Besides, there are also food shortage hoarding syndrome, insufficient firepower riot syndrome, and so on. These exist more or less in the current fire people and countries. As for how to deal with it, simple. From now on, all benefits to the people should be based on physical goods as much as possible. If there is a shortage of food, we will give food and materials. Don't simply give out money, Lanye said. But Your Majesty, such a huge distribution of materials will also be a huge test for our system. If we are not careful, Nara Shikaku said worriedly. "Oh, are you stupid? Why do you want to give them all away? It's a thankless task. This subordinate is ignorant. Please make it clear, Your Majesty." Nara said respectfully. "It's simple, exchange these materials into exchange coupons and the like. Food stamps can be exchanged for grains, vegetables can be exchanged for vegetable coupons, and so on, plus a redemption period, such as 3 years, so that they will know these benefits. If they don't use it, it will disappear and they won't be able to hoard it anymore. Isn't that okay?" Nara Shikaku and others' eyes lit up when they heard this. Yes, why didn't they think of such a simple thing? Your Majesty is worthy of being Your Majesty, you are nothing but cowhide. It's just a pity, Lanye is pretending, but there are no sensible people like Fugaku and Uchiha to lick him. As for the ones in front of you, Mabui's own woman, Nagato has always been very cold, it is impossible to do this. Nara Shikaku has this idea, but his licking skills are really hard to describe. This thing depends on talent, and Nara has no way to learn it even if he wants to. You can't ask Fugaku for advice, right? Yes, Nara Shikaku simply gave up this idea and just did his job honestly and became a person who can do practical things. Lanye is also very satisfied with having such capable subordinates, otherwise how could he have such a leisurely life? 7. Lanye explained some more details and some actionable ideas that he had thought of in the past few days. That is to say, he pinched Mabui's cheek and left again. But the time originally planned to be given to Shizune, due to Namikaze Minato's interference, it was impossible to continue today. So what to do? The girls at home are probably having a great time, and the atmosphere will probably be gone when he goes back. Well, when in doubt, ask the system. System, please give me something to do. The system was silent. Lanye didn't care, it was just a casual question. He opened the system panel and took a look. God-level selection system. Host. Shihun Lanye. Age. 18 years old. Rewards. 12 talisman complete. Time rewind. Conqueror's Haki. Voiceover. Yu Lao Red Rope. Rejuvenation Pill. Observation Haki. Eye of the Sage, Rear, Admiral Physique, Frozen Fruit, the right arm of the Sealed One Demon. 8 Inner Gates Formation, Mangekyo Tsukuyomi, Wolverine Bloodline Bonus Edition, Mangekyo Soul Retention, Lion, Roar, Rasengan, Conqueror's Haki Suppression, Marine 6 Styles Training Encyclopedia, Reincarnation Desperate Situation, Wind Attribute Chakra Nature Transformation, Thunder Attribute Chakra Nature Transformation, Yin Escape Power 15%, Mastery, Sage Mode 99% Mastery, the left arm of the Sealed Person, the Demon God. The left foot of the Sealed Person, the Demon God. The Sealed Exodia Demon God, the Demon God Armor, 7 stars. 7 Dragon Ball, Space Travel Technology, 1 star 7 Dragon Ball, 2 star 7 Dragon Ball, 1 star Namek Dragon Ball. Tisk tisk, almost all 7 Dragon Balls have been collected. By the time, you should have almost collected the Namek Dragon Balls. You can first make a wish to learn the Namek language and let the 7 Dragon Balls enter the cooling period, then you can seamlessly join the Namek Dragon Balls. Speaking of the system, will these 7 Dragon Balls still turn into stones after they disperse? Then Sun Wukong can catch them by force. Can I stop the time and collect them all? Ding. There are certain risks in this operation, please confirm before operating. A certain risk? What risk? This time the system did not give an answer. Lanye pondered, could it be that the power of time has no effect on the 7 Dragon Balls? In 7 Dragon Ball, isn't there any time ability used against the 7 Dragon Ball? But that's right, if the power of time is useful to the 7 Dragon Balls, then if they are brought into the House of Time and Spirit, where one day is equivalent to 1 year in the outside world, wouldn't they be able to make 1 wish per day? Then this is too bug. Since time acceleration is ineffective, why is there danger? Lanye was puzzled. Could it be, are there any hidden dangers inside? He couldn't help but be a little curious, and really wanted to give it a try. As for ruining the 7 Dragon Ball, it's okay, isn't there a Namek Dragon Ball? As the ancestor of Dragon Ball, I can restore it in minutes. Nothing to do, Lanye finally thought of his apprentices. But, little Hinata went back to see her family today. Itachi is now a Hokage and is still in charge of all ninjas in the ninja world, so there is no need to go to him. Lanye is worried about being dragged by Weasel to ask various questions. Things that can be exercised like this should be left to continued hard work. Uchiha Alige, today I am taking Zuluo to Eye to practice Hell Thrust. I think it won't be very effective in a short period of time. Let them figure it out on their own. Bar, seems to be rejected. Her sister was ready to help me. I learned that she was going to have dinner with her colleagues that evening and couldn't show up as a surprise, so I called her. Then, although she was also surprised, she said that I should have said it in advance. Then I still choose to go to have dinner with my colleagues later. She refused me 3 times in a row to go to her room to look for her. Even though it was in a joking tone, I still felt uncomfortable. Then I took the rose back to the room like a fool. Although I know, I disrupted her arrangement by not notifying her in advance. But the feedback she gave me was not very good. She then posted on WeChat Moments and had an hour to spare. I think this was probably a hint to me, after all, she rarely posted on WeChat Moments. But suddenly I don't want to go. This is the scariest, because the feedback I just called is so different from what I expected. I went to the hotel one day in advance to prepare. I felt that my efforts were not proportional to the feedback I received. My rationality tells me that if I want to create surprises, then there will inevitably be accidents. But my sensibility makes me unable to accept it. Her room is just below mine, I can go down and see her. But it's very hard for me to be rejected continuously just now. The more I thought about it, the more I felt aggrieved. I cried when I saw the lenses of my glasses were blurred. Should I go or not? When I start to get entangled, there is actually a problem. But I went anyway, I wanted to see it again. I didn't bring flowers or anything because she had a roommate and she probably didn't want to be known about it. After going down the fire escape, there was her room number. She hesitated before sending a WeChat message, just as they were going out. She was surprised that I was always at the door, said a few words, pinched me twice, and left. Fortunately I didn't bring flowers, otherwise she might be embarrassed. To be honest, she has no problem so far. Reason tells me that to conduct a surprise attack, one of the two must compromise when their plans conflict. But my sensibility makes me feel sad that I have not received effective feedback for my efforts and preparations these past few days. From preparing gifts, to booking air tickets, to staying at the hotel next to the airport one day in advance. The fear of airplanes arose in the middle, putting a lot of thought into choosing gifts. The noise in the airport hotel was so heavy that I tossed and turned all night and couldn't sleep. The inexplicable fear of looking at the clouds in the sky. All of these are supported by her. Wang Mo Jiao, this shouldn't be, I shouldn't live for someone. So, the love I give is my own business. Not getting effective feedback is also her choice. The core of my grievance is that she didn't abandon her colleagues and go to dinner with me decisively. No, the core of my grievance is that when I was full of expectations, she chose to say, "You shouldn't have come, I didn't tell you in advance, then you go back, I want to have dinner with my colleagues," etc. Although I know these are jokes, their attitude of not being able to give a positive signal makes me feel that it is not worth the effort. Walking down the road with a bouquet of roses, I felt so high-spirited when I went to buy them, but I felt so sad and wronged when I came back. Therefore, the core of the surface is that her enthusiastic feedback to me is far out of proportion to mine, so I feel wronged and uncomfortable. But this is just superficial. The real core is that my own love is too strong. I haven't even confirmed the relationship with her, but I treat myself as a boyfriend. It's just that with her current ambiguous status, it's okay for her to go to a dinner party in full compliance with her previous agreement with her colleagues. It's also okay for her to refuse to reciprocate my enthusiastic affirmation. Questionable. If she is a boyfriend, then she should be more considerate, but the core is still the issue of expression of love. She will be used to denying my efforts, and she will never express her heavenly love. And what I want is exactly affirmation and a sense of security. The source of my lack of sense of security comes from my lack of confidence in my own strength. Even though I know that I have great potential, after all, the current reality is that women are strong and men are weak. I thought maybe I really liked this girl, but she didn't. What will happen to this unequal relationship in the future? I'm not in the mood for dinner now. I'm waiting for her to come back from the dinner party and have a good chat. If there really is no chance, I'll fly home tomorrow and go into seclusion to code for a year before talking about it. 69. Show off in front of the heroes of the ninja world. Love or something. Is making money still important? Although the confession was not successful, the author is still strong. Peaceful days always pass quickly. During this time, Nara Shikaku implemented Lanye's idea very well and applied the rules of exchange tickets to the whole country. The effect is also remarkable. In the past, civilians who were unwilling to consume were all rushing to exchange for fear of suffering a loss, regardless of whether they could eat or use them all. It looks like, if you don't exchange it now, others will pay for it and lose the inventory. But the problem is it true that the inventory of a country's treasury can be destroyed by just taking it out? It's really okay. This is not. Kakuzu was under a lot of pressure and came to ask Lanye for advice on how to deal with it. Just right, Lanye simply summoned Nara Shikaku, Nagato, Orochimaru and others to prepare to teach them a good lesson. This way he can be more leisurely afterwards. Thinking of this, a flock of sheep is also driven, and a flock of sheep is also driven. Just talk to the patriarch of the big family, his disciples, the head of the ninja village. Wait, maybe someone with a high position can share Lanye's worries. Either it's a cage-level strong person who can influence the situation. They all gathered. Then, a small group of people who could influence the ninja world took a collective vacation in the royal study room, sitting in a row like primary school students, looking respectfully and expectantly at Lanye, the only one who was the leader. The women of Lanye occupy a large part. Terumi Mei is a ripe peach. Shihihong is Xiaoyu's apple. Tsunade is a bold and generous elder sister. Hongdu is also a straightforward woman who takes things for granted. As a tough female warrior, Yi Kang makes people want to conquer her. As an intellectual secretary, Mabui also exudes the temperament of a high-minded person. By wooden golem, this arrogant, aloof, long-legged. Samyi is the woman who knows Versailles best. Each one is full of characteristics. In addition, there is the growing little Hinata and the ambiguous Shizune, both of whom have become the meat of the pot by default. As for everyone else, skip. Look, this is what he, Lanye, has built. Lanye also put on airs and looked like he was a teacher. Today, I will teach you a good lesson. This first lesson is the nature of power. Power is the ability to make differences for others. The more important the difference is to others, the greater the difference created, the greater the power. People's actions are all to satisfy their own desires. To satisfy their own desires, they must use external resources, and some of the external resources are in the hands of others. There are two ways to obtain resources from others. One is to grab them directly without others' consent, and the other is to obtain resources with others' consent. But others will only do things to satisfy their desires, so you must use your own resources that can satisfy other people's desires in exchange for the resources in the hands of others. This is social exchange, which can also be called a contract or business. Kakuzu and Nara nodded thoughtfully. These words really got to the point. Lanye's words continued. The essence of a contract is also a restriction, or it reduces the possibility of people committing other breaches of contract. Social exchange, or contract, cooperation, and commerce, can be divided into two parts, negotiation and performance. In reality, in negotiations between two parties, one party is often more dependent on the other than the other party is on itself. Therefore, the former has to pay more than the latter, and is therefore weaker. This kind of strong versus weak your negotiating advantage is power. At this time, Mabui raised her hand to interrupt Lanye. What's wrong? What don't you understand? Lanye stopped talking with a smile. Nara Shikaku glanced enviously. He also had some questions, but he didn't dare to raise his hand to ask. Mabui is Lanye's woman, so she doesn't have to worry about it that much. Just listen to her say. Lanye, your theory is too new, can you elaborate more? Since you asked, of course it's okay. Lanye said fondly. If he doesn't pamper his own woman, who will? Let me give you an example, such as this worker and the boss. Generally speaking, the dependence of ordinary workers on the jobs provided by the boss is much greater than the dependence of the boss on ordinary workers. In this way, the boss can squeeze more workers. The problem with this theory is that there is no way to directly measure the strength of the two before the end of the negotiation. Therefore, we can only judge who is stronger and who is weaker by who gives in at the end of the negotiation. The world is made up of countless game fields, and each game field is called a field. In the field, everyone holds the chips in their hands, which I call capital, and uses them for games and exchanges, to satisfy your own desires. According to a person's acquisition, processing and transmission of information, his direct control of materials, and other people's opinions of him, for a person, I divide capital into three types of capital: information capital, material capital, and image capital. People hold this three types of capital play games in the field. Come here, it just shows the overall quality of everyone. People with high IQs such as Nara Shikaku and Orochimaru listened with great interest. Apparently he understood. Tsunade and Fugaku, who are unique in their respective fields, also have some understanding. For example, Uchiha Aoi is given to those who are determined to work hard. Although it sounds a bit difficult, I also know that these are valuable knowledge and work hard to keep up with the progress. But when it comes to Shie and Kakashi, who are not interested in studying these things, they just become invisible people silently. Most anxious, still have to belong to Shinosuke and others who finally had the opportunity to participate in high-level meetings but could not understand them at all. What is your majesty talking about? Why does it sound like human words, but when put together it becomes astronomical? Lanye didn't pay much attention to these people with poor understanding. Seeing that his woman didn't raise her hand to ask any more questions, he continued talking. By comparing capital, we can indirectly estimate the strength of both parties before the negotiation begins. The more capital there is, the easier it is to gain an advantage in the negotiation, and then obtain more capital, which is like a snowball. There are three problems here. First, how can the party who performs first believe that the party who performs later will perform? That is a question of trust. Second, does the later performing party accept the performance of the first performing party? Is it in place? Third, who will bear the fulfillment costs? Glancing at Mabuyi, who was already looking a little confused, Lanye knew that he needed to expand his lecture here. Simply put, two people stand together. Everyone wants to be the boss, so they use their own resources to try their best to make the other party surrender. After a domination relationship is formed, reasons are needed to cover it up so that this domination relationship can be diluted and eliminated on the surface to maintain its existence. Because it is exposed, it means that the possibility of its destruction increases. Divert the dominated party's attention and focus the dominated party's attention on the dominance relationship, then the more likely it is to resist. Here are a few formulas. Knowledge equals worldview plus value ranking. Worldview equals concept plus relationship between concepts. Because power is the power to change the behavior of others, all actions that change the behavior of others are essentially transactions. So changing other people's behavior equals transaction. For example, if a child at home is not well behaved, his mother can tell him to be good and buy him a toy. This is a toy in exchange for the child's obedience. His mother can also say that if you don't obey, I will beat you. This is to exchange the child's obedience by not using violence. I can give many more examples, but no matter which example, I can only draw one conclusion: changing other people's behavior is a transaction. Hearing this, Kakuzu nodded crazily. This is the truth he is pursuing. I didn't expect His Majesty to study it so thoroughly. Love it, love it. But the brains of Shinosuke and other, stupid students, are just not enough. Who am I? Where am I? What am I doing? Lanye's words continued, but just having a promise is not enough. The prerequisite for a transaction is to make the other party believe that you can fulfill your promise. This is trust. How to build trust. There are roughly the following types. 1. Object. Judge based on the integrity of the person making the promise or whether lying is harmful to him or her. Or a credible person has already believed it. Please give me flowers. 2. Factual judgment. Logical reasoning that has been similar in the past and cannot be refuted by contrary examples is too convincing to the other party to judge whether you are credible. 3. Value judgment. Making a decision whether to believe it or not based on whether I believe he will do more harm than good or whether he will do more harm than good if I believe he is wrong. If I believe he is wrong, I can bear the risk or get compensation. Or so most people believe. 4. Test. Let yourself or others test whether it is true. Testing is a means of differentiation. First of all, there must be classification, and then according to the differences of each category, methods should be designed to distinguish them. 5. Information channels. Verify through multiple information channels or let the other party pass the information multiple times to see if there are any contradictions. Quote, Lanye paused. Give everyone some time to digest, and at the same time, based on everyone's feedback, determine what has been heard and what has been lost. To his delight, Nara Shikaku, Mabuyi, Nagato, Itachi and other, right-hand assistants, all look like they are thinking. So today's goal can be considered half achieved. After, these good assistants whose minds have been broadened by him will know how to not disturb Lanye and handle more things by themselves. As for the other half of the purpose, of course it's just to show off. Look at these top people in the ninja world. They are either thinking, understanding, confused, or ashamed. Isn't this more fun than wandering on the street? Of course, the interaction with the girls is also a lot of fun, but after all, you can't interact all the time, so you still have to have other things to spice things up. After waiting for a while, Lanye is the one who continues to speak, showing off. During the negotiation process, both parties have an expected result, which we call the expected value. The expected value is the critical point of agreement or rejection. For example, Xiaozhong wants to buy a pound of apples. The price in his mind is 15 yuan. If it is more than 15 yuan, he will not buy it. If it is less than 15 yuan, he will buy it. 15 yuan is his expected value. And merchants also have an expectation value. If it exceeds 10 yuan, they will sell it, otherwise they will not sell it. 10 yuan is the merchant's expectation value. Between the merchant's expected value, 10 yuan, and Xiaozhong's expected value, 15 yuan, there is a range. As soon as the transaction enters this range, the transaction will be completed. This range is called the agreement range. After the negotiation is reached, one party starts the operation, and the other party waits for the other party to complete the operation to verify and cash out. Remuneration. 11. This transaction is completed. It is worth mentioning that there is definitely a cost for one party to operate. So who will bear this cost? 3 situations. The operator is responsible, the non-operator is responsible, and the third party is responsible. What we need to pay attention to is the situation where the non-operating party bears the operating costs. Because in this case, the operating party uses the non-operating party's money, so does he have any? Can you spend money randomly? Is it possible to line your own pockets and put the money quietly into your own wallet? Quote, on the other hand, the operation may be divided into multiple levels, so in the process of transferring information between levels, will there be information distortion? So in order to prevent the above phenomenon, the non-operator should find someone to supervise the operator. But does supervision cost nothing? Is it effective all the time? Furthermore, when supervising, what happens when the cost is greater than the cost of the operator's losses? So, you still have a lot to learn. From a microscopic perspective, power is obedience, which comes from the position of the obedient in the mind of the obeyed. In reality, these four are often mixed. Among them, those who harm the interests always try to move closer to the other three, because they will accumulate the cost of resentment and pay it together when it breaks out. It will also cause damage to the durability of the system. Why? The subjects can also be fictitious, such as gods. These fictional subjects are less likely to have weaknesses. The ambitious song only needs to be the agent of the fictional subjects. I have finally finished 4,000 words. I am walking around in Shanghai. I will update it when I get back. Normal updates will resume around 04.01. Vote for free, automatically subscribe and click some duck. I wish all of you, old friends, may you be blessed with a super double success. 70. Analyze the root causes of Hokage's failure. To form these four positions, the submissive needs to believe that the submissive has authorization, guidance, ability, control of resources or tools, systems, etc. Of course, it is not very important whether the submissive actually has these. There are four positions of the person being obeyed: the protector of interests, the bringer of interests, the harmer of interests, and the person being obeyed who conceptually believes that they should be obeyed. From a macro perspective, for the system as a whole, especially for the country, power is the connection of elements. The system has three key points: elements, element connections, and purpose. The purpose of the state is to produce wealth and control violence, and its elements include managers, users and producers of tools of violence, etc., and what connects them is power. Pay attention to isolating the connection between producers and violent tool holders, allowing them to only exchange information with managers. It will also cause confrontation between various groups. Come here. Lanye's lecture today, pretending to be cool, is basically coming to an end. Shinosuke and other students quietly breathed a sigh of relief. This ordeal will end at noon. Your Majesty, I have a question. Kakuzu raised his hand. Shinosuke and other bad students immediately targeted Kakuzu. What are you doing? Are you raising your own hands to torture us? Excessive. But obviously, no one cared what they thought, and Lanye nodded to Kakuzu to ask questions. I thought. Kakuzu was confused about the relationship between rights and transactions he just mentioned. In no mood, Kakuzu asked, Your Majesty, you have always supported Orochimaru's research. Does that mean that our future is space? Then should some resources on the ground be tilted towards Orochimaru's research? You know, the national treasury, zero, is not infinite. Lanye was a little surprised that Kakuzu took the initiative to talk about spending money. At the same time, he was also thinking that if he went to explore outside the Earth in the future, then the ninja world. Where will it go from here? It's impossible to take them all away. Lanye can only take away a small part at most. Because he may have to fight against Otsutsuki, he will probably take away all his high-end combat power. It is basically impossible for Cage level to stay. Jonin is the captain, and the White Zetsu army is cannon fodder. By the way, Lanye couldn't help but think of the bad ending of Hokage in his previous life. How did the combat power collapse in the later period? But in the final analysis, it is still the reason for the system. Kishimoto originally painted samurai themes, and his paintings such as Rurouni Kenshin, Dragon Ball, Slam Dunk, and Yu Yu Hakusho became the pillars of the company. With such a high mountain in front of him, Kishimoto was advised to change his painting to a ninja theme and transform into something else. After all, it is already difficult to surpass oneself, and the company will not give Kishimoto the opportunity to surpass himself. They want to make money even more. Kishimoto originally just wanted to draw a funny comic about ramen. That is the source of the news that Ichiraku Ramen is the final boss. However, at the company's editorial meeting, the editors were not optimistic about the original short story and felt that the story was not interesting. But ninjas are a good subject, and they don't want to let them go. At last, just send an experienced editor to Kishimoto. He is also the editor of Hunter. It is very cruel to serialize comics in Jew Company, or in Sakura Flower Country. It is so cruel. There are 20 comics serialized at the same time, and each issue has to be ranked. The less popular works are at the back of the magazine. If the performance of the first 10 chapters of a newly serialized comic is not good, it may be cut. In order to survive, but also to catch up with the popularity of One Piece, which was serialized a year earlier. The editor's advice to Kishimoto was to develop the story quickly. So, the first mission Naruto took on was when he met Momochi Zabuza. In a passionate comic with this length and world view, it is indeed super expanded. This also gave Hokage Ninja a good start and a firm foothold in the company. But at the same time, it also laid the groundwork for the unfinished future. Because, it's like singing. As soon as you start singing, your tune will rise very high, and you won't be able to sing anymore. It started out as a boss of the level of Momochi Zabuza, but in the end, is it possible to fight an immortal? The so-called combat power system collapsed. Naruto's goal is to become the Hokage. Compared to One Piece, the Shadow is equal to the Pirate King. In One Piece, Luffy's main targets are the Shichibukai and the Four Emperors. Shichibukai is one level below One Piece, and Four Emperors is on the same level as One Piece. Luffy defeated the Four Emperors and became the Pirate King, of course. The same is true in Hokage Ninja. Naruto defeated cage-level opponents, and his dream almost came true. But, the first volume of One Piece, chapters 1 to 597, Sea of Survival, and Supernova, ends with the fall of Whitebeard, the strongest man in the world, leaving a ceiling of strength for the entire comic. By the end of the first part, Luffy didn't actually defeat a Shichibukai in a single fight. In the second part, Shichibukai Doflamingo was barely evenly defeated. Watch, Hokage Ninja, again. At the end of the first part, the third generation, known as the strongest Hokage, also died. It stands to reason that the cage-level character G, who is Naruto's target, should also be the ceiling of strength, but in the second part, cage level has become the floor. Deidara kidnapped Kazecage's Gaara alone. Scorpion went even further and made the strongest Kazekage into a puppet. He once famously killed Orochimaru of third generation, but was killed instantly by Itachi. When the villain became a super god, Naruto showed little improvement. Luffy has been practicing for 2 years and can fly around a lot. Naruto trained for 3 years and learned the Big Ball Rasengan. If you want to continue practicing when you come back, what's the point of 3 years? After practicing Sage Mode for a few days, I can rub pain again. Is he stupid, or a genius? The strength of the entire comic collapses a bit at this point. If it is designed like One Piece, cage-level dignity must be guaranteed. But Naruto, who is already a demigod, still dreams of being a Kage, who has been reduced to a combat unit. Isn't this a small temple that can't accommodate the big Buddha? As a villain, Akatsuki's overall strength should be that of an elite Jonin, and the strength of 1 or 2 Hokage is acceptable. But no, all of them are cage level. As for the Chunin level, except for the Chunin exam in the comics, it is basically empty. The high-pitched beginning is the inevitable end of Hokage. Before the battle of Hokage ninjas saw Itachi. Ninja battles in Hokage can be said to be battles in which intelligence is paramount, seals are required to fight, chakra is limited, physical fitness and other factors are also critical. These are the parameters that were still used as a measure when the Hokage Ninja, Book of Masters, was published. Certainly, for a long time afterward, some of these parameters are still playing a role. For example, information such as the Tiandao Pain CD that Kakashi and other ninjas exchanged for their lives became one of the keys to Naruto's defeat of Pain. For example, facing Sasuke Susanoo's attack, Danzo, who had no time to form a seal, could only use wood style to dodge. For example, when Kisame Kazaki escaped, he specially absorbed Killer Bee's chakra with the help of Samahata. But at this time, the regular weapon, Izanagi, that symbolized invincibility, also appeared. What symbolizes the complete collapse of combat power should be the spread of impure world reincarnation. With this kind of immortal existence, there is no need to worry about the risk of life and chakra, the two most basic physical factors of a ninja, they are useless here. In the past plans for the collapse of Konoha, the old third generation's reckless behavior was ridiculed by Orochimaru, saying, Shadow Clone rushed up without any intention. What is the use of Shadow Clone for them? Spying on information, the Dirty Land Ninja said. I don't need it at all, I can be more reckless. So Itachi is like making money by opening Susanoo. Madara relied on impure world reincarnation to sneak around and play without having to pay the price at all. In order to deal with these powerful beings, the protagonist Tuan and others can only become stronger. Naruto experienced 4 transformations in the 4 battles, from Golden Naruto, to Kurama mode, to Fairy Fox mode, to 6 Paths Sage mode. 4th generation even added Kurama mode and Sage mode settings. Even in the early stages of the 4th Ninja War, Akamichi Choji was able to throw the terrifying punch. The later stages of Hokage are also known as Gundam Wars. The seeds that were planted in the Battle of Sasuke took root and sprouted in the 4th Ninja War. Itachi had a Gundam, Sasuke had a Gundam, Naruto had a Gundam, Madara had a Gundam, Hashirama had a Gundam, and Kakashi also had a Gundam. These days, if you say you don't have a Gundam, you'll be embarrassed to go out. Ordinary ninjas are basically useless except shouting, 666, from the side. I can't bear to drive the Gundam. The setting of reincarnation, fate, and reincarnation means that everything is destined. What is the meaning of all those efforts and blood? Looking at Neji's body, I thought it was all nonsense. Forget about reincarnation, Madara and Sasuke are both reincarnations of Indra. Let's not talk about Sasuke's birth or Madara's death. What will happen if Madara Rinne Tensei comes out later? Could it be that Indra's chakra possessed both Madara and Sasuke? Then it's normal for Indra to fail. Shira, people, don't engage in such imaginary things. Splitting into 2 parts is asking for death. And, Uchiha Madara, the peerless strongman who was described directly in more than 100 chapters in the manga, ended up. Otsutsuki Kagaya, the next person who directly descended from the gods, ended with a world-famous painting in about 10 chapters. And the most ironic thing is, this most brutal war in the ninja world lasted less than 4 days. Let's talk about editing. Because the editorial department believed that Kishimoto's storytelling ability was average, the editor sent was very experienced. The combination of old editors and new authors gives editors a great say. Because the editor is also the editor of Hunter, so under the editor's suggestion, Hokage Ninja naturally has a heavy Hunter color. This cannot be said to be Kishimoto's original wish, but these intentions are work. When the first part of Hokage Ninja ended, Kishimoto's contract with the editor also expired. He was already well known, but he was fed up with the editor Kishimoto, so he asked for a new editor. The editorial department sent him an intern who had just graduated from college, and Kishimoto began to let himself go. Maybe the original editor left very bad memories for Kishimoto, but in terms of the result, Kishimoto still has to thank the editors of first generation. If we only talk about the first part of Hokage Ninja, compared to the first part of One Piece, I think it is only stronger than weak. Or is it a problem with U Company's system? Because it's cut in half after 10 episodes if it doesn't perform well, many comics just want to survive at the beginning, so how can they think of an ending? Most comics are drawn while thinking about the ending. Like One Piece, I thought from the beginning. There was almost no good ending before One Piece. In my impression, the author of Slam Dunk made it clear that he had no idea how it would end. Dragon Ball started out as just a comic adventure comic written by Tien Chaofeng. 3 years before Hokage Ninja ended, the Fourth War had already begun. In the interview, Kishimoto still said that he didn't know how it would end. It can be said, bad endings are the norm in Japanese comics. A wonderful ending like Slam Dunk is also due to the author's high level. But, if it weren't for Inoue God Tier's conflict with the editorial department, it wouldn't have ended like this. To sum up, the reason why Hokage failed is that the first generation editor was too strong, which led to Kishimoto letting himself go after changing editors. The starting point is too high and the strength system collapses. Regarding the issue of the serialization system, the author started serializing without even thinking about how to end it. In the end, he couldn't make it right, and it was only 5.6. But can you blame him? Each cartoonist has a work and rest schedule. Kishimoto sleeps about 5 or 6 hours a day, and only after finishing it does he take his wife's honeymoon. Kishimoto has worked very hard to perfect the ending as much as possible, so it can't be said to be a bad ending. Lanye even doubted it. Did Kishimoto get so excited when he was drawing the manga that he forgot a lot of settings, and there was no way to modify them after they were published? What a pity, it's not being able to see other people's growth process. For example, Inuzuka Kiba, Inten, etc. He was a powerful newcomer at the beginning, and his status was like that of One Piece, but he was reduced to a marginal figure in the later period. And Kakashi can open Susanoo completely. Even though his eyes are gone, Obito gives Kakashi his power and that's it. 6 Paths level power. Available. Lanye is going to ask Sage of 6 Paths if there is such a setting. Back to business. Lanye came back to his senses and looked at Kakuzu who was waiting for his reply. The upper limit of resources is much higher. Although ninjas are only so big, there are wider resources outside the starry sky. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes, I understand. Lanye nodded. Seeing that no one had many questions, he just waved his hand. This hydrology, this is not the end of the lecture. Let's adjourn. The last drink. I'll go home tomorrow and I can code, hehe. Vote for free, automatically subscribe and click some duck. I wish all you old friends a happy and super double duck. 71. Cells are immortal. Head to the stars. This book is ready to be completed Hokage World and a new book is also being prepared. Please pay attention to the comment area, and the next book will be notified above. Due to the well-known influence, the world of Hokage is difficult to write bit by bit. Next, bury the original hole, and then open new world to dig the hole again. Arrangements for relevant personnel. On Orochimaru, the main direction of attack is the field of space flight, assisting and cooperating with Tsunade to develop biological aspects. In the future, Tsunade will develop the ninjutsu of cell immortality. Although it is limited by the knowledge of medical ninjutsu required to learn it and cannot be released to others, people such as Shizune, Izumi and others can learn it. Orochimaru will also completely perfect living corpse reincarnation, and become the choice for soul immortality. Although it requires sufficient talent to learn like cell immortality, the fields covered are similar. Only geniuses are eligible for privileges, while mediocrity will just live and die. After all, if everyone lived forever, many things would not be done. Terumi Mei and other girls, of course, used the 7 Dragon Balls to make wishes one by one to obtain eternal life. After using the 7 Dragon Balls and Nami Nemesis 7 Dragon Balls, you cannot use the time pause to recover them one by one, but how fast is Lanye's movement? There is no need for Lanye to go there in person. He can directly dispatch the Phoenix force of 100 people and start the all-round blockade of the 7th gate and 6th gate. Even before they go up, there will be Nagato, Onoki and others waiting for them. Where do these 7 Dragon Balls fly to? There is also a little Easter egg here. Lanye will not believe in evil god-level choice. After completing the wish, he will use time to pause to see what will go wrong, and then the 7 Dragon Ball will explode. But, the ability of the god-level selection reward is, turn back time, which will return the 20 Dragon Ball to the moment of explosion in the first second before the wish is fulfilled. There are no bugs like, make a wish, turn back time, or, make a wish again. After Orochimaru's immortal curse seal is perfected, there is still a certain risk, but the more powerful the talent, the higher the success rate after accepting the teaching of natural energy. But what about the middle and low-level talents? Orochimaru has developed Bloodline Curse Seal 19 inches, which integrates various bloodline limits into restriction seals, such as Bai's Bloodline Limits of Ice, plus Fairy Curse Seal, equals Ice Curse Seal. You can use the Ice Curse Seal to transform chakra to release ice escape. Although it may not be easy to use with the blood inheritance limit, the requirements for victory are not high. In the future, Ninjas can freely choose the blood inheritance limit and open plugins for ordinary characters. About Uchiha Lee, that is the only child in Uchiha who could not open his eyes. He is said to be a genius scientist who is born with talents that will be useful. This can be guessed from his name. In the future, Orochimaru, who is said as a genius aviation pilot, has created fighter jets, space fighters, space battleships, etc. Wait, he will be driving. The character Z Luo is also very arrogant. In the future, he will once again create the Seven Heavens Call technique, a taijutsu that is comparable to the 8 inner gates, and add the Hell Thrust. He learned to create a more powerful ninjutsu, and Yi Gai's use. The power of kicking out the big ending is the same, and he becomes a fierce man who cutting out the big ending with his hands. But the sequelae are definitely serious, but will Lanye be a problem here? Shizune will definitely not be able to escape. In the end, he and Tsunade will play the role of master and apprentice together. Oh, right, there is also Kwanmei, who learned the Shangda technique, and attracted Lanye's attention, so of course they became the three masters. There are also female supporting characters such as Uzumaki, Haruno Sakura, Ino, etc. I know you think, I originally planned to collect them one by one. There are also girls in the branch line, originally planned to include Kage Kuretsuchi, Hotaru, Nadeshiko Shizuka, and so on. But unfortunately, achievements, reality, and status are not allowed. I can only write to you when I have the opportunity in the future. The Rinne Tensai technique, plus living corpse reincarnation, free prostitution activities also gradually resurrected Uchiha Madara and others, and they will all be able to fight ghosts from other worlds in the future. The reunion of two gay friends, Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara, is also a highlight. When the contradiction of world peace is eliminated, how will they get along with each other? The original settings were Uchiha Madara's Tsunere and Senju Hashirama's dog licking. In terms of painting style, I'll probably write it in the direction of Funan. Ahem, the ninjutsu that is fused with the summoning beast will also be studied by Orochimaru in the future. The style of painting is based on the appearance of Lightbringer, but the high-tech robot is changed into a ninjutsu beast fusion. After Kimimaro took 18 wives, Dead Bone Pulse also underwent a qualitative change and evolved, becoming Otsutsuki Kagayas, killing the ashes together, that is, who was really inserted to death. Referring to the settings in the movie, in the future, there will be civilian scientists who will combine ninjutsu with conventional technology to create ninjutsu that even ordinary people can use. It will not be like the Boruto movie, saying that ninjutsu cannot be replaced by science. Significant. The difference between humans and animals is that we humans know how to use tools and can use ninjutsu with one click, so why not use it? Comics are comics after all. The supercilious look of the Hyuga clan is also a pity, of course it needs to be made up for. Ordinary people's supercilious eyes should be trained as long-range attacks. Wide-eye perspective plus sniper rifle equals cheating headshot. Can we not use such a good sniper? As the heroine, Hinata is of course treated differently. She will first be trained to have a pure eye, as the equal of Sharingan, and then Branch House, a descendant of Otsutsuki Hamura on the moon, will drive the moon to destroy the ninja world. After Lanye crushes the moon with his bare hands, she will seize the original Tenseigan. Hinata absorbs the power and becomes Tenseigan. Otsutsuki Kagaya will also be released at this time. Lanye will try to escape first, but the stupidity is not really stupid. If Black Zetsu adds insult to injury and badmouths Lanye, there will still be a fight in the end. But she would never have thought of it. Lanye doesn't even need to take action, it's just that Sage of Six Paths gives Guy and Itachi the power of yin and yang, and combined with the abilities of Kakashi and others, they can beat them while hanging. The pull of Yuilao's red rope made Otsutsuki Kagaya give in and fall in love with Lanye. Of course, there is no way the moon is really gone. Six Paths will show up and use Six Paths planetary devastation to pinch one again. At last, the biggest Easter egg is here. Otsutsuki Ichiraku is a hidden boss. Seeing that Lanye is about to dominate the world and is about to find the Otsutsuki clan, they finally can't stand it anymore. They show up using ramen as a Six Paths weapon. It turns out to be one person vs Kagaya, Itachi, Guy, Murasaki and others. It was Lanye who defeated Otsutsuki Ichiraku by triggering the god-level choice, gaining positive abilities such as the new ability, Angel of Justice, integrating into the body of a demon to absorb positive emotions, and using the faith of the entire ninja world to evolve him. Come here, the world of the ninja world has basically been completed. Under the leadership of Otsutsuki Kagaya, the protagonist will leave with his harem and Kakashi and other capable men, while Kazuma will stay in charge of the rear. Of course, there will definitely be a portal back in the future, and then the old-fashioned, Lanye is gone, so the ninja world is in chaos, just send people back to suppress it, drama. It can probably fill a dozen chapters. Looking to space, under the guidance of Otsutsuki Kagaya, the spaceship came to a place with 3 wormhole entrances. One of them passed through the tragedy of the Otsutsuki clan, but Otsutsuki Kagaya forgot which one they came out. At this time, the god-level system is online. Ding, it is detected that the host is faced with a choice. The god-level selection system is started. Please make the following choices. Choice 1. Choose the wormhole on the left, head to the unknown world and conquer it to become the ruler of the new world. Reward, 4x, times 1. Option 2. Choose the middle wormhole, head to the unknown world and conquer it to become the master of the new world. Reward, 4x, times 1. Choice 3. Choose the wormhole on the right to head towards the unknown world and conquer it to become the ruler of the new world. Reward, 4x times 1. There is no hint of the world after the wormhole. The protagonist finally chose according to the logic of men left and women right. Middle, a manly man must of course take the middle road domineeringly. The result can be imagined. It's definitely not for the Otsutsuki clan, what's the point of fighting them? Instead, I went to a new world. And just after they passed through, a small wormhole entrance opened not far away from the 3 wormholes, but it was only small enough for 1 or 2 people to pass through. That's right, this is the impulse leading to the Otsutsuki clan, and it is very small. The Otsutsuki clan are also people from a certain other world. This setting was set for subsequent linkage, but now it seems there is no chance. Come here. According to the setting of the outline, it is almost finished. Post Lanye's panel one last time, and then its new world. The book, The World of Hokage, has been completed, and a new book will be prepared at the same time. Please pay attention to the comment area, and the next book will be notified above. Remark. Assistants Kazuma, Ibiki Interrogation Department Itachi Anbu Nara Shikaku, Kurenai. Combat Strength. Uchiha Director Fugaku Hyuga. Logistics Aburame Fire Nation Daily, Beekeeping Security Department Uchiha National Treasury Kakuzu. Disciples Itachi 11 Little Hinata 6, Big Appetite, Easily Shy Izumi 12, Cares about Itachi very much, Well-behaved disciple Uchiha Oriji, 24 years old, Smooth, Obedient, Knows how to handle things. Women Terumi Mei 21, Mature Peach Yuhi Hong 21, Royal Sister, Hokage Assistant Life Tsunade, Bold Older Sister Enko 19, Anbu Personal Bodyguard Yi Kang Tough Female Warrior, a straight woman seduces the protagonist Mabuyi, an intellectual secretary Wooden Golem Arrogant, Cold and Long-Legged and Samui a sore shoulder in Versailles. Heroine Little Hinata 6, lives at home, has a big appetite Uzumaki, Lanye's little crush, but Lanye has no interest in her, so she hangs on Haruno Sakura, Conan 3 no girl, kindergarten director. To be determined, pet, Little Kurama, others left Yi Kang, right Shihihong. Valley of the End, Hell's Sinkhole, Daming Canal. Institute Medical and Biological Research Department, Tsunade. Summary. Orochimaru is very complex. Yakushi Kabuto gives Orochimaru a hand. Challenge Dungeon Stone, Danzo. Mechanical Military Industry. Scorpion Explosive Missiles, Telephones, Hot Air Balloons, Airships, Airplanes, Didera 9 years old, Explosion Style. God Level 147 Selection System. Host. Shihuan Lanye. Age. 18 years old. Rewards. 12 Talisman Complete. Time Rewind, Conqueror's Haki, Voiceover, Yulao Red Rope, Rejuvenation Pill, Observation Haki, Eye of the Sage, Rear, Admiral Physique, Frozen Fruit, the right wrist of the Sealed One. Demon, 8 Inner Gates Formation, Mangekyo Tsukuyomi, Wolverine Bloodline Hyphenation Point Bonus Edition, Mangekyo Soul, Lion's Roar, Rasengan. Conqueror's Haki Hyphenation Point Suppression, Marine 6 Styles Training Encyclopedia, Reincarnation Impasse, Wind Attribute Chakra Nature Transformation, Thunder Attribute Chakra Nature Transformation, Yin Escape. 15% Mastery of Power, 99% Mastery of Sage Mode, the left arm of the sealed person, the devil, the left foot of the sealed person, the devil, the sealed Exodia. Demon, Demon Armor, 7-star 7 Dragon Ball, Space Travel Technology, 1-star 7 Dragon Ball, 2-star 7 Dragon Ball, 1-star Namek Dragon Ball. Ultimate move Frozen Fruit, physical attack is invalid 8 Inner Gates Formation. All the energy in the demon god's body, devouring fear, time immunity, controlling one's own time multiples, even pausing, and practicing independently, will be converted into the demon god's power, and the demon god will also be consumed. Force. Eye of the demon god Exodia, Gilt Gold, 100 meters, bare hands, but can use spells. Demon Flame Cannon, a super large light cannon is sprayed from the mouth, and the horse charm is struck with full force for 3 minutes. God's Wrath Karma Fire, Golden Demon God's Fire. Clear 100 kilometers. Use this skill again in 1 month. Normal 12 Talisman, Armament Haki Winding, External Release, Long Distance Attack. Equipment 12 Spells. Items Yulao Red Rope, Poke Ball, 7 Dragon Ball 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 Namek Dragon Ball 1, 7 Challenge Dungeon Stone, Danzo, Obito, Demon God. Armor, will become larger when the demonic eyes Exodia is turned on. Passive Time Back, Demon God's Body. Auxiliary Observation Haki, Nature Transformation Wind, Thunder Transformation Technique, Dress Up, Chakra Scalpel. Spoofed Voiceover, Eye of God Strong Person Identification Technique, as far as the eye can see, 12 hours. Melee Combat Armament Haki Entanglement, External Release, Long Range Attack. Remote Sage Art Wind Style Spiral Shuriken. Defense Armament Haki, Black and Hard. Function Demon Eye Tsukuyomi Reincarnation, Era of Terror. Mobile. None at the moment. Augmentation 8 Inner Gates Formation, Armament Haki, Demon God's Body. Others Sealed Books Konoha, Cloud Shinobi, Sand Shinobi, Rock Shinobi, Mist Shinobi. 72. The Truth About Hokage. Lanye thought that after passing through the wormhole, he would be attacked by Otsutsuki immediately. Did not expect. The wormhole passage is like an old lady's foot wrap, it's smelly and long. Fortunately, the spacecraft itself has a light energy circulation system and will not be locked up in a small dark room collectively. And Lanye is accompanied by several girls, so it won't be boring. Others are also vigilant and preparing for the upcoming encounters at any time, and they are no longer in the mood for entertainment. They all try their best to maintain the maximum combat power, and even go to the dungeon to challenge the stone with restraint. After all, Elite Shunen's chakra is consumed every time it is used, and even Jonin won't be able to withstand it if it is used too many times. This day, after Lanye let the girls fall asleep from exhaustion, he suddenly thought of a question. In the original design of Hokage Ninja, there was actually no such thing as Jinchuriki, and the 4th generation project did not seal the power of 9 tails into Naruto's body. But Naruto is 9 tails. That is to say, the 4th generation directly sealed 9 tails' power, and 9 tails turned into a child, namely Naruto. So, the village was actually destroyed by Naruto, so people in the village would call him the Demon Fox and be very afraid of him. You will also see some clues in some places in the first part of Hokage Ninja. Villagers and some villains will say to Naruto, "You are the 9 tails." In fact, this is a continuation of the original setting. Just like when Shukaku appeared, people didn't say anything about Jinchuriki. Later, everyone knew about tailed beasts and Jinchuriki as a matter of course. In fact, this is a change of settings. Kishimoto once personally stated that if the original setting is followed, Naruto will directly transform into 9 tails, and will also wear Naruto's iconic goggles. If you put it this way, the plot will not have so many episodes. And, Kakashi is a bad guy, 3rd generation is a dog, and 4th generation is a Hokage with a bad guy face. This will be a brand new anime that has nothing to do with the current Hokage. Only, Hokage is very popular, so I carefully made new settings to provide better water. Oh no, it's better to unfold the story. For example, after Naruto's hard work and 10 years of training, he finally reached the strength of an ordinary Jonin. On the way, he went to an ancient organization to safely remove 9 tails from his body. 9 tails was sealed into a scroll and placed in a shrine for worship. Vote for free, in short. P.S. But I actually prefer Garlic Sasuke. Zihu after the ending. Why can a weakling like Uzumaki Naruto become Hokage? The editor told AB that violent heroines with savage girlfriends are particularly popular nowadays. In addition, people also like to watch cool male protagonists who are both enemies and friends of the hero, so AB added the 2 characters of Sasuke and Sakura. It will definitely not be as popular as it is now. Then Hokage does not have a 7th class, and the whole book only talks about how the male protagonist Naruto became Hokage, married by Fume Hinata, and reached the pinnacle of life. If you follow Kishimoto's initial settings completely, Sakura Way can't tear it apart, and the heat will definitely go down a lot. Sorry for the confused kitten, you still have 4 more and can't return it. Come to me to redeem the next book when the time comes. If you can still read it. The new book is being prepared. Stay tuned. Fire. AB said in an interview that there was originally no heroine in Hokage, neither Sasuke nor Sakura. I wish all you veterans may you have a super double peach blossom. Naruto Naru's base trip is gone, and the popularity is going to drop a lot. Li Hao, then ordinary Jonin Naruto was appointed to be the Hokage. Especially, but automatically subscribe and click some duck. 73. Bedridden Kakashi was. This day, Lanye went to the observation deck as usual on the spaceship to take a look at the wormhole passage outside. Recently he accidentally discovered, this wormhole channel actually contains the power of time. If he can understand it, it will be very helpful for him to control the power of time. In no mood, I unexpectedly met Izumi and Haruno Sakura. Izumi, and little Sakura. Lanye said unexpectedly. Didn't you go to practice today? Teacher, we have finished practicing. Izumi said with respect and admiration. Teacher Tsunade gave us a day off today, so I brought my junior sister here to have a look. Haruno Sakura will be Tsunade's disciple in the future, and she seems to have achieved success in her studies. Lanye also recommended that Tsunade could take her in. Of course, it was mainly Tsunade who taught her, and occasionally Yukushi Kabuto would make a guest appearance. Tsunade himself 147 was still focused on new research, and the remaining free time was left to Lanye. Hello, Your Majesty. Thank you, Your Majesty, for recommending me to Mr. Tsunade. Haruno Sakura bowed 90 degrees. There is a constant temperature system in the spacecraft, and the current temperature is the season of autumn. Most people only wore long sleeves, or at most fishnet shirts underneath. Unfortunately, Haruno Sakura doesn't seem to like fishnet shirts, but just wears a tube top. This bend is basically visible from Lanye's perspective, and the scale is surprisingly large. It looks very interesting. Compare it to Kwanmei again. It seems that Haruno Sakura really knows the true story of Tsunade. Has she even learned the secret technique of Toyokuma? Looking at it this way, Haruno Sakura doesn't seem to be unable to accept it. After all, she is also a little heroine, and she has the bonus of being famous for her role. But there's no rush now. He nodded briefly to Haruno Sakura, and then rubbed Izumi's hair that had reached his shoulders. The little guy has grown up and is becoming more and more slim. Although Kwanmei also wanted to stay here, she wisely left. Lanye was left thinking about something. Why in the original drama of Hokage Ninja, Kakashi seems to have never taught little Sakura any powerful ninjutsu? Why didn't Hokage Ninja Kakashi teach little Sakura anything? First, I still need to figure out the timeline. In March, little Sakura graduated and entered the 7th class. For more than 2 months, Shiji BJED has been taking on some trivial tasks. In May, the mission of the Kingdom of Waves, Kakashi trains little Sakura and others to climb trees. During this period, Kakashi trained little Sakura in Genjutsu. End of June, Sakura, who has collected enough tasks, registers for the Chunin exam. Early July, the first 2 games of the Chunin exam are over, with Orochimaru focusing on Sasuke. Kakashi instructs Sasuke in physical training and Chidori training. Yeah, the Chunin exam is over and the 3rd generation dies. Jiraiya asked Kakashi to take Naruto away for training to protect him as a Jinchuriki. Itachi returned to Konoha at this time, and Kakashi and Sasuke were comatose and hospitalized one after another. Mid-September, Tsunade returns to the village, Kakashi and Sasuke wake up. Mid-October, Naruto and Sasuke fight each other on the rooftop, and Sasuke is discharged from the hospital. Late October, Sasuke leaves the village. November, little Sakura becomes Tsunade's teacher. From the time Sakura joined class 7 to the time Sakura became Tsunade's teacher, it lasted for 9 months. For 1 to 2 months, Kakashi was bedridden. Then there are only 7 months left. The new book is being prepared. Please stay tuned. Vote for free. Automatically subscribe and click some duck. I wish all you old friends a happy and super double duck. 74. Kakashi's standards. During these 7 months, and because of Orochimaru's relationship, Kakashi focused on training Sasuke for 1 month. There are only 6 months left. During these 6 months, we were mainly divided into 2 groups. 1. 4 months before the Chunin Nin exam. During these 4 months, little Sakura and others have to collect enough missions before they can take the Chunin examination. Does it take time to do the task? Also, in these 4 months, Kakashi also taught little Sakura something, such as tree climbing training and resistance to illusions. But, again, the master leads you in. Cultivation depends on the individual. Little Sakura is indeed talented when it comes to precise control of chakra. After practicing for half a day, the 3 of them were exhausted, so Sakura did other heavy lifting. Obviously, little Sakura has enough energy to continue practicing. Otherwise she wouldn't be so bored that she yawns. At the same time, Naruto and Sasuke were still practicing and had more dinner. After Mingzo practiced for 7 days, Mingzo not only climbed higher, but could also hang. Judging from Sakura's performance, it is obvious that she cannot do this. Really, because of her talent, little Sakura was able to complete the tree climbing training in less than half a day, but Mingzo failed. But this is just because she has good talent, but she doesn't work hard. And, because Kakashi set the goal there, little Sakura has already reached that point and has no idea that she will continue to improve. No thinking of one's own. This is not about the 7 days of tree climbing, but about Sakura's attitude towards becoming stronger. Little Sakura at that time. There is indeed a lack of pursuit of excellence. But Mingzo is different. Naru and Zuo compete with each other and have a strong need to become stronger. Kakashi set a standard of climbing 20 meters, and Sakura was satisfied after climbing 20 meters easily. Nazuo will push the record to 40 meters. After brushing the height, you can still train with weights. 2 months after the Chunin exam. That is, from when Kakashi is discharged from the hospital to when Sasuke leaves the village. During this time, at that time, Kakashi was busy going on missions, and when he came back from the mission, he had to rush to the next mission. On the one hand, the time is too short. Want to practice more, guidance is limited to assisting newcomer genin in completing tasks. It's better to understand with the original languages, take on the role of Jonin. Please give me flowers. According to the setting of the original work, although Jonin Sensei has the name of a teacher, he has no obligation to teach ninjutsu and other knowledge. Automatically subscribe and click some duck. In the corporate culture of Sakura Flower Country, newcomers should be hired, usually temporary positions where old employees help new employees get familiar with the business. Taking this as the standard, Kakashi taught little Sakura how to climb trees and resist genjutsu, which is considered an overfulfillment of what he taught, far beyond the scope of ordinary Jonin teachers who only guide the completion of tasks. I wish all you old friends a great peach blossom and a super double pill duck. The new book is being prepared. Please stay tuned. So obviously, and Kakashi is not a very strict teacher. He basically teaches you once and you have to practice the rest by yourself. And, vote for free, unless you take the initiative to find Kakashi yourself, or it is really a life and death situation, Kakashi will not take the initiative. It just shows that little Sakura has not learned any skills. Although the little Sakura at that time had talent, she lacked the pursuit of becoming stronger and had a certain attitude of just completing the given tasks. 75. The reason why little Sakura is considered ABCH. Little Sakura herself does not have the ability to break through fixed thinking, and there are also some problems with the portrayal of her own character. Why is the character Sakura-chan given the nickname, Sakura BCH? Is it simply because AB lacks sufficient understanding of female psychology? Or do you not have enough ability to create good female characters? There is a high probability that there are. Sakura, the titular heroine, is a combination of AB's various failed attempts at portraying female characters. Of course, it is easy to attract evil. Judging from the appearance alone, little Sakura looks very sweet. The only problem with the airport was improved because of early apprenticeship with Tsunade. But, I remember that in my previous life, I summarized the reason why little Sakura was called Sakura BCH. If something happens, then me a lot. If nothing happens, please give me a thumbs up. The words are rough and the reasoning is not rough. To put it bluntly and clearly, the reason why little Sakura is considered a BCH is because she is too dependent on men. There is nothing else in my heart except men. This is actually a common feature of most female characters in Hokage. AB seems to think that women are born for feelings, and they will die if they don't care about men in their hearts. In the plot, as the characters grow, we see Naruto's pursuit of peace, and Sasuke's thoughts on strength and revenge. And what about little Sakura? Because of love, he became Team 7, because of love, he kept chasing Sasuke, and finally, because of love, he became Tsunade's disciple. In the first part, I was thinking about Sasuke every day, but in Shippuden, I was torn between Nasu and Sasuke. In short, while the other two in Class 7 were already looking at the overall situation of the world, she was still thinking about the men around her. This kind of problem also appeared in her master Tsunade. Sanin yellow gambling drugs. Orochimaru is obsessed with immortality and has become the technological representative of the entire game by studying ninjutsu cards. As the eldest daughter of the Hyuga family, Hinata has never thought about changing the branch house system of the clan, and she acts like a BCH to Naruto 24 hours a day. Konan only assisted Yahiko Nagato when he took the realization of peace as his own mission. Not to mention other characters. He always thinks only of his younger brother Naoki and his lover Kato Dan, and he even gambles to escape from the pain of losing his beloved. While the male characters are all aiming for the world, women are always thinking about love. I don't seem to have any opinion on this. By comparison, I wish all you old friends a happy and super double duck. Automatically subscribe and click some duck. New book is being prepared. Stay tuned. As the next head of the Yamanaka clan, Ino has made little achievements in intelligence work. After experiencing a series of major changes, Asuma's death, Pain's destruction of Konoha, Ino still has a heart for Sasuke, whom she has not spoken to in several years and was not familiar with before. Cry loudly. And what about Tsunade? Vote for free. But Tsunade still had a medical mind and single-handedly promoted the development of Konoha's medical ninjas. As a disciple of Konoha's #1 medical expert and an extremely talented little Sakura, it seems that she has not thought much about these things. As the head of a village, Mizukage Terumime is still thinking about getting married when other 0.2 leaders can give up their private lives for their careers. Jiraiya was thinking about Konoha and wrote a little yellow book to discuss the existence of peace. 76. Sasuke-chan, magically modified version of Hokage. Looking at it this way, in fact, many women in Hokage can relate to BCH. The reason why little Sakura is the most serious is just because she plays a functional role in binding the two male protagonists together. She is one of the important reasons why Naruto is obsessed with recovering Sasuke. Therefore, the relationship with the male character is also the most complicated, and the dependence on men is naturally exposed. So, little Sakura is not really a BCH, and most of the female characters in Hokage have nothing to do with BCH. What makes them look like B is Ab's overly old gender concept. AB19's understanding of women is subconsciously very traditional and conservative. This can be seen in many details from the fact that the female characters in Hokage are weaker in strength and subordinate status compared to the male characters. So, all the characters' faults are Ab's problem, and it can only be his problem. Sakura's controversy and Hinata's popularity are actually because it is much easier to create a supporting role than a protagonist. The difficulty of describing group portraits is much higher than that of describing single images. The unsatisfactory portrayal of Sakura has a lot to do with the characteristics of the passionate migrant manga itself. Hinata's ideal portrayal is due to the fact that this character was originally considered a protagonist, but later quickly retreated to the second line, and Xiaoli Tiantian and others became supporting roles, which greatly reduced the difficulty of shaping. I'm afraid AB has been reflecting on this for a long time. As for how to create the most perfect Hinata, let her small universe explode when she saves Naruto, and eventually die for Naruto. How to create the most perfect little Sakura, let little Sakura kill Sasuke, and they both died together in the end. Naruto ended up traveling around the world like Jiraiya. Since then, the world has been at peace. 15. Finale. Naruto and Sasuke-chan give birth to a baby with the power of 6 paths. Naruto's setting remains unchanged. He still likes little Sakura, but gets no response. He chases Sasuke-chan for his beloved little Sakura, which results in the latter's girlish heart being even more hurt, plus her Tsunade attributes are off the charts. Does anyone want to see it? You can try it. Little Sakura is a lily, and she falls in love with Sasuke-chan at first sight, so she abandons her childhood sweetheart Ino. Lanye has figured out the basic settings. It's so sour. Lanye suddenly had the urge to write. New book is being prepared. Stay tuned. Sasuke-chan is a brother control plus Tsunade. She has admired her brother since she was a child. After being hurt by Itachi, she developed a crush on Naruto. After being defeated by Naruto, the girl's heart was hurt plus her Tsunade attributes were fully activated, and she betrayed Konoha Village. Automatically subscribe and click some duck. Isn't this the man-on-man novel that Fujoshi loves most? There is no need to change other plots at all. Itachi is a sister-in-law and cannot be with Sasuke-chan because of his family mission, so he entrusts her to Naruto. I wish all you old friends a super double duck. When the baby grew up, he used the power of Sharingan plus Immortal to unify the ninja world and bring eternal peace. I couldn't help but come up with an idea. In fact, AB could have set Sasuke as a female from the beginning and just changed the hairstyle and clothes. The plot should be written as a male, and then it would be combined with Naruto Sasuke's character during the class division. A kiss. Vote for free. Come to think of it. 77. Uzumaki fragrant phosphorus is so fragrant. Actually, AB is quite partial to little Sakura, and you can even see that he is painting little Sakura very carefully. So there is no possibility of deliberately vilifying little Sakura. After all, in the early days of Shippuden, in the few paintings against Scorpion, little Sakura's appearance can be said to be the best in all works. Based on this analysis, little Sakura actually looks pretty good. Thinking like this, Lanye couldn't help but think of another girl who had the same problem as little Sakura, Uzumaki. This girl with glasses. Does it seem like it can also be cultivated? To say that the most miserable female character in Hokage is definitely Shang Phosphorus. Both Shanglin and little Sakura want to be with Sasuke. This is a setting that everyone knows. As for the desire for Sasuke to become better, only Shang Phosphorus silently puts it first. Compared with the possession of little Sakura, love is the highest level of love. In Infinite Tsukuyomi, Shang Lian even dreams, hoping that Sasuke can smile again. Unable to find Sasuke, he cried and hammered through several thousand hands with his bare hands. This scene was very similar to Hinata, who used her body as a shield in front of Naruto when she was beating pain. Shang Phosphorus has paid a lot, knowing the consequences and paying regardless of the consequences. But she still couldn't compare to little Sakura. Because little Sakura has a family, a backup Naruto, and other friends. But Shang Phosphorus only has miserable experiences. As for Sasuke killing Shang Phosphorus in the end, Lanye believes that it is not murderous intention, but a plan to kill 3 birds with 1 stone. When killing Danzo, he did not want to kill Shang Phosphorus. It wasn't necessary at this point. But as he said, Shang Phosphorus was already a burden at this moment, and he couldn't give up killing Danzo for the sake of the hostage. At most, he doesn't care about her life or death. But he told Shanglu to, don't move, which actually showed that he was still concerned about Shanglu's life and death at this moment. After all, the fragrant phosphorus will not affect his hit on Danzo. When the phoenix is stationary, according to the height difference between the phosphorus and Danzo, stabbing Danzo in the heart is equivalent to stabbing the phosphorus a little lower on the shoulder. Coupled with Uzumaki's resilience and little Sakura who is about to arrive, Uzumaki will never die. In this way, it can hit Danzo, but also throw away the oil bottle of Xiangling, and the chasing little Sakura may not be able to continue chasing because of Xiangling's treatment. Isn't this killing 3 birds with 1 stone? But, no matter what you say, this kind of behavior is a farewell to the image of a decent protagonist in anime. To put it simply, what's more, Sasuke, who in the early stage of the Hokage said, "Those who abandon their companions are worse than trash," actually did so. The character is broken. In general, this kind of dilemma in animation design is to make the protagonist hesitate and finally put down his weapon obediently. But here Sasuke didn't hesitate at all. He just cursed Danzo a few times and then started to attack Danzo very well. It must be to highlight his darkening. Sasuke will not be blackmailed by Danzo for the sake of Sanzo. Let alone Sanzo here, even if he is held hostage by Danzo, he can do it if he is seriously injured and dying in exchange for Danzo's death. The most interesting thing is, new book is being prepared. Stay tuned, vote for free, automatically subscribe and click some duck. I wish all you old friends a happy and super double duck. 78. Hokage Ninja Gaiden Part 1. Boruto's story that never burns. The most interesting thing is, in the future, it was Shanglu who helped deliver little Sakura. Little Sakura later caught up with Sasuke, who had left Konoha Cloud Travel, and traveled with him. As time went by, the two fell in love and did something indescribable, and they were captured again, maybe several times. With Sasuke's ascetic face, no matter how much he thought, he would not count the number of shots, the seed would be pregnant. Coincidentally, when little Sakura was in labor, she happened to pass by Shang Lian's station, so she helped her deliver the baby. Afterwards, Shang Phosphorus even left Zuo Liana's umbilical cord as a souvenir. As for Tsunade and Shizune, the two masters and apprentices were either gambling around or staying in Konoha. They would never encounter the wandering 977 Sasuke couple. Especially Shizune, as a high-ranking member of the Konoha medical department, how could he run around? Have to say, Mikio Ikamoto, who has just taken over Hokage Ninja Gaiden Part 1, the uncombustible Boruto, is simply an NT. Hokage Ninja Gaiden Part 1, the unburnable Boruto, was not drawn by AB, the original work of Hokage, because this series is a sequel to the Hokage Ninja series. The original author did not write and draw it. It itself was adapted from the original work and was edited. It was launched after some modifications. To say that ABS, Hokage Ninja, is the era of cosmetic contact lenses, BJDB. So this, Boruto legend, is, the era of colored contact lenses has passed, and next is the era of tattoos. The whole thing is a non-mainstream collection. Even if the whole show is full of flaws, it still makes Lanye very resistant. The possible reasons are as follows. 1. The system remains unchanged. When the three little ghosts appeared as a team, Lanye knew whose child March was. There was no sense of expectation at all. At the end, Lanye's suspicion was confirmed. The legendary Sannin, Tsunade teaches Sakura, Jiraiya teaches Naruto, and Orochimaru teaches Sasuke. Zuo Liangya is the child of Sakura and Sasuke, and Boruto is the child of Naruto. All decent. Then the only ones left are the descendants of Orochimaru, who are both good and evil. Or maybe related to Orochimaru. So you see, very little has changed. 3. Feeling sorry for Neji. New book is being prepared. Stay tuned. Vote for free. I don't want to admit that this was Lanye's favorite character in the past. The portrayal is really ugly. The new author completely wrote, The Hokage Ninja Gaiden, The Unburnt Boruto, as a new story, discarding many settings of the Hokage Ninja. Although Boruto said, he doesn't have to be a Hokage just because his father and grandpa are Hokages. Sasuke is an idol, but Zuo Liangya wants to be a Hokage, and she has a relationship with Boruto, so. I wish all you old friends a happy and super double duck. Fortunately, I am with Hinata, and Hinata can tolerate it. 2. Is my expression ugly? 6. Sakura and Sasuke are also separated all year round. Automatically subscribe and click some duck. That is to say, little Sakura is too, dog licking, otherwise she would have cuckolded Sasuke long ago. What Konoha owes to the Uchiha family will be repaid to Zuo Liangya. He died too early. All his friends at the same time got married and had children, but he has been forgotten. 5. Naruto became a Hokage and neglected family ties. 4. The previous plot is really boring. Etc., etc. 79. The era of contact lenses has passed, and the era of tattoos is coming. In Hokage, the third Hokage is an old man who is several decades old and still teaches people about the will of fire every day. Back then, Kakashi was unparalleled in style. How many famous figures have an intuitive performance of instant kill? The fourth Hokage didn't show up much, but it showed his invincible style. As for the Hokage Ninja Gaiden Part 1, The Unburnt Borutoden. Naruto was so cut off that he could approve documents all day long. When Sasuke fights with others, he uses full Susanoo, and his fighting skills are not as good as those of 16 or 7. In the past, Xiaoqiang was all in disgrace, but the little brats actually wanted to revolt and overthrow Miss Shinobi. Enko getting fat, middle-aged Naruto, Danzo taking the blame again. Do you dare to imagine any new show doing this? Even though I have feelings about consumption, it still makes people feel uncomfortable. This is how I feel. The Hokage Ninja Gaiden Part 1, The Uncombustible Boruto, really bullies old Hokage fans. Lanye watched Hokage Ninja Gaiden Part 1, Boruto Den, to see the new story. Who is reading your new story? The positioning is too unclear. Hokage Ninja Gaiden Part 1, Boruto, is far inferior to Hokage in terms of production, soundtrack, and plot design. If Hokage is a passionate anime suitable for youth, so, Hokage Ninja Gaiden Part 1, Boruto Den, is better said to be something suitable for young children to pass the time. Under the slogan of official authorization, we are making works that continue to work after the dog's tail. So why do you still watch the Hokage Ninja Gaiden Part 1, Boruto Den? It was because of my persistent and obsessive pursuit of Hokage. Most of the time, although I know that Hokage and Hokage Ninja Gaiden, The Legend of Boruto That Will Not Burn at All, are two different works, I still can't help but want to explore myself in Hokage Ninja Gaiden, The Legend of Boruto That Will Not Burn at All, The Passionate Youth. Might Guy's most famous saying, youth never ends. This is also the obsession of every Hokage fan, hoping that their youth will not end. That's why, many people clearly know that, the Hokage Ninja Gaiden, The Uncombustible Boruto, is a sequel, but they still want to explore the subsequent lives of the original people and the appearance of a bunch of second generations. This may be the reason why even though the quality of Borutoden, Hokage Ninja Gaiden, one of the uncombustibles, is admitted to be extremely low, it is still willing to pursue it. What I want to complain about the most, it's the battle power collapse of Hokage Ninja Gaiden Part 1, The Unburnable Borutoden. Please give me flowers. Naruto and Sasuke's combat power is severely weakened, and they can't use a series of mentally retarded operations and skills. Don't you know how difficult it was to open a Sharingan when Sasuke was a kid? It was only opened when he was about to die. In the Boruto story, Sarana, because she had mixed feelings when she went to find Sasuke, she actually opened Sharingan. I'm a civet girl. Needless to say, Boruto, extremely talented, he learned Rasengan in a short time and showed off various ninjutsu and physical skills. It felt like denying Naruto's efforts back then. Give people the feeling that if your parents are strong, you will be strong. Then Naruto is still the son of the fourth Hokage. He hasn't worked so hard and suffered so many setbacks. Hokage Shippuden is really a work that cannot be surpassed. If it weren't for the Hokage Ninja Gaiden Part 1, Boruto Den, created under the background of Hokage, this manga would have been a surefire success. But, you can also treat him as an everyday mentally retarded person and lower your requirements a little bit, and it won't matter. It probably means, the era of cosmetic contact lenses has passed, and the era of tattoos is coming. The new book is being prepared. Please stay tuned, vote for free, automatically subscribe and click some duck. I wish all you old friends a wonderful peach blossom. 80. Boruto Biography, My Brother's Naughty Kid. Of course, it cannot be said that Hokage Ninja Gaiden Part 1, Boruto Den, is really useless. The details are well handled, such as Ichiraku ramen on Naruto's desk. The inheritance of the ninja spirit expressed still exists. And, Lanye also loves me Himawari and Sarana. Pity, little Sakura and little Hinata are destined to be Lanye's, and these two cute girls will not appear. Chi ba chi, times have changed, but nothing has changed. Ninja spirit, class 7 forever. There are also hidden emotional lines and a full family bond. Fortunately, Naruto Hinata and Sasuke little Sakura, their combination gave birth to such a cute and fitting child. After all, only Hinata can give birth to soft sunflowers, and Boruto, who looks naughty but is full of tenderness, is a family member. Only little Sakura can give birth to a Sarada who looks disgusted and complains about Boruto, but can secretly blush and knock him out. Looking at Sarana is like looking at the fusion of little Sakura and Sasuke. And, Boruto has the aura of a noble prince. Unlike Naruto who was simple and rough since childhood. Although they are all naughty, Boruto was probably also influenced by his mother, who came from a noble family. He has been full of charisma and leadership since he was a child, and he has been able to win the hearts of girls. Compared with Naruto, really, don't make too much progress. The portrayal of the characters of Boruto's classmates is also very full, and it can be seen that the author has put his heart into it. The personalities of everyone in this class are super full and very individual. Such as Monitor, such as Bunny Girl, such as Repeater. Everyone is a person with a name and a story. On the contrary, I don't really like the portrayal of Naruto's classmates in Hokage. Although the other classes except Class 7 also have stories and are very personal, you only remember their stories but not the people themselves. Especially, Boruto's portrayal of female characters couldn't be much better. Of course, the portrayal of the original female character of Hokage is not good, she is either ridiculously fat or ridiculously ugly. Before, there were almost no female characters that had a good number of appearances and left a lasting impression, except for Sakura Tsunade. But Sarana and little Sakura are different. They have been very cute since they were young. Although they also dislike Boruto, they look a bit awkward as a little girl and are very cute. I don't pay attention to appearance, dating men, etc. Instead, she is a strong woman with great goals. Even the squad leader, a girl who inherits Hinata's setting, is both strong and cute at the same time. Unlike Hinata, the number of episodes he appeared in was very few and all were about Naruto. Either blush or pay for him. I feel like I have completely lost my personality. Summary. For the Hokage Ninja Gaiden Part 1, the uncombustible Boruto, I think I hate iron more than steel. Lanye watched the Hokage Ninja Gaiden Part 1, the uncombustible Boruto, probably because of his feelings, the kind of feeling that he had been with a brother for more than 10 years, and suddenly he left, leaving behind a one son, said to me, I'm going to ask you to take care of my child after I leave. Although, this kid's worldview is broken, his views are incorrect, and his mouth is worse than his father's. Wait for the shortcomings, but there is nothing I can do. Who told me that his father and I are brothers? The new book is being prepared. Please stay tuned, vote for free, automatically subscribe and click some duck. I wish all you old friends a happy and super double duck. 81. Angry Yamanaka Ino. Yamanaka Ino, as the vice president of the Lanye Fans Support Club, also got the news and stayed here specially after little Sakura encountered Lanye at the observation deck yesterday. But Lanye didn't come, but Ino is not discouraged. After squatting for a full week, I finally caught Lanye, who was satisfied with Yuhi Hong and other girls, and came to show off. Hello, Your Majesty, Ino said nervously. You must be happy today too. Lanye, why do you wish me happiness? But, Ino has grown more and more temperamentally in recent years. She has good looks, a well-proportioned figure, and a lively and unrestrained yet tender personality. She has a status like a big sister among girls, and she can get along with boys like buddies. Sincere and frank, generous and generous, he is quite popular. A family must have a family, and a status must exist. Although it is not a famous family, it is still very respectable. More importantly, the Yamanaka family is not as complicated as the Uchiha and Hyuga families in terms of clan rules, family inheritance. He also enjoys a unique status in Konoha. As a member, he can enjoy privileges without having to bear too heavy a burden, such as the extremely inexplicable branch house system of the Hyuga family and the lack of irritation of the Uchiha family. Sharingan cannot be awakened. Isn't it beautiful? He is diligent in making ends meet, usually the manager of a flower shop, and is good at educating his children. Jingen is very strict in his education. His knowledge about flowers is not only pharmacologically practical, but also has a very feminine interest in life. As for his abilities in perception and espionage, he can also ensure that his family, relatives and friends are safe from danger in a timely manner. It can be said that he is both rational and intellectual, and he can handle both domestic and foreign affairs. Although his combat power is not high, he has a special talent. The Grand Master has a secret skill in his family and has also mastered a certain level of medical ninjutsu. He is considered to be versatile and versatile at the same time. Don't worry about being too aggressive like Sakura and causing disharmony in your married life. At the same time, due to the alliance between the Ino-Shikacho clan, each generation of children of the Yamanaka clan can become partners with the children of the Nara family and the Akamaki family. Therefore, they have high quality and stable connections since childhood, and can cultivate good teamwork. After becoming a ninja, the team leader Jonin is also good in terms of background and ability, and in the future his child can take over his position as the clan leader. It can be said that everything has been clearly arranged from childhood to adulthood. Such a woman, whether it is her own internal or external conditions, or the resources, skills and connections she has mastered, they are all just right, for those who hope to live an above-average, happy life in the Hokage world. What's the best option? Ino corresponds to the real world. She is above average in both appearance and ability, and she has been trained by first-class tutors since she was a child. Strictly speaking, Asuma is not a real first class, but for Genin, he is already a top choice after all. Not everyone is destined to be Sanin's apprentice. Majoring in high-precision technology and minoring in difficult subjects, they are rare talents developed by the country. I have world-class work experience on my resume. After working, I directly joined the unit directly under the central government. However, I have no airs, full of affinity, no elitist style, and will not give people a sense of oppression. Career-wise, he holds 2 jobs, and his main job has civil servant-level treatment. The side job is full of fun. Combining the two, it can be said that 443 is both satisfying and romantic. In terms of family, the family has good financial resources, many connections, and is taken care of by other families, but the conditions of the family are loose and there are not many restrictions, which can ensure the free development of family members without being too involved in official struggles. Children can be fully protected by their parents, have good resources to use in terms of education and employment, and enjoy special treatment in all aspects, but they can also live the lives of ordinary children. The children have a sound personality and have the conditions to become elites. To sum up, marrying such a person means that you can bear less pressure than ordinary people and live a much more comfortable life than ordinary people. The new book is being prepared. Please stay tuned, vote for free, automatically subscribe and click some duck. I wish all you old friends a happy and super double duck.